Well, you know what? You're just in time because you're possibly the only person here who has familiarity with the person we're about to cover.
Grace Randolph.
That's it. So for those who don't know, The Suicide Squad came out, and a lot of people had a lot of opinions, and apparently
liked it.
she had one that was quite disagreeable. I've not even seen the video. I didn't actually check this one. I've just seen that people are pissed at it. And I was like, huh, what does she do?
Right.
What does she say?
Oh,
Hey, are you trying to get us cancelled again, Mahler?
This is a female. We are covering a female, so I am, got to be careful, everyone. Just
I just hate females, those people.
But the thing is, I can't really introduce her as a creator. So she's like as what does she do? What is her thing? Do you know?
I would call her a pop culture commentator.
All right.
I would call her a retard.
Oh.
Well, that's it. We're done.
Oh,
Too far,
and
too
we're
far.
cancelled.
Oh, there's a knock at the door. Uh-oh. What's going
As people already pointed out in the chat, I'm German already. I don't have many points left. Like,
How do you think you ended up on that big mountain, nearly falling off? You know, this is punishment.
It's punishment. It's not a wave. It's just like a cry for help.
So yeah, she reviews stuff and things, and she reviewed this, and from what I gather, it's mostly liked, the Suicide Squad. So she must have pissed them off in the opposite of that, which means she must have said something. Go ahead.
Is she objective or subjective?
Oh, fucking...
Guess we'll find out.
It's very important.
Yeah.
We shall discover exactly what she has to say. Because this is the thing. This is going to be a great little adventure. I don't know what's going to happen.
Nobody on the face of the earth tried harder to like this movie.
I think we should probably comment on this format. It's a...
Oh, I need the link. Where's the...
oh, sorry, yeah. If you scroll up, you'll find it, but I can try and get it for you again in a sec.
Turn that down. That kind of flew in my face there. Jesus.
Yeah, she's really aggressive.
I'm the new
Loud.
kid. There we go.
There you go, new kid.
Thank you.
So
I'm coming into the womb.
She's got the square that's not quite in the top right. It's snapped to the right side, but not the top. Then the poster,
What are we
and then
talking about? I had to grab a beverage.
so
This looks like one of those websites from 1990.
Like a GeoCities
like Harley
website.
Quinn.
Yeah,
from
they got that.
the
They got
movie.
that menu on the left.
not every blonde person looks like Harley Quinn. Come on.
I don't know.
like
This
with
one
the
looks like one of my
from
thumbnails, you know. So.
from the first Suicide Squad when she was still a doctor or whatever. She had the kind
Oh,
of big
kinda.
glasses and the hair was down, so she
Well-
looks a little like Harley Quinn. Maybe she will role play her in this video.
I think that's what's
Unintentionally.
that might be what's going on.
think
I
so.
don't know.
By the way, if you haven't noticed already, the format is she's sort of given you her topics on the left. There you got let's not fight for media, mainstream audiences, social media. She's got didn't care for Peacemaker, King Shark, Harley Quinn, or
Man.
Amanda Waller.
What? Oh, it's already downvote.
Not like King Shark.
Hey, let's just ignore whatever this says. So we have clearly separated spaces, but they're not separated really. Like we have like this black bar, but it goes like over to the right to the middle one. Audiences goes out of it. Then on the bottom,
Starro's in all caps.
on the bottom, yes, on the bottom right, the chapter starts in the picture of the Suicide Squad. Like if you have like clearly
There's a lot of
separated
stuff that is-
spaces. Don't
Basically,
go
this
over
stuff.
these borders. It's
Yeah,
There's a lot
weird.
It's very
From
haphazard.
a design
This
from a
looks
design
really shit.
standpoint, it's really bizarre, and something that's bugging me. You know how like when you try to do lists and stuff, you all right. What's the observation?
No, you said something was bothering you about this, and it shocked me for a second, and I thought I didn't have a drink in my mouth, or else I would have. I would be wiping
Maybe-
stuff off right
Maybe
now.
you guys can relate, but like whenever I'm writing something down in Word and it's like listed like this, I like to use dot points for like the first one, and then I do indents with like the dash for the next one.
Sure. Subcategories.
To make to make it clear that it's like, oh, this is like under this umbrella. All that we have here are indents, and it's frustrating me. It's really
It's also weird.
Yeah,
She's,
I
you
use
guys-
dashes a lot. I like me some dashes. Dashes are my friend.
Did you guys notice that she's put drop shadow on it, but it's mainly over black, so it's
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. It
Oh,
does
yeah.
have- yeah.
She has a
That's
passion for
good.
graphic design, man.
You have to go out of your way to do that. That's not
yeah,
default.
that's different. Like she
Also,
applied the only useful part of the drop shadow is S and question mark. It's like okay,
Also, I
That's
guess I'm not
weird.
understanding these colors. We've got text in white, text in light blue, and then text in red next to a poster that's mostly light blue.
All of the
against a
text is
black
shadowed
background.
too. All of it.
Yeah. Oh, every single. Yeah, exactly.
Even the
every single
chapter.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chapter is too.
I really. This is a bizarre image.
it just seems a little haphazard
This-
to me. She shoved stuff on screen and tried to make it work. It's just like, why don't you get like an actual? She's been doing this for ages, right?
Well, just get a template. Just get a template that you can reuse for different videos. If this is like the format of the reviews, then yeah, template.
I don't see why not.
This is
It-
the kind
she
of
has the
image that
money
you
to
can just
hire a
like
graphic designer.
hear.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
noisy.
And then-
It's a very
and-
noisy image.
I know
Very
she
much
has
so.
those subscribe now templates that you can download and throw in.
Everybody
I've
gets
seen those popping up everywhere now.
They're
It's so
everywhere. They're
Dude,
annoying.
it's the worst
Yeah.
when YouTubers grab them without putting them in properly, and so they're extremely fucking loud, and so they're like, and then you ding, press the fucking
Yeah.
button.
Oh, they don't balance the ding sound. Nobody does that,
Yep.
and it's terrible.
Yep.
I mean-
I'm so glad you're taking a piss out of this because I was looking at maybe putting one in my video the other day.
Hey, man.
They're not. They're not
I'm not
all.
gonna do it anymore. I'm
turn
not
it
gonna do it
down.
anymore. Okay.
Well, hold
we're
it.
out.
Well, hold it. They're not all made the same.
Yeah.
They're on a spectrum of obnoxiousness and fitting. You know, in what style they appear and whether it fits in with anything else. And then there's the audio element. Some of them have the old school mouse clicky noise. Some have the ding. Some have the. So you want to really avoid having that.
What was
overwhelm
that?
you.
I like the clip on one of those.
I think noise production butchered that one.
Rag,
Right?
yeah, Rags, you went so different that Discord thought
What
you weren't
was
human.
that?
What? Really?
To,
Oh
to-
my
to-
goodness.
to- to
It's
ex-
so fucking
wait, wait.
weird.
Yeah, to
It
explain
sounded
what
like
happened,
a
right?
spoon getting thrown into the sink.
To explain what happened. To explain what happened for people who have no idea what's happening. So Discord blocks out like as best it can background sounds, and so Rags did such a strange voice that it blocked out pieces of what he said, so he just sounded like a monster.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
More of a monster than usual. At
Oh
least.
wow! So if someone could clip that for me and,
They could do that on
and
YouTube
just like
now.
post it in Discord or something, because I would like to
No, you
hear
can
that.
put-
Well,
Yeah, you can-
Rags, if you pull up the stream, just left arrow like 10 times, you probably have it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
might be true. Yeah.
Mm.
I love how the paused image here just like implies she's subscribed to herself and has notifications turned on.
You know,
What
in,
really
a,
bugs
subscribed.
me-
Are you?
in a way, we're all subscribed to ourselves.
That's right.
You know, I'm
What
really
really
okay
bugs
with
me
those
about the
motion
Wi-Fi-
graphics, except for when they're just so blatantly bought or downloaded.
And,
you know, and
right.
it's like
Just out of coherence with the rest of the video.
right, it doesn't fit the style at all. Like, come on now, really?
Hey, look,
Really
you need the
you made
poster
that?
taking up 60% of the frame just in case you forget what fucking movie she's talking about.
So I listened to the noise. Not at all what I would have imagined it sound like. That was
No.
bizarre.
Pretty
That is
crazy.
that is bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
But yeah, this image is it's just a failure of design.
It's
How many?
well, the
how many
longest we've spent
subscribers
without
does-
listening to
Almost
anything.
a million. I just
She
She has
has
almost
she has a million? No,
Can
that
she
can't
fuck?
be real.
I imagine most people listen to these. That's
Can
probably
she
why.
hire one of the people that made the meme videos and maybe they can get something better for her?
How do you have 1 million subs and this is acceptable? I would be
Well,
embarrassed.
I just
Oh
think
my
So
goodness.
embarrassed.
they all look like this.
I think that this channel probably falls into the same category as Chris Stuckman, I think, in terms of like the appeal.
You've been doing it
That
for
would be
ages. Yeah.
The
Well,
appeal
they've
of
been
a
doing-
woman talking
been
about
doing-
movies? Like, what's the appeal?
The
No, I
only
think
Well,
so.
you can check and see when they first made their account on
Well,
their
so,
channel.
I think it's the it's like you've done it for a long time and you do the thing where you like talk about movies but in 5 to 10 minutes in very easily digestible, just the broad summary. You don't say a lot. Kind of like again, like the IGN thing. You just
All right,
you
this-
talk about movies and people subscribe and then they'll always get something on like every single movie that comes out and it's never particularly like in depth. And I'm not sure that you would be anybody's favorite. but like there's a utility, I guess.
If you are someone's favorite, that says more about them, if anything else.
I think Fringy's trying to say that no one's passionate about this because it's wide appeal, but nobody's. She's nobody's favorite. Yeah.
The only way this could get lower quality is if it was auto-played during Hassan's stream while he's eating lunch.
I knew this video was missing something.
Well,
by the way,
Hassan's empty chair in the
got an
corner.
empty chair because he's gone off to make his nuggies. And Grace Randolph's just playing in the background.
We talked about a moment ago how she must have, how did she get 932,000 subscribers? Well, she joined November 3rd, 2008.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that is it.
Wow.
You've just explained it.
Get in early.
Wow, that's helpful advice. Now, build a time machine and go back to 2008.
Build a time machine, get in early, make lazy content, but for a long time. But consistently lazy for a long time. That's key.
Well,
I've actually watched some videos about like Game of Thrones, specifically the books and some other fantasy stuff. And the videos themselves are meant to be more kind of like a podcast, and they do have this kind of text, and it's very low quality. It's like someone who's just kind of slapped the stuff on the screen because to have something other than just like, a black background. And they're more videos that you would kind of like listen to, like as you would a podcast. But with this, like, she obviously, like, she has her webcam, so she wants people to see this garbage, and I don't know why.
She's also one of those YouTubers who like doesn't have a dedicated microphone, right? They just take the audio from whatever their laptop speakers are.
That is not okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's not
Like we
okay
say-
for how big your channel is. It's not okay.
All the time I tell people, if you're gonna splurge on something, have it be a microphone.
Come on. I just got myself a Shaw last week. So, come on, guys. Come on, up your game.
I mean, you can get a rock solid microphone for like $60 to $80. I mean, there's no excuse.
Yeah, I think that's why it hurt my ears the very second the video started up, because it must be that laptop speaker. It was just
How can you? There's
something about her cadence when she speaks that just makes me so
We'll get to that.
I haven't heard her yet.
So I was going to say,
I feel like just by looking at her, I know exactly how she sounds.
It's like, those videos of the AIs people make that sound like humans? I'm convinced she's one of them. She's the closest to real human. Yeah.
Well, Google has her down as an American film critic. That's not Google. And,
wait.
I just did a little check to see, how healthy the channel is comparative. I compared her to my channel because I'm an egotist. And I have 280,000 subscribers. She has 932. She has got 6,000 more subscribers this year than I have.
Okay, but when did you start YouTube?
2012 as a gaming channel.
I bet you get more views per video than she does on average.
Probably, yeah. I would
Let's
imagine.
have a look.
Yeah, maybe there's an interesting like sub count to view count ratio going on there.
Yeah, I actually I had a conversation with someone who was starting up a YouTube channel and whatnot, and I was telling him like people get hung up on the subscriber number way too much because you got channels like what was it? It's the HBO's channel, I think, or something. They have like millions and millions of subscribers, and some of their videos are getting like 2,000 views, which is just bizarre.
Yeah. And what's the number one subscribe? What was that, like T-Series?
Yeah, T-Series.
Do we even really need to? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
I agree about the analytics.
This many subscribers with this content, I'm just gonna stick a PNG of the cover of the film and talk about it on a black screen in the future.
Here's another weird thing. I just looked at her videos and just went from sort by oldest first. Like 12 years ago, first video, she had like green screen, was standing in front of it, things in the background.
Oh.
Look, Looks way better.
Yeah.
Well, now she's made it. She
It
doesn't
was
have to do
better
that.
before. Wow.
Now
Damn.
she just pushes out a bunch of, just a bunch of stuff.
I'm scrolling through the newer ones, but they're all in this format. Why
YouTube regression?
why didn't
Who
you
expects
take?
that?
Why did
You get
keep the
famous and
green
rich,
screen?
you get lazy.
It's weird.
And when you look at Mahler and myself and all kinds of other people, you see how it changes a lot over time. There's this big increase in the work and effort that goes into like the visuals and the audio and everything. And with some people, it's the opposite because once they get to that point where they can just coast, they
She's
just stick with it.
outside. She's outside interviewing people as well.
It's genuinely way better. Look at her first
that
video.
sounds like a lot of work.
Look at the editing in it. There's images that are relevant to the things she's saying.
Yeah, I just click through it. It's like moving in and out. It's like what is happening?
But yeah, but now that I'm big enough, I don't have to worry about that anymore. I just glide on my own success. I don't have to worry.
Was she part of an MSN and they were kind
Providing
of
an
funding
editor
it?
for her, maybe?
Oh, that could be. That could be.
Maybe.
I didn't even think about that.
Maybe.
I mean, she could have just realized that she doesn't have to do it, right?
Mystery. We haven't even started the video. The mystery is just. This is an
I was
going to
say. So I'm afraid we've got someone coming in, so someone's going to have to leave. And according to the way that at the entry, well, so first of all,
already? Wow, that was quick. Thanks, guys. It's been a blast. It really has.
That would be funny if you just came in like 100 times, but for just a couple minutes every time.
That's how the rotation works.
I'll see you in 2 hours for another couple. Okay.
So
I'll see you in 10 minutes for another 2 minutes.
Assuming everybody would like to stay, it's going to have to be between M and Blame.
All right, I'll see y'all later. Oh. I have to stay for 24 hours. I went shopping to get snacks and all kinds of stuff before this. I got
you're in for the long haul
stuff.
This is I had you both at the same time, so now I can't be objective about it.
Oh no! Well, luckily, because I got beer, now I have beer bottle caps that I can use, and I will flip it to decide who goes and who stays. We will let Blue Moon decide.
Very well.
All right. If the Blue Moon lands upwards, then M has to go. If the Blue Moon lands downwards, then Blame goes, and then they can come back later because we'll be here for a whole fucking day. So I'm gonna flip it. We're gonna see what happens. Blue Moon is up.
Which one was that?
I forgot what you said.
I forgot
what the rules were.
I forgot which one that means.
That's M.
Oh, I gotta go. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
it's been
We'll
fun.
see you later.
Like I said, we'll
See you in a bit.
We'll grab
I'll
you
be
back.
around.
Don't worry, you'll get back.
I'm
In
It's like
not worried.
poetry. It rhymes.
This is like my 25th time being here or something like that. Like, I'm not that worried about it. I'll be back.
And you'll be back for a 26 in a few hours anyway. So
Right? Okay, guys. Have fun.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later, man.
Belch.
Nice one.
All right.
Outro bunch.
Man, what a ride!
What a journey that was. We haven't even started the video.
Fucking do it.
Oh my goodness, it's Jay.
I hope Jay doesn't have any commentary for the format of the video because we got to get into this video at some point.
Jay, what do you think about this image? Does it make your ears bleed and it's not even have sound? Like,
I feel like I can hear it.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's it.
The
All right.
noise
Smells like a wet carpet.
There's your watch together.
It's more low quality static for me.
Jay.
So
The audio is going to peak immediately.
It sounds like everywhere at the end of time, but the parts you skip.
What?
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Carrying on.
I'm going to go back to 0, and we are going to listen to what is one of the most unpopular reviews of the Suicide Squad right now. Let's find out why.
Oh boy.
Nobody on the face of the earth tried harder to like this movie.
Just like what I thought. I'm not shocked at all.
We got 1 second further than before. Good
Yeah.
job.
Hey, this is 6 seconds.
We did it.
You know, we talked about audio quality. I think she needs to like get some soundboarding on her walls or something because I don't like.
She's
Is
in
she
an
on-
office. It looks like
Well,
she's
so-
in an office.
I don't know.
I was going to say, is this where she lives, or is she like on the move because she sees these
That
things
looks
at
like New
premieres?
York.
No, I think this
Right
is a typical position that she stays in. So I think this is either her home or
okay.
her office. Yeah, so
it looks cold. I would hate it.
See,
I like
I
a
don't-
cozy
I
place.
think it'd be cool to
Looks
live up
like-
somewhere like that.
Yeah,
I think the view of the
I think
city
it's
would be pretty
time.
cool, yeah.
I think at
Yeah.
night it would be awesome.
The first principle of cinematography is that your eyes are drawn to the brightest part of the scene, and I just don't trust anyone as a film critic who lights like this, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna make the background way blown out and just have dark eye bags all over my face. It's disgusting.
Well, I mean, it seems to me that
I feel like if you have a background like that, you should use it.
yeah,
but,
well,
like,
there's lots of ways you could
expose
use
your
it.
camera right.
Yeah.
Like
That
with,
and you need a light on your
but with that
face. You need
poster
a
too,
flow
it's,
light.
Yeah.
it's pretty distracting to have such a bright spot on the poster. It's like, and it's the center. You know, I don't know. We keep going over this part. We should listen to what she says. That's probably going to be the.
Why you would have it be
Why?
a black background
Almost
rather
like
than
we have-
find a 1920 1080 image that goes across the whole thing. If you're gonna insist on having it be a still image, this
Oh.
feels
That's the
like
thing.
worst
It
way to
doesn't
do
matter.
Probably with
People will
because
watch this shit.
I
People
never
don't give a
know.
fuck.
I never know
That's where
who's
they
met who and stuff. So I guess if Blame and Az, if you guys haven't met each other before, you're sitting right next to each other in the call. So there you go. You'll know.
oh
Yeah, I
hi.
mean, I
Seriously.
haven't met anybody really. Just a couple.
That's
of
sad.
people That were here from.
Must be lonely.
Yeah.
That's really
Been alone your
depressing.
whole life.
So road
Bringing
me.
down the. We're kind of vibing over here until you said that.
Wow.
Fucking asshole.
Well,
I always seem to get the far left. I always get the far
You start with A. You
Yeah.
start with A. It's,
Ah,
that's
yeah.
the
yeah,
thing.
you're on the far left. Thought Theater's the
I
far
know-
right.
well-
We like to have Jay in the
They're
center.
both the same. They're both the same. Let's be honest.
I don't
The
want
You're
to.
on the far right.
I don't want to sidetrack the conversation too much. But,
Oh,
have,
don't you go for it.
What is because I always get asked like why did I name my channel Blame the Controller? I wanted to know why did you name your channel Heel versus Babyface?
Because I'm a bit of a wrestling fan, and it's a wrestling terminology. A heel is a bad guy,
and yeah, okay.
and a baby face is a good guy. So I was always going to be talking about stuff that I liked and I didn't like. So I thought it had that sort of synergy there. And as you know, the internet is such a caring
I thought you
and
just
sharing
hated
place.
children.
No, yeah, just kick him in the face. Just going around kicking kids in the face.
Okay.
Yeah,
How to kick
we'll go with that.
someone with your heel?
Forget what I
Take
just
some
said. We'll go
skill.
with that one. We'll go with that one instead.
You stomp on them
I
because
just,
babies are
yeah,
small and short.
Only way to
yeah,
make
they
it cool.
can't fight back.
Yeah, just stomp
Yeah.
on them. Yeah,
Never
I
heard
love that
anyone
we
describe a
went
baby
back.
as short before.
You'll never take me alive.
they
Fuck
are
it.
really. They are short though.
Babies, yeah.
But it's just not a word that people normally use.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We went back and restarted the video and then played it again and only made 6 seconds through this time.
Well,
we made 1 second of progress.
You wait for it.
Because the UI is just so atrocious. It's hard. Here we go. Here we go. We're doing it.
All right.
Then maybe.
So wait.
In fact,
Speaking
No.
of UI,
admit,
No.
as I noticed
So
your
I was
thumbnails
talking
you
about
used.
playing it
No,
now.
shut up. No, quit it. We're gonna be here for a day. We got time. As I noticed that you had your thumbnails used to be the whiteboard and you'd make the
Yes.
things. What got you to change?
I just thought it'd run its course. I just thought it'd run its course, and it was time to do something a little different.
Did you keep it? Do you still have it?
Yeah, I actually found it the other day. Yeah, I found it. It's back. I can bring it back.
Do at least one more for Rags, okay? Just put.
Well, no,
one
I mean it's
thumbnail.
not it's not a huge. You don't have to do that on my account. I was just curious why, because that's how they always had a very distinctive look to them, the thumbnail and the writing, and no one else I'd ever saw had done that. So yeah, it's one of my
They were my anti thumbnails because I used to see people with they'd spend hours on thumbnails, and they'd be some of them be good and some of them would just be messy. And I just thought, I just want to create I just want to create the anti thumbnail. So I just bought a whiteboard and some pens, and then I thought, I could just write what the
I
title
can just
of the-
fucking write Captain Marvel takes a shit on Kermit
Yeah,
the
and then
Frog
wipe
and
it off.
hold it up to the picture. And,
I liked it. I thought it was very unique.
yeah, I liked it.
Are you trying to hustle me into bringing him back?
You could do whatever you want, honey.
Yeah, you can do it. I was legitimately just curious why you swapped. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll make a comeback. Maybe it'll be I don't know. It's
I think you should do something more minimalist. I think you should just have like a black thumbnail with a single word on it.
A letter.
Or a letter.
Video.
A letter, yeah.
Video
Just the
21
word video.
08, yeah, 2001.
This is a video. Period.
Your video
this
titles
date.
are just video and then number.
Yes, or just video and then date or something like that. You know.
Yeah, whatever the
Video
computer
12.
would generate for the screenshot with the date and everything on it. .jpg. You know.
Dude, it'd be really cool if there was a YouTuber from like 2005 or 6 or whatever who had been naming them Video 1, 2, 3. They just never stopped because they don't want to anymore.
I think Lockpicking Lawyer does that.
Yeah, he does that.
He has titles.
Yeah.
He has titles proper, but he'll also have in the title the number that it is.
Ahoy does that in Roman numerals. He numbers all of his.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple.
Not
of,
on the title though.
Oh,
there's a couple of gaming channels that I follow
this.
that do that too. That have the they're like up, video number 800 or whatever. Also, like we used to have to do that when I did like Let's Play videos. I would have, video Minecraft episode 328, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, when it's all one continuous series, it's more important to have. Well, it's certainly more relevant to have the numbers in the title, right? But when it's literally just a YouTuber uploading their next video, I like the idea of them putting just video 600.
Unrelated.
That's the end of Ahoy's recent video about the flamethrower.
2021.
You're making me gaze longingly at the
Wait, this
the
is his
whiteboard now.
2021st video?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
that's a
to make
lot.
that make sense to you. He used to do breakdowns of individual guns in COD, so they would be really quickly done. Like you just slam through them.
Okay, I gotcha.
Oh, I bet they got eaten up.
2000 is like.
Well, I think
that's a lot of videos.
I think he was obsessed with like this is the thing. That's why he's doing what he's doing. He knows his shit about like all guns in all video games.
Well, normally people use Roman numerals to count to like 12.
Your face.
Some people are saying it's
Fuck
the year,
me.
so I don't think it's the year because he does it it changes every video.
It's
as
just
a
a
counter.
coincidence. It happens to be the 2021st video.
I think
in the year of
so.
our Lord 2021.
Unless I've been tricked, and this whole time he's been doing it literally just the Roman numerals for the year. But that I don't know. That just doesn't seem as
Because if you're getting because here's the thing about Roman numerals, they are not. When you start to get into particular big numbers, they can be long as fuck.
Well, the BBC over here in the UK, when they have a show, when the show finishes in the end credits, the date of the show is always in Roman numerals.
in fairness, so people are saying he's only got 286 videos. I'm pretty sure he has more than one channel, but I'm not. Now, if everyone's saying it is the year, then it probably is.
It's quite a coincidence.
True.
Because it would probably get to a point. I think a lot of people would say, "Oh, here's a cool idea. I'll use Roman numerals to do videos," and then they start like actually following through on that, and they realize that Roman numerals are kind of shit, and so they're like, "No, I'm actually gonna stop because this is getting crazy, and I feel like I'm doing math, but I'm just writing a number down."
What's his other channel? I'm pretty sure it's like Ahoy 2 or something. I'd have to check. But I think US movies have dates in Roman numerals. Is that
Yeah,
true? That
I'm
sounds-
pretty sure all films like right at the end they have.
That's neat.
Yeah,
The format just gets in the way at this point. I mean,
Well, when it gets
when you're
long,
dealing
yeah.
with huge strings of letters like X, V, I, V, I don't know what the fuck that is. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah, you have to like sit
try
there
figuring
and
that out.
break it down.
I assume
it was
that's
useful
part
at
of
the
it, though,
time.
right? Like, it's kind of like you can find out exactly what that is if you're not familiar. And it's a fun little. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be informative.
I guess
like
that's the
as
thing,
it
is-
could
Yeah,
be.
it's more of a style
I
thing
don't-
than anything else.
I'm not
Right,
sure
yeah.
if maths is supposed to. Well, maths can be an adventure in a certain
It
sense.
can.
You know,
Especially if you're using
adven-
Roman numerals.
That feels like a kid's show that probably exists. Like just adventures with numbers. It's like 1, 2, and 3 going on a spaceship, flying around, learning. They go to the planet of division and multiplication, and just learn new things every episode. That feels like a fun show.
Some people are like, please play the Grace video. You new? You have to be new.
You know where you are. You know who I am.
So
Grace's video is so just pure emptiness that it's more entertaining to speculate on Roman numerals.
Yay.
To come up with hypothetical children's shows based on anthropomorphized numbers.
Is Jay, are you in as well? I'm assuming you are.
Yeah.
All right.
Before we move on, can I just say I don't understand? I just don't understand why everyone's mad at Hassan. $300 million isn't that much money to spend on chicken nuggets.
What, you guys want him to starve or something? What's wrong with you?
What am I supposed to do? Die?
That feels like it should be a feature in his house. You know, you walk in and instead of a waterfall, it's a chicken nugget fall. Dude,
or it's just like, oh yeah, where it's ketchup, like a massive fondue thing.
I mean I just mean chicken nuggets. It's like a massive chicken nuggets falling down and then going back.
Him eating from that, and he doesn't like grab chicken nuggets. He just puts his face to the wall.
Nom nom.
My nuggies.
If ever we get more into that fan art, can it be that?
Nuggy fall.
I never have to worry about dying again.
I watch Hassan's face against the wall too, just consuming.
And he gives the nugget full legs so that it can come into his stream. So he likes to go stretch his legs, but it could work either way. Either he gives it legs or he brings a new pair of legs, so he doesn't even have to walk on his own legs.
What if
just be second pair of legs?
His mom is like, "Can I just grab them from the nuggy fold?" He's like, "No, make new ones."
They must be fresh. The ones I don't eat will go into the nuggy fall. I like what Aiden said in the chat, where he's like the Willy Wonka, but of chicken nuggets.
Everything is chicken nuggets. Like, did you make anything else? And he's like, no.
Chickadee do.
His mom sews him a quilt made out of chicken.
I've got a ketchup packet for you.
I got a golden ticket.
I got a golden nugget.
Golden nugget, yeah.
Golden nugget. You bite into it and your teeth break off.
And you're like, yay!
I get to go to Hassan's house with 5 other lucky children.
I guess I'm trying to think about what the features would be if you had a nuggy like Willy Wonka. So I guess the first trap would be like, I guess a ketchup river or a nugget
that's what
river,
I think.
maybe
A ketchup river, yeah.
A ketchup river, yeah. And then I guess
ketchup river, yeah.
The ketchup
was the next
river,
one
yeah.
where you have like a special nugget that turns you into a giant chicken nugget. Would that be the next one? Like an experimental nugget that turns you into a big nugget?
At some point, there's got to be live chickens, right?
Oh no!
Right. Well, that would be
harvesting.
the last one, right? Where that where the one
Chicken
who was
ring,
like a rotten egg got tossed into not an egg, a nut got tossed in. So it'd be
that was
chickens.
Veruca. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would just be a bunch of crazy chickens that just be like, "No, you're a bad egg, and we're just gonna toss you in with the bad eggs."
Oh no!
Well, it would just be the chickens instead of laying eggs, they just poop out straight nuggets. Straight into your hand.
Incredibly chemically, everyth's engineered, and they'd just be nuggy.
I feel like that's horrible. It'd be like
there are kids who think that's where they come from.
But it'd be like
they called Hassan Piker.
No, but that would be like, again, if a human being just shot out an arm, just like an arm falls out of their butt.
Yeah, we're talking about a fantasy scenario here. We can make whatever we want.
Yeah, okay. So
human beings shit out babies.
Hassan thinks that chicken nuggets come from his mom. That's all he knows. His brain stops
His life cycle.
He just assumes that his mom
the waterfall is a lifelike marble statue of his mom with chicken nuggets spewing out of the mouth.
He doesn't even know what chickens are. He doesn't know that chickens are animals. He just knows that chicken nuggets are a thing that exists.
Chicken is what's inside a chicken nugget, Rex.
like there are just nuggets with legs roaming around in a field.
This reminds me of
where you pluck them off of vines.
This reminds me of like a video. I think it was like BuzzFeed or something. They were trying to convince kids to go vegan or something, and they showed all the kids like how the chicken nuggets were made. And they were like, okay, now who wants a chicken nugget? And everyone.
If I don't eat this chicken nugget, then that chicken died for nothing.
I do really like chicken nuggets. Like, in fact, thinking about all this makes me want to get chicken nuggets later on.
A good chicken nugget is like great. Not the shit
Yeah.
you get at McDonald's or some crap like that.
Well,
Actual,
it's funny
really
that
good
you say
design.
that, Rags, because I like the nuggets at McDonald's, but it
Well, it might be
sounds to
because
me in the
your McDonald's
well,
and our McDonald's might
it
be.
does sound that way, that the conversations we've had, that like McDonald's in
Yeah.
America is just absolute shit.
They
Just like
taste
it
like
is
wet
First
carpet.
time, the first time I went to America, I had a McDonald's and it was garbage. And then I had McDonald's here a few years later, and it was fine. And I don't know if just my tastes changed. It might, but I have a strong suspicion American McDonald's.
Have you
is just
evolved as a
garbage.
critic, a food critic?
Critic, quite possibly.
I wonder. It just seems to be. Maybe is there like food standards? Maybe is a difference. Like the worst you can get.
We have in terms of health and safety, yes. In terms of
Be
what
with you in a minute,
people are
Grace, don't
willing
worry.
to eat, no.
Maybe
like
I wonder
there's enough people. You got a country of 330 million or something like that. There's going to be enough people who just.
But
I just need something to eat right now that's cheap. I'm going somewhere, or I
guess
just
that's the
want to
thing,
go in
though.
and get something.
Because here we don't have a lot of choice. Like we have McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, which is basically Burger King. We have
Okay.
KFC, and we got like a couple other things, but that's it. We don't have Wendy's. We don't have like IHOP. We don't have anything like that.
We have so many. We have so fucking many.
I guess, but that's kind of almost the point I'm building to. If we have less choice, shouldn't it be more likely that the food over there would be more competitive in terms of like trying to be better?
Well, you know,
Maybe-
they use different recipes for different countries, right?
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's
because
true.
Yeah, I
they
think
are-
that's probably
it's
what the
technically
case
different
is. Yeah.
companies. I think like Hungry Jack's is almost like independent from Burger King, even though it's a subsidiary.
Because here stuff like Burger King and Wendy's are way better than McDonald's, and then you
Very
have
true.
the upper tiers that are far better.
Five Guys.
Stuff like
Yeah,
Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, stuff like that, which is just clearly
In-N-Out.
better.
And then top tier is always just whatever fucking independent restaurant you have around. Not even like
Right.
restaurant, like not restaurant.
Wow.
Like independent fast food places are always the top tier
Yes.
ones.
Yeah, or
Yes.
the
Yes.
originals. So you
Yeah.
have we have Whataburger, but the original Whataburger is in Arkansas here in Russellville, and eating there is so much better than the chain Whataburgers, because they're just run by different people, and it's practically a different restaurant. And some are great, and some are. It just depends where you go. Because
It
I
does
do not.
depend
I
where
just
you
don't
go.
eat McDonald's. I just will not fucking do it. It's just. It's just like.
I had it a little while ago. I just needed like what you guys were saying. Like I just needed something quick, and I was on my way home, and I grabbed it, and it was gross. Like and I remember liking it back years ago. But when I tried it like a couple weeks ago, it was just nasty.
Remember, there
I
are
will-
people in the chat right now that think Grace Randolph's video is going to be more entertaining than talking about this.
Stu was talking about.
I'm learning, dude. I'm learning so much about like American fast food stuff. It's like super interesting.
I have
Dude,
a
if you have
strange
places that I
relationship.
will take you, and there are places I will not allow you to go. And
Oh,
it comes
I
down
remember.
to-
I'm not sure if anybody's had this. When I went to Malaysia on a trip once, and I remember the thing that blew me away was like you go to KFC, you get like rice with the chicken instead of like chips, and that was just the case everywhere you went. Everywhere they served it
Oh,
with
yeah,
rice. And that was super
fries.
interesting.
Yeah,
here
we're-
it's chips.
Yeah,
it's
here
chips.
it's fries and chips are here, predominantly fries. Oh Jesus, and just the discussion on who has the best fries. Some fries are disgusting, and some are
McDonald's.
sublime.
Yeah, I want to get in on this because I found a place that did some good fries the other day, but I am sick and tired of fucking floppy, wiggly, flipping pasty ass fries that we've been getting here in the UK. They're horrible.
You want to have and you
thin,
have
crispy taste, that potatoey taste. You want it? Come on, man. Come on, man.
I don't want a potato. I want what a potato could be. You know? I want a potato's potential.
Yeah.
Served next to a dead cow.
That's
what I want.
Potential.
I really like sweet
waffle
potato
fries?
whenever you can find
You guys
them.
have those?
Oh, waffle fries are great.
Do you guys have waffle fries?
The ones that like have the wave, like
they're like a grate. No, they're like a grate.
Oh,
yeah. Chick-fil-A
No.
waffle fries are amazing.
Never had
Chick-fil-A
that.
is
Oh,
God tier.
yeah. Like the lettuce, you know what they call it when you lettuce the pastry on the top of a
Huh.
This is like what a waffle
thingamajiggy.
fry is.
Oh, it's
Oh,
beautiful.
I think I've had one of those before.
Those can be quite good. They're often good. I would say that on average, a waffle fry is better than a typical
Yes.
fry. Just something about
that's-
how they're
that's what I was
made.
going- Yeah, oh, they can be so good.
Because they get fried like throughout. The fry stuff can get
Exactly.
everywhere,
Yeah.
you know, inside of it and out of it, and
It
they
doesn't
just
turn to
taste.
wet mush in the middle.
Yeah. Because
McDonald's
even a
fries.
fresh potato that you dice yourself and serve up, they can be shit if you just don't make them as good fries.
I also noticed that waffle fries tend to not be like they don't need to be salted as much as like McDonald's fries do.
Oh, McDonald's. Yeah, well, the thing is, McDonald's fries are basically just eating salt.
And grease.
That's just McDonald's, period.
Like the potato, its only function is to just be a delivery device for salt.
So it was made by Bender then.
Oh, it's a
nice
reference that
reference.
I'm not able to appreciate. Maybe.
Oh man.
Yeah, I haven't seen that episode. That's the thing.
Man.
So it was like a matter of having to lose one of Blame and an M, so that one of them couldn't see what's going to happen in this video. But now we're going to have to lose Blame as well.
I'll take the hit. I'll take off. I would like
You
to
knew
come
what
back
you
to
signed up for.
I was going to say, in
I'd love
terms
to
of the
come
order
back,
you
though, if you got it spaced
I was going
later.
to say you added later, so you're not next in queue. If you can and want to stay, you can. You've got to be fair about it, Sean.
I can.
It's okay. I don't know if I have a lot to contribute to Suicide Squad anyway, so maybe I'm a better fit somewhere else.
about McDonald's
Anyway,
fries?
He's like, no,
I'm
to keep
quite
going.
happy with
Fries.
leaving a space for somebody.
We're
anyway.
not. We're look, dude. We're not getting to the fucking video, okay?
Someone's gonna talk about salads and something, and then we'll never shut up.
Nobody on the face of the earth tried harder to like this movie than me. In fact, just the other day when I was talking about its initial Rotten Tomatoes score, I said I didn't see any way I would ever give this a Rotten Tomato because I felt the actors were just doing too good a job from the trailers, and I liked certain elements of it. So
man, that's just.
So I guess she's a contributor to Rotten Tomatoes.
It's just I
appreciate
that some people will do it that way and say that thing, but like this to EFAP, we're just like, what? Like, you would never give it a bad score because the trailer looked too good. Okay. I guess you'd never.
Even further back,
thing to say.
I'm not entirely sure I understand the concept of like trying to like a movie. Like if you watch it and you can't stand it. Isn't that really just pretend it's what you wanted and see how you feel?
I can understand the whole thing of like almost being on the thing's side based on what it is.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the word you want is you want to like it?
Yes, not tried to like it. You wanted to like it, but then it just didn't.
You can still try to like something. I think
You
can
can
like
try
try
for
to
sure,
try to focus on the positives and ignore the things that might bug you. Like that's a conscious effort that you could make.
I guess the problem is that I can't help but see this as don't get mad at me because I think it's bad. It's like almost like you're throwing up a shield of, well, no, I wasn't coming to hate it. Like I actually wanted it to be good. Kind of, I feel like there are a lot of people who aren't saying what they actually think about like the Suicide Squad, and I think Waller probably knows the reference I'm thinking of with that one.
Also, it's okay to say I wanted it to be good. That's fine. But if you say I wanted it to be bad,
well, so the interesting thing that prompts is surely they want all movies to be good, right?
Right.
Yeah. Or there's some movies that you want to be bad.
Basically, everyone wants movies to be good. Like, I don't think anyone goes into a movie exactly wanting to hate it. Like, maybe if there's stuff outside of it, but you probably want to enjoy.
There's gonna be exceptions.
There was no part of me that went into the Rise of Skywalker going, I hope this is cinematically well made.
I hoped it was, but I just didn't expect it to be.
Because the point of Rise of Skywalker is like, fuck it, let's have fun, let's see what they do. And if what they did was just make a vaguely competent film, I would have been like, oh, okay.
For me, it
well,
was
I mean, if it was really good somehow they pulled off with the writing, I don't know how they would have done it.
Yeah,
but,
like
it's possible.
I do hope that things are unironically good, but the problem is that there's just too many examples I've seen of people wanting things to suck, and maybe it's influenced by Rags will probably remember like the console war shit where it's like people were rooting for the games on the other platform to fail and be shit.
Yeah.
Like I remember that being a very common thing.
You know who
Like,
wanted to
oh,
hate?
Halo 5 is gonna suck. Oh, like Uncharted 4 sucks. It's just, yeah, I can believe that people go into stuff wanting it to be bad.
For this movie, you had the Snyder people who wanted it to be bad.
Yes, there's the, yeah.
Some
yeah,
of them,
definitely.
in fairness.
This is a move away from Snyder. Well, yeah, the particular Snyder people, because this is a move away from Snyder. So if it's good, that represents them, like that what they want being even more in danger than it already is.
Yeah, genuinely, that motivation lines up completely. You can see why.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, if the movie is even average, that means it's like it's time to crank the negatives in terms of talking about them.
Yeah.
Because it's the more publicity and popularity this movie has, the less likely the Snyder/Ayer verse, if you will, has a chance of getting more lifeblood in it. So that makes sense. There are people who just genuinely hated it. But as for like wonky motivations going in, it's all over the spectrum, right? But like, if you were going to be completely honest about Rise of Skywalker, if we ended up watching it and it turned out to be extremely well written, I feel like all of us would be like, it's kind of nice that it turned out that way, that they managed to fix a lot of what they'd fucked up.
But it still wasn't like what I was looking for going into the cinema. You know, it was like I wasn't thinking I want this to be great. I want them to fix everything. I was thinking, well, it's fucked. Let's see something funny. Like.
Yeah, like that's kind of like my attitude for Venom, like Let There Be Carnage or whatever it's called. Like the first one was so funny and bad, and it's just like I'm just gonna enjoy the show. I expect it to be bad. If it's good, it's good, but I expect a funny experience, basically.
I guess I would say I would rather have something be conspicuously bad in a way that like even normies are gonna notice than like fucked, but in a way that's like passable to the majority of people. Because I mean, then we won't get more of it. If it's fucked in a way that everyone notices, then we won't. And I think that often means it's worse. If it's fucked in a way everyone notices, then we're less likely to get more. And that's a positive.
I think I agree in that if I knew that Rise of Skywalker was going to be bad, it's like I really hope it has some funny bad stuff in it instead of just like mundanely bad, like, or even kind of close to average, because it's just kind of like, well, this was kind of not even a blip on the radar. Then it's just kind of a
Well, I remember when the leaks came out, and I just started expecting funniness because I was like, "Holy crap! If these are the actual plot points, good god!"
That's the thing. It's hard for me to be like honest and objective about that one because I can't quite remember. Like, because I knew about the leaks. We did a whole stream on them, and most of them were true. So,
I didn't want to go and see Birds of Prey. I didn't want to see it, but I knew that if I watched it, there was a good chance it was going to be fucking terrible, and I could get a video out of it. And lo and behold, I went. It was absolutely abysmal, and I got a few videos out of it. But no, I didn't go to see Birds of Prey with any expectations that the movie was actually going to be good.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect Birds of Prey to be good either. Then again, this is EFAP. We're pretty cynical about most things these days. Like, we don't expect...
Yeah.
It was funny, someone, like, chewed me out in chat for that. They were like, oh, you think that all films are pretty much going to be bad. It's not much of a worthy prediction if it's always the same. It's like, so a prediction's based on past information. Like, that's how we create any kind of pattern. And it's like, these aren't on nothing. Like, why would I think that anything in the MCU is going to be good right now when we're in a phase that's just entirely shit? And you'd be like, oh, what a useless prediction. I'd be like, well, no, that's the prediction. What else is there?
Well, it's based on the fact that 4 out of 4 of the things we've had so far have been kind of disasters.
I think it's fair to say that we got Raimi coming up, as well as James Gunn with Guardians 3, so it's like there's a chance that those will turn out better, you know? But
maybe Shang-Chi will come out and be surprised, but...
Well, I've heard it's a triumph.
Triumph!
Yeah.
A triumph, that's true.
It's
a
triumph.
Saying it's a triumph. Man,
well,
I feel
think people...
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I'm basically done.
I was just going to say, like, I think people made that prediction with the Suicide Squad as, like, all the other films in the DCU were bad, or, like, and they were just like, this might be bad, but then you got James Gunn. It's like, maybe. It's like, you kind of, like, take it based on, like, information that you have versus, like, the filmmakers, and there's a lot of factors that can influence your opinion before you go in.
Yeah, because obviously the people who made Black Widow, like, they got fucking no clue how to write characters, but James Gunn does. And so if you're going to bank on one of them with their next film, it's like, I guess James Gunn, yeah, I'll take him. Like, hopefully he can get that right. Especially with Guardians, because he's very invested in the Guardians.
He's just got so much baggage to work with Endgame.
Like, Australian director.
I think she did a movie called, like, Berlin Syndrome or something that I saw.
Yeah.
That was the only movie.
it seems like the thing now with like Marvel movies is they get people who've made one or two like indie films and then just scale it up to this massive production, which feels like that's a weird way to approach making a film, to get somebody who's done stuff small and then not like work them up in terms of, all right, we'll like build up scale to get familiar with how to make a
I feel
I'm
like
not
that's how like
entirely sure
filmmakers
I
maybe
enjoy
maybe
it.
it's
Well,
maybe it is.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I think it's part of the concept that it's like a successful indie film is a marker of good writing, when typically it's not. Like, part of the draw of these indie films is their more experimental nature. And
I was more referring to the idea of just managing a production that's like $200 million is probably got to be a bigger task than managing a production like that's on a few $1 million in terms of just logistics and things like that.
You
Sure, I
got a
feel like
bigger
that's the
crew though,
most
right? So like
filmmakers.
there's more people handling
That's true.
all the
That's true.
aspects
and
of it.
it's not going to be Kate Shortland like signing the documents to get locations. That's what that's what Kevin Feige
Oh, sure,
does. She's
but
just
I guess I would still assume that it's like it's more complicated, right? Like to make a film that on that scale than it would be to make a film on a smaller scale.
Hey, we got
I
22
imagine
seconds
like
in this time.
We got what?
We got 22 seconds in this time.
Yeah, 22 seconds, everybody.
Progress.
That is.
Hey, we're talking
beautiful
about something that
progress.
she was talking about. Like, at least we're making a little
Yeah.
progress listening to her.
Sort of like tangentially related.
We
to something that
appreciate you,
we-
Grace. Appreciate you.
Imagine my surprise as the movie.
Oh, look at the
no,
emoji.
shock.
The emoji,
Microphone.
and it's behind the text.
The
Look at
yeah.
that.
Everything's
Editing
behind
work
the
going
text.
on
The
there.
text is the top
Is
layer.
the
Beautiful.
text on the top?
Yeah,
I guess
If
that's
it-
on her top
The
layer.
text.
The text.
Think about it. The text would probably be the last thing she put in because she needs to listen to herself to figure out what topic she even went through, I guess. Unless
so
she does it
didn't
before.
do it where,
I don't
instead
know.
of doing like the bullet point text first and following that, she did it the other way. So just whatever she rambled on about, she put the text in to give the
Well-
impression, or like just to lie about the fact that there might have been structure to it.
I guess we'll find out. Because
Didn't care for Peacemaker or King Shark.
wait, we gotta
We'll get
wait. Let
there.
her get to it, okay?
I
Gotta wait.
just
I know
saw
you're-
it. I just saw it and I'm
I
upset.
know it hurts. I know it hurts. It makes
It
my
hurts,
brain
I
go,
know.
For me, and I realized much, I was just so disappointed about it, but that there was no way that I could not give this a Rotten Tomato. I
Oh.
just have too many
The
problems
horror
with
of a
it.
By the
Rotten
way,
Tomato. How
I've
dare
never
you?
heard anyone talk about the reviews in terms of whether or not they would give it a particular ripeness grade of tomato.
Well,
Like generally,
Like anyone actually gives a fuck.
Well, Rex, maybe when you're Rotten Tomatoes certified, when you're a
oh yeah, when I'm a
contributor-
real critic,
yeah.
yeah, because she's a professional critic. You could tell by
the glasses.
you could tell, yeah.
The landscape
glasses.
behind.
Did I miss something?
mean-
She can't give it a Rotten Tomato because she has problems with it?
no, she
No,
can't.
she-
Like,
she
that
should
we
give
give
it a
it
Rotten
a
Tomato.
fresh tomato.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
by the
fresh
way,
one.
Not give it a
Okay.
fresh
you can
tomato.
tell we're just from different realms. Because when she said like, I have to give it the rotten, I was like, so is that 50% or lower, or is it?
I think Rotten is 59% or
60%,
lower.
Yeah.
So you got
So that's fucking useless. Tell me what
Nice.
you mean. What?
59 is 60 or below.
Well, there's a big difference between a movie that's a 5.5 and a movie that's a 1.
Yeah.
Like, can we what are we doing here?
Tell me the truth,
Well,
Grace.
We've only given her 40 seconds to speak.
That's enough.
True.
How many views does it have?
118,000.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Damn.
Taste-wise, I'm gonna give this a very fair review.
All right.
But I don't.
All right.
No,
hold
give
on.
it an
So here's the
unfair review, please.
Yeah, as if anyone's ever been gat of a review like that. I'm gonna be very unfair today.
I'm gonna be unfair.
Wanna
Fuck
start a
this
review like that
movie.
now.
You if you like it.
We'll see how
Honestly, good
consistently
luck
she
with-
sticks to that.
Good luck with all the topics that you're going to cover, man, in like 18 minutes. Like, good God, that's
Well,
going to
so
do
Feels like
it.
a less
I'm
than a
very
minute for each
confused
of
by a
those.
particular topic. Incredibly well made. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, before that is matter of taste. So
Right, yeah.
it's gonna be like it does all of these things that I hate, but it did them well, so that's gonna be the
Okay, yeah.
Compromise I'll make with you guys. I've decided not to give this film a tomato at all.
Wow. What a kind
insane.
what a magnanimous benefactor.
It's so like
She's withholding the tomato. I want my
no
tomato.
for you.
Dude, this is so strange.
I
when,
would have
like,
given you a Rotten Tomato, but I'm gonna give you no tomato because I'm compromising.
Your
I'm
entire
just picturing
system is
someone
built-
watching this and she says like I was gonna give it a rotten tomato. They're like, oh, and then it's like, but I'm not gonna. It's like, oh, it's
Oh, thank God.
who cares about the
Sleep
tomato?
soundly.
It
First off,
does need
I
to
don't
be-
negotiate when I'm in a position of strength. You do what the fuck I tell you to, woman. That's not how this works. I'm not going to compromise with you. You have nothing to
feel like-
compromise about.
Great
before
friend
we like
does negotiate with terrorists.
seriously though, like I feel like it needs to be said before we get into it. Like Rotten Tomatoes is one of the worst like systems for understanding
True.
how good or bad.
Just say that
something
because
is
you're not on
ever-
there. You're not tomato approved.
Well,
Now-
if he was on there,
now-
it
You
would be
haven't been
better.
given
That-
the
that
tomato
is-
badge.
that is cutting into my soul a bit. However, I do have arguments. The first one being I don't know that there is any system that I think is more useless than one where the percentage score is based on how many people gave you a score of 6 or above, rather than just an aggregate score. Like
Yeah,
that can
that's
totally
yeah,
mislead
stupid.
you. Everybody gives a
It's-
movie a 6 out of 10 and it's 100% rated, but a film that's divisive ends up getting like a much lower score because of this system.
Or what's interesting is that like you can have I guess it's technically possible to have a film that is rated on average higher, but it has a higher tomato score if
Yes,
if the
it's-
numbers line up the right way.
It's entirely
Yeah.
possible. I'm pretty sure that Joker has like a lower Rotten Tomatoes score than like Wonder Woman or something because
Yeah.
of just the way that the system works. It's a really stupid system because it seems like a lot of people aren't very familiar with it. So they see 91 and they're like, wow, like that's what, like a 9 out of 10? Whereas that's not what it is. It just means
No,
90% of people gave it a 6
Yeah.
out of 10 or above.
Which is really
And a
not that
6 out of
impressive.
10, yeah, a 6 out of 10 is not something I could really
Cool.
work with that much, especially with a bunch of the people
Well,
nowadays who are just
and of course,
slapping
yeah.
tomatoes to everybody.
And that's the fundamental thing, is this weird abstraction of like what this film is without any information on what I can get out of it. And that's the issue, is like number scores are already not great, but number scores are better than Rotten Tomatoes. Like I don't understand why it's such a prominent system that's used for like films. I don't
I
get
feel
it.
like I only explore Rotten Tomatoes to see how it compares to other
Yeah.
like things rated there, just for the lulz almost, or because I want to check to see how much of a stupid bit of nonsense it is.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just
I wouldn't get.
So
Go
like
ahead.
someone, like if I'm having a conversation about film with somebody and they tell me as a sort of opener to help me understand their position, so I'm not going to give this a tomato of any kind. It makes me feel like
I
that.
don't understand what
I've
yeah.
got it
I've
on
never
screen.
given a
That is
tomato
my
to a
reaction
film.
right
I
there.
just imagine someone saying that like 25 years ago and everyone thinking they're just insane.
Yeah,
Like,
this feels
what
like
did I
something you'd
think?
see on interdimensional cable. Like this is-
without that context, just like what did you think of the film? Well, I'm not going to give it a tomato. What the fuck are you talking
What
about?
are you talking about?
This is what I mean. I've just pulled up and it's like new and upcoming movies, reminiscent 36%. It's like, does that mean it's a 3.6? No, it means that only 36% of people gave it a 6 or above. But then I go on Metacritic and it's like 55. So this is very confusing to me. It's like the number is more helpful than it's dumb. It's a stupid
Honestly, you want a
system.
graph. You want a fucking graph that shows like 1 to 10, and it shows them all, and each one has got a bar for like how many people
Oh.
put it in that number category.
Oh,
That's
here-
the best way to show it.
Here's a better
One of
one.
the access needs to be intelligence.
It says Protege 60, so it's certified fresh. And on Metacritic, it's 45, which means it's lower than Reminiscence, which has a rotten score. It's like, so a film that is broadly considered to be better has a lower Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah. Think about the graph, is that's a more practical like solution to like learn what people think about the movie and like what overall people believe. But the reason they keep it as the score is so they can like put it in trailers or like on Blu-ray
Yeah,
cover.
and of
It's
course, with
Critic
Rotten
scores
Tomatoes,
are useless. Critic scores, absolutely useless.
I mean, I know that.
Well,
they,
you know
they don't
that,
contribute
but the
anything to the film.
normie-
They don't contribute any financial benefit to the film. The only person they should be listening to is the audience.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. Like, if you have a high tomato rating, just because of the popularity of the system, people I think are going to be more inclined to go see a movie with a 92% rating than a 22% rating.
I got slightly confused here. I'm living in a world where we're not grading movies by the tomato
Tomatoes.
ripeness.
The problem is
here.
that we are commenting on how dumb all that shit is, but like loads of people use it. And it's like, oh, why?
Yeah, I mean, people pull it up and see, oh, 92, I'll go watch it. And it's like, you don't even know what they said.
That was
and
a
you don't know
3.2, really.
I mean, it's several things. You don't know what they said. You don't know who said it. Do you value everybody's opinion equally? Or do you value these people's opinions more highly than your own? Or like,
I've seen it. It always comes up to defend films that are really shit. It'll be like, yeah, well, this film did this. And it's like,
But this is levels of critic because you have your critics and then you have your top critics for Rotten Tomatoes. And you could grade. You could.
I'm pretty sure she's listed as one.
That's so cringe.
Well, surely she must be one if she's talking about if she's going to give him a tomato or not, or else she's just doing the most cringe. Or else she's doing the most fucking cringe role play I have ever seen in my life, where
There's
she's
no
pretending to
tomato.
be a certified critic on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's tough because it's like film
Dude.
is such a complex medium that I didn't like, and a number score just doesn't tell you what you need to know.
Well, I would appreciate
It's a green banana out of 10.
I would appreciate it if I knew what she was trying to do. Like, I appreciate 1 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 because I get your idea much quicker than, I'm sorry, Rotten Tomato.
Some use, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is a Rotten Tomato mean?
I mean, well, I feel an easy way to put it into perspective is it's like Saving Private Ryan and like Cars would both get a certified fresh, but like they're not the same by any stretch of the imagination. In terms
Come
of,
on.
like, that's,
it's the crossover.
If
you're judging it by like the trailer, if you're
I was
judging
too
it by like the
brash, right.
trailer, I feel like one of the most normal things you can do is judge a film by the trailer and then the Rotten Tomatoes score, right?
Well, I
So
think a
you-
trailer
you-
is fine
you-
as a point of reference, but
Well, yeah,
Rotten
you
Tomatoes-
get target audience from like you get the target audience from the trailer, and then you get the did they actually achieve to appeal to that target audience from the Rotten Tomatoes would be the idea. So it's like, oh, this appeals to me. Did they actually pull it off? And you go, oh, 5% on Rotten Tomatoes? Probably not. I think
Well, I mean, what's even weirder is that sometimes they'll see films on Rotten Tomatoes that have like 55%, but they'll still be certified fresh, which is really weird. Like, what do you do with that?
I pee on it.
Why is the haunted? I don't get why the Haunted Mansion is on the screen.
Yeah.
No, that's her. Oh.
Describe that PNG that she just slapped on there.
Beyond the oh, so it's a thumbnail from a prior video she did.
Where she was talking about Suicide Squad.
The Haunted Mansion.
mean nothing.
Well, yeah, it's fucking it's hideous.
It's all hideous though. Like, look at the emotions.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, luckily it's cohesive in the sense that it's all hideous. Nothing stands out in the sense that it isn't hideous.
It's
Oh,
remarkable.
it's like a bunch of scam pop-ups that are just appearing on the screen.
How the fuck does she have almost 1 million subscribers?
Oh, yeah, we
She's been doing this for a
Their
long
first video is
time.
horrendous.
Because she started in 2008. And she
Fuck
maybe
her.
cared back then, but now she's made it, so she doesn't have to care anymore.
Speaking
I would
Funny,
love to
man.
see the
That's
statistics of how many subscribers she got from this video. Like people saw this and said, "Yes, I want to be notified when more of this is made."
In
I
fairness,
need to know
she pissed people off
Grace's
with this
thoughts.
one. She pissed people off with this one, so maybe she lost subscribers. Who knows?
I don't want to fight with anybody. So here's the compromise I'll make with you guys.
Okay.
I've decided not to give this film a tomato at all.
Stunning and
Because
brave.
my Rotten Tomato would not change the score that much, and it's just not worth the headache.
That's not a reason
Oh my
to
God.
not say what you believe.
I can't deal with I don't
You're
give a
a fucking
fuck.
critic.
Just
Just
get
give
on
it
with
a fucking score for fuck's sake.
just
Describing as a tomato.
just tell us what you
critic,
thought.
but I'm not going to
Talk about the
I'm not
mechanics
going
of
to give it a
tomatoes.
score.
I don't want to
Because
get
I don't want
kickback to the
people to
internet. It's just
disagree
going to
with
give me
me.
kickback anyway, regardless of what I say or do. So I'm just not going to give it a tomato. Give it a fucking tomato, woman.
Give it what you
just
think it
want
should
a
have.
tomato.
Hang on, 'cause you know
Grace,
what people, I wouldn't want to cause controversy, so I'm not going to write a Rotten Tomatoes review. I'm just going to make a YouTube video.
Also, like
Yeah.
it doesn't
What
matter,
could
but it's like,
possibly
what do you
go
mean?
wrong?
It'll go in, so it might as well.
Not even
This
one.
isn't a
There's
reason
two
not to say
videos
what you
about the
think.
Suicide Squad she made. There's like a
Her
spoiler
mind is
review as well.
so-
That's even longer.
Her mind is so conditioned to rating in tomatoes and like Rotten Tomatoes that if you asked her to just give it a number score, it would be like in The Office when Michael tries to give Kevin a math problem, but he can't do it, so he starts listing it with M&Ms instead. It's like, all right, is it 8 tomatoes or 4 tomatoes? And she could probably give you an answer then.
I'm blown away by the fact that she's not going to do it primarily, or at least in part, because it won't change the overall score.
Yeah.
What the
I
hell?
think that's just
This
something
is the
that
ultimate. She lives in critic world.
Feels that way,
It's
yeah.
so
That
weird.
tends to happen when you throw it into like a giant conglomerate. Like, of course, it might get like
if-
thrown in and forgotten.
If someone said like, "Hey, your Black Widow video is not going to make a difference to what people think of Black Widow," I'd be like, "I don't give a fuck." Putting it out anyway.
Surely
like,
it'd be
this
more
is
of an
like
argument,
maybe I have a principle that is to tell the truth and what I feel.
Sure, yeah.
No,
Could you
Alex,
imagine
too
if
much
every critic,
backlash.
if every critic used that same thought process where they're like, it wouldn't change it that much. So I'm
Well, I mean, you know, I won't make a difference or won't do anything. It's just a stupid attitude.
Well,
like in general.
Surely, it's actually thinking about it because it's got 101 there. Like, there's not a large amount compared to the people who could be possible to change that number, right? Like, that's a select group. So it's like she needs to let everyone know that, despite my opinion mattering much more than the average person, I'm not going to share it because I don't think it'll have a big enough piece of the pie to change anything. I'm reading too much into this.
That's not her job, though. That's not her job.
Just avoid.
Her
being
job
this
as a
kind of
critic is
person.
to pass on her fucking ripe-ish tomato.
But we made
It's
like
turn the tide in film critic world.
Yeah, the
like
point I'm trying to get at is that we've made so many like criticisms of tomato bullshit, like, but in their world, like, that is kind of the. I don't know if you guys remember, but, like, when Chris Stuckman got like officially put on Rotten Tomatoes, he was like super happy about it. Yes.
Of course he is. He's a superficial prick.
And like, to me, I'm just like, why the
It's
stop?
cool kids club. Only the coolest kids are allowed. It's very Scrabble.
So lame. And because to be honest with you, I hate the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes because they're all the blurb style. This film offers a lot of what could be considered lacking in the latest portions of the latter eras, and I find that much of it is wanting, despite the incredible visuals, supported by a cast that really cared, and a writer that did phenomenal work. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it's
what?
just-
What do you? What?
It's
like what?
Okay, but tell me
It's
about
always
the
like
movie.
2 to 3 paragraphs at most, and it's just like vapid and vague and never any
paragraphs?
specific
It's not-
example.
2 to 3
unhelpful.
sentences.
Sentences, yeah.
No, it's nothing-
Indentation means.
I think that
Yeah, like
the-
gaps between the sentences and
nothing is really said, and it just you're not helping me figure out whether
You're
this
not
is
helping
something I need
anybody.
to watch.
Yeah, what am
And
I
there's-
supposed to do with this? Nothing.
It's so weird that she even made this video, because if her whole point is I'm not going to give it a rating because it doesn't matter what I say, and then proceed to make a video because I guess she does think it matters what she says.
Well,
'cause
it
she
matters
still
on
has an
YouTube.
audience.
It's a,
It
it's
matters
a
on YouTube,
relevant
but not on
topic.
Rotten Tomatoes.
If
do you
she doesn't think she can move the needle with this, or she doesn't think her point of view matters with this, don't make the fucking video then.
Well,
Well, here
I mean,
I'll say this is what happens when critics care more about
Money.
like. Well, I almost want to. This is what happens when critics care more about
Optics.
themselves than the audience they're trying to communicate to. Because this
or like
screams of
changing the
my-
consensus, changing
like,
the
well,
overall
this is all
view.
about my career, my notoriety, my presence in the film industry, my me.
Permanent record.
It's not about how do I convey honestly what I actually feel to the people who watch my content.
That's what I mean.
Well,
You-
that's why
you-
she
you-
doesn't give any effort into the editing.
'Cause you
That's
could-
why
you-
it turns out like this.
And you could lose all of what we've seen so far. She could have just cut right into Suicide Squad or The Suicide Squad came out and blah blah blah. Let's talk about it. Instead of, look, Rotten Tomatoes. We need to go over how the system works and whether or not I shall provide a tomato. You're like, okay.
Unironically, I think Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns do better at that of just getting straight into the movie
well, I mean,
than
Jeremy
what she's
Johns
been
just
doing.
like gets the point. Just
Yeah,
Jeremy
exactly.
Jones, yeah,
But-
Stuckman, he's, I don't know, I can't watch his shit.
Neither can I. You're in good company.
And
for
at
that
least shit has a flavor.
I'm not a
Like
fan
Rotten
of
speak
Tomato,
from experience,
right?
Rags?
Wouldn't you prefer no flavor to shit flavor?
I feel
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
I
but,
prefer no
I mean-
flavor to shit flavor. I like rice
Yeah.
cake sometimes.
Yeah, but even
Dang.
even shit, there's something about it that makes it what it is.
No, Stuckman doesn't give me even shit flavor.
Well, is that
No.
what you're saying, Rags? Chris Tuckman lacks the flavor of shit, even.
There's not, yeah, at least, even as bad as poop is, at least you're like, oh, that's poo. I know what that is.
I know
I
what
think
Chris
I'd prefer
Tuckman is.
bland to poop.
Do you
But if
know?
you
hate it, but
took-
it's unique.
Do you know what Chris Tuckman is, Jay? Do you?
I don't even know Chris Stuckman.
He's not
Chris
poo.
Stuckman doesn't know what he is. All he knows is there's a version of himself that he wants to be.
Yeah,
That's right.
Honestly, that's the most apt thing said about Chris Tuckman.
And now he's directing a movie. You guys saw that news, right?
Oh yeah,
Did-
yeah,
well,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the funnier news where he was like, "When I make my movie, they're gonna say
They're gonna call me
YouTuber
the film
turned
critic."
movie maker," when really I've been making
Yeah.
movies since I was a child.
Yeah, but his movies
He's like
are
trying to
shit.
change the way his channel is. He's like saying he wants to
Well-
talk more so about like how to make movies and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, dude.
When
you
he's
do
talking
shit.
about
feel
the
like-
movies he made as a kid, it's like the VHS Indiana Jones fan films he made with his like buddies. Like, really, man?
Yeah, it's like kind of juvenile. It's not the best things to be showing
Right.
off. Like you probably want to
Yeah,
be
it's-
something
you're
from
just a
more
loser in the
experience.
woods.
It's still,
I
it's
feel
still
like the
kind of
big-
like good to show. It's like I've had passion for this from a kid
Well,
before I knew what
That's
I
the
was doing.
nicest way to
Yeah.
interpret that.
Here's-
Let me go the
but
opposite
here's the
direction and
thing.
say, stop shitting on the project that is YouTuber. Stop looking at it like it's a
Well,
shameful
yeah.
label.
I was about to say.
Yeah,
it's
so what if you
because-
started with YouTube? That's fine. I mean, I've
Well-
been making movies since I was 9 years old, like with stop recording with a camcorder, but I would still say like I came from YouTube originally because that's
Yeah.
where people knew me
I would
from.
say,
my
yeah, I
uploads.
want
It's
to
a
elevate
platform.
my
It's a-
platform
it's-
and my
It's a
craft.
valid
Right.
platform that has allowed a lot of people, a lot of talented people, an opportunity to get like in and be able to create their stuff and show it to the world when there otherwise would have been a lot of barriers in their way. And the reality is like Chris Stuckman came from YouTube. He wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't because he had a YouTube career.
True.
So it's really, I don't like it when
Yeah, I'm
you
gonna
then
use
turn
this
around
ladder, and then I'm gonna
and then kick
insult
the
the
ladder
ladder,
away.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Climb the
you're
ladder, pull it
ashamed.
away.
we
Yeah,
we
you're
see
ashamed
this
of your
with-
origin.
Which
This
is
is something
just-
that we
yeah.
notice with other film critics on YouTube who like they belittle their own craft.
Yeah.
Even though they're big
Yeah.
and famous, they're like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
just a
oh,
critic.
it's a dumb
Oh,
YouTube
I'm just-"
video. It's
it's
just a
a
dumb,
dumb YouTube
stupid
video,
YouTube video.
and-
Yeah.
It,
Well,
it
but,
tells
like,
me a lot
you
about how they
maybe-
see what they do.
High Top does that all the time, while simultaneously being like, "This is the greatest thing I have made," with every single video.
Well, I
Yeah,
believe
some of
that
my
it is.
favorite stuff is on YouTube, and there is some serious dog shit on Netflix. So I do not
Yeah.
care about the medium. It's just
So
whatever you're
true.
giving me. What's the
It's
content? Is it
creative.
good?
What have they done?
Oh yeah,
The thing is what matters.
Does any of it even matter if you can't give a tomato?
Yeah.
What
even
the
Chris
fuck is
Stuckman's
the
videos are better than a lot
I
of the
seek
stuff
the
on
approval of the
Netflix.
fruit.
Chris Stuckman's videos are like just I don't know, man. Chris Stuckman is just the critic thing that has
He's
been around
critic
for a
sludge. He is
long
the
time.
White
gray-
noise. It's just white noise.
Yeah,
and
he's-
that's
he
better
is-
than like Hoops.
I don't know. I think I'd rather watch Hoops.
Watch Hoops and say that to me again, Fringy.
I
I'm sure
see
I
Chris
haven't seen
Stuckman
Hoops.
video. All I hear is just like,
I'd rather watch Neil Breen than Chris Stuckman.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I was
yeah,
going to say
that's
with hoops, you can
He's
still comment on the
boring.
badness. With Stuckman, oftentimes you'll fall asleep. You don't want that.
It's
Well,
just
maybe you
the
do.
color gray personified.
You should get Neil Breen on EFAP. That would be incredible.
That would
If
be
only.
amazing.
If only.
He wouldn't belittle himself. That's the thing. He would see, how can this help my career as I ascend into filmmaking? Is like, do I want to associate with that my old life, my old self? That's how he would see
you'd
it.
you'd think Chris Stuckman would take pride in the fact that like he's been very successful on YouTube. And so when it's like YouTuber turned filmmaker, or you know, just even taking that perspective, it's like both of them are like they work together. You don't have to belittle your
But
craft
he
simply
thinks-
because it's
He thinks success. Okay, you guys seen A Knight's Tale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, love
In
that
A
movie.
Knight's Tale, our protagonist he's really good at the sparring. He's really good at it, but there's not as much. He doesn't see that there's not as much glory and money in it, and so he belittles it and he doesn't treat it as seriously as he could. He wants to go off and do bigger, better things. He wants to be the jousting master, right? Chris Stuckman is like that with YouTube, except our protagonist in Knight's Tale, he was good at sparring. Forget I mentioned anything.
Yeah. I was following that. I was like, wait, but
Yeah. Well, if you're good at YouTube, he's like, but that doesn't really mean anything if you're good at YouTube. Good at using.
That's the
Quotes.
trouble. is you can have no talent and
it's
still be
YouTube.
popular.
What you made
Well, you
didn't get
can't.
shown
But
in
you
a
can
theater.
with it on Netflix as well.
yeah.
I do think it's rooted in almost dated thinking. It's like, well, no, like if it's in a cinema, that's something. Yours is on a computer. Like you showed it on a computer. That's not.
There's
not
no such
worthwhile.
thing as medium hierarchy.
You didn't have catering on your project. You just did it on your own in like your house or in your backyard or like through a video game or through like a animation. It's like that's not like I had a premiere. Like there were people who came to my premiere, like critics and other filmmakers. You just made it on the internet. That's not like anything.
Chris Stuckman is a person who is married to the argument from authority fallacy.
Yeah.
I must have the big filmmakers, the Netflixes, the authorities in film craft. Those are who I need to be approved by. They are the ones who decide what is and is worthwhile art, and I have to make myself somebody that will be approved by them.
It's kind of built into the film industry because like there will never be a YouTube film. Like if you made a film and put it on YouTube, it wouldn't be considered for the Academy Awards. Like they already have the barrier that it has to be released in theaters, and everything is building up to the Oscars. So
that's got to
think?
change soon.
You really think?
I feel like it has to because there's just going to be more and more films that don't get released theatrically. That's just going to become more common. And then
that's what Netflix has been doing a lot. They've been bypassing theaters. So
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, you have to consider that there's been
incredible films.
There's been a boom of the streaming services in general, and those are going to be trying to do originals, and they're all going to lobby together to say, "Hey, get us into the fucking show."
Yeah.
And
once
I think that more doing.
And once it's Netflix,
it's all money anyway. It's advertising. What do they give a shit?
Like,
it's a giant marketing event. If they get more money, who cares?
Oh well, I mean,
I think that there's an old guard in films who wants to protect what they perceive the craft to be.
Yeah, but it won't matter with time. Eventually, people will be like,
eventually, those people will just like
die. I was going to say, it's not even just the prestigious elements. There's like the experience of he plays one of his short films in a theater with people watching it. He's like, I have made it. Because that's what this is. That's the experience. When I would just be like, dude, the film is what means you've made it. You completed the project. Like, and it's such a almost a wholesome mistake that he could be talked out of when looking at it maybe philosophically. But I'm just sitting there like really frustrated. It's like, stop. Appreciate the work you've done, not whether or not people saw it in a particular building. Like, damn.
It's true. People get focused on the wrong thing.
That does represent sort of the achievement and the
No.
As in, it represents. It's like enjoying the party that you have to celebrate that you finished something.
That wouldn't even. No, I'm talking about he doesn't see like the value until it reaches the theater.
Well, no, yeah, that's the problem. Like, there's a healthy way to do that. There's a healthy way to be like, I'm proud of having my film shown in the cinema. Like, that's not unhealthy.
Well, I can see how that would be healthy. It's all about priorities. Like, are you happy that it got to be on this massive screen with awesome sound that you can experience it in this type of way? Or was it specifically, well, movies are meant to be in theaters and like,
that's what I'm talking about.
To watch my film
essentially, if you're placing value, it depends why you're placing value upon it.
Yeah, of course.
Well, if it's shown in a theater, it's a movie. If it's played on a computer, it's a video.
It's a frustrating form of gatekeeping because that's a whole topic on its own, whether there are times to do it and times not to. But it reminds me of when Jay from Red Letter Media, and I always use this example because it was the most frustrating one, where he described Todd Phillips as not a real filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
Why?
For reference, the guy made all the Hangover movies and Joker, and it's like it's not a real film made by a real filmmaker. It's like, okay.
I don't like that kind of thing of like you're a real filmmaker.
Did you not qualify? Why is he not a real filmmaker?
I think that's what was that video from them got more downvotes than usual because people were annoyed. They seemed a little skewed against Joker because of the fact that it was. They really didn't like the fact that Todd Phillips had said he tried to sneak a real film inside. Did he say a real film inside a comic book movie because they're what's being watched right now?
Yeah, and it's the same thing with Martin Scorsese with like Marvel movies not being cinema. It's like just using specific terminology and saying that like a certain genre or a filmmaker it isn't this.
Well,
It's
that's the thing,
just,
man.
yeah.
People really hate that we don't like his take on that, and like most of the time, you watch people try and justify Scorsese, they will change what he said. They'll be like,
because what he said was that he said that like that superhero movies are not the thing of people relaying like their experiences and feelings to each other. And it's like that's
just categorically untrue.
It is. So that's just wrong.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what he said was false, and it was a misrepresentation. But then the question then becomes, when does something become not cinema?
Well,
yeah,
like,
and
it has capes.
And people are like, he said they like roller coasters, which isn't offensive. It's like, you know, roller coasters are fun. They're just not cinema. And it's like, shut up. Just shut up. Seriously. Jesus Christ.
I mean,
like,
it was like Taika Waititi said, it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's cinema. They're films that you watch in theaters. Like, it's cinema.
well, the big deal for me, it seems to be, is like, there's fast-paced explosion and mixed tones, therefore it can't be like a true art film where they... And it's just like, that's absurd. That is absolutely absurd.
It's not a black and white.
Does that apply to Terminator? Does that apply to Die Hard? They're not cinema because there's explosions.
It's like, yeah, people will change the goalposts, say like it's not like it's not high art. Not that it's cinema, it's just not a high art film. There's like far more. It's like you're telling me you can't have like a bombastic blockbuster that's like really, really well made and be high art. Like, yeah.
I mean, Well, then we get to the part. It's all art. It's all art, and it's all film. It's
and
all...
someone said, I agree with Scorsese, cinema's dead. That's a different topic. They're not
You changed
what
he said. You did the thing that,
yeah.
You did the thing we said that people do, and you did it.
Changed what he said. Yeah, because what he said is really disagreeable, but people really like Martin Scorsese, and they always cite, hey man, he's one of the like foundational people that made filmmaking what it is. Like, oh,
there always has to be someone who makes something what it is. That doesn't mean they did a good job at it.
Well, I find it fascinating because it's like,
Hitler made the Third Reich what it is.
I would. Well, I think the
Rex,
counter
that's
is
a strange argument you just made.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the more apt thing to point out is it's like Martin Scorsese has made a lot of great films. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to have a correct take on this particular topic.
Well, imagine someone said, you don't like Prometheus? You aware the guy who made that made Aliens, so what are you talking about?
Runner and Aliens.
Yeah.
It's like,
like Black Hawk Down and Gladiator.
No, you need to have the right inflection. The guy who made that made Aliens?
Alien.
Yeah, it's like, how did that happen?
Alien, yeah.
It's,
You don't like Old, the guy who made
those,
that made
those are
Unbreakable.
both films.
Alien cinema?
Nope. Maybe not. I don't know.
Have any of you seen
when does it stop
Old?
becoming cinema?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Well, that's the thing. You know, you'd be like Scorsese. Like, if I had an explosion, one more extra one into Godfather, is it still cinema? And he's like, yeah. 2 more? Yeah. 3 more?
I saw somebody mention.
Yeah.
I think I saw somebody mention in chat something. What I was just gonna say, like, I saw somebody mention in chat, like, there was a time when special effects, like, people were just like, oh, this is just stupid shit. Like, this doesn't mean anything. And then it was like Luxo Jr. came out, and it's like, oh, right, this is like art. It's just another medium. And it just seems like because again, there was the quote of like, video games aren't art. It takes time to catch up to what is obvious, which is that it's all art.
Oh,
Roger Ebert said that one. He said that video games will never be art, and it's like that's the oof take from him.
Here's a quote for you. Here's a quote for you that surprised you. Roger Ebert said he gave Batman Returns a not positive review. He said that noir and superhero genre can't mix. It's like these just ridiculous statements that don't mean anything.
Why would you say that? Like,
yeah, I was about to say why.
I don't know because there are people who unironically believe that you can't mix genres for some reason. I distinctly remember science fiction and fantasy, like they're distinct, they can't mix. And of course, you're like Star Wars, Marvel, like DC, all of the biggest properties ever. It's like science
they're not cinema, though.
Action comedies or like horror comedies. Like you can blend genres that are like more comedic with other ones that like are more bombastic. There's like that happens all the time.
It's just get out of this genre thing. Stop getting caught up in it. Like films, it can be anything. It just as long as it makes sense, basically. That's
it's like imagine there were loads of foundational works that were like that were a genre called like Florm, and they've got like
oh my god, an art form.
It's very fun. It's this very early genre of fiction that took hold, and it's all about these women who use magic, and that's what Florm is. It's about women who use magic, and someone wants to write a film about men who use magic, and they're like, men, but men aren't really an aspect of Florm, so you can't really. That's mixing Florm with like fantasy,
And that
really.
makes it
So you
bad.
can't really
That
do
makes it
that.
bad. Yeah. That makes it a 2 out of 4.
It's like,
Well, it's
these
certainly not
people-
cinema.
These people aren't arguing from what does and doesn't work within the art itself. These people are arguing from how it compares to previous conventions, which is
It's all the meta
meaningless.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not meaningless. There is, the meta changes how people perceive art, but it is still not a way to determine what can and can't work.
I do feel that I have a responsibility to
Heard this
point
like
out
6
that
times.
this parade, I believe, appeals to a smaller group than Warner Brothers and the initial Rotten Tomatoes score would lead everyone to believe.
What a strange
What does that
thing to
matter?
say.
Does she mean the audience? Like the audience? is
Yeah, I mean,
smaller,
I guess
or-
it's a legitimate thing to talk about. I guess if it's
What do you mean? Wait. I want to make sure.
There's cocks in it.
I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Did she or did she not just say, judging from the score and who's releasing this, the parade is being celebrated by people who aren't that audience?
I think what
Wait.
she's trying to say, if I'm being good faith, is if you look at the score, you would think that this film has broader appeal than it actually has. But
Yeah.
that is a bizarre thing to say. So I'm not sure if that's what she meant, but I think it is.
I think that's what she's trying to say. I think it's.
Why
I don't
would
think
this-
it's particular and reasonable?
So more you're about to say, like, why would the score indicate that? That's a good point, because it's a stupid thing to say if that's what she meant. Like,
Are we
it
supposed
doesn't
to
make any
like
sense.
R-rated doesn't mean appeals to less people in terms like it's
I think
age
she
groups.
means-
So the
I
less...
think-
Oh, I
I
thought
think
she meant the
she-
musical
Autometer.
score.
I
and
think
I was
she meant
really
meter.
confused.
No, yeah, no.
Because
So
I was, like,
I know,
literally, I came
So what I'm
back.
saying is, what can you go off of this film to assume that the tomato meter isn't representing it properly? The only thing I can think of is that it's R-rated. It's got more violence, more. So it's like it isn't going to appeal to as many people. And it's just like, well, the people it does appeal to will still rate it as they believe it should be rated.
Well, so what you've just done is say something that's correct, and I think she said something that's incorrect. I think that's the impasse that we're at. That she believes something
Also,
different.
I was about to say that position that she just arrived at, she could have made that position without even watching the movie. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what the point of
That's
like
how
adding
good.
that
No,
into your
no, that's how
review
good of a
is.
critic she is.
Whoa, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Blowing our minds.
Well, if she's that good, then why isn't
Brother-
she giving out her goddamn tomato?
Yeah, stop keeping them to yourself.
Yeah.
And the initial Rotten Tomatoes score would lead everyone to believe. I thought I was going to love this movie based on that high RT score. I thought it was going to be amazing. I was telling people
relate
that.
to this What a thing
What
to
is this
say.
That
world?
high RT score. She
I
really
thought
puts a
I was-
lot of fucking faith into the worst
Yeah.
possible system
It's,
ever.
it's literally the worst one.
Is that
It's
how
like
it works?
the worst system, and she buys it hook, line, and sinker.
No matter the film that you watch, you're like, what's got a high score? So I'll like it. It's like, do you like romantic comedies? No, I fucking hate them. But but it's got a high score? Okay. Yeah.
It's like those Amazon reviews on movies like The Master
boy.
from some country bumpkin in Missouri who just doesn't get it. It's like, okay, cool. You don't like the movie. Not meant for you. Cool.
Go see it. I'm going to watch it again with you in the watch along. Maybe now that I know what's coming, that'll make it a
Chill-along.
little bit more digestible.
You've
And there
only
are
seen
really
it
good
once.
moments in it that I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm okay with people
Yes,
reviewing it
of
after one
course.
time. It's yeah.
Especially
not-
if
but-
it's
but-
my Discord kind of bugged out here. Did she just say she thought she liked this movie because of the score of the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Yeah.
Just want
She
to make
thought she
sure
would
she
like
said that. Really?
Yes.
I like that needs a second like concreting. Like that is a thing that
Just
she
so we're
said.
clear.
Verified.
Because that's fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same trick that they use on us, the audience, when we don't like a film.
Well,
They go, oh, well, if you look at the critic score, hello.
You remember the
It's
fucking
just a
the audience
place
score
to be
meter for Rise of Skywalker just locked it at 86? Was it?
Yes.
It never
And then
changed.
It never moved. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about that as much, but like talk about untrustworthy when you
Yeah.
start looking at some of the things that they put together, like Rotten Tomatoes, you cannot rely that even the numbers are true in the
Well, yeah,
slightest. So.
We were talking about how
Rotten
useless the
Tomatoes
system
owned
is.
by Warner Brothers. It's owned by fucking Warner Brothers, the site.
Exactly.
We were talking about how useless the system is, and that's when it's working.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
yeah.
it is working according to them, you know, as in like that is the
Well, so
system
my
working.
definition of
They're allowed
working
to
is
alter
like
it.
functioning as presented, that it should function. So
Able to
it's,
convey accurately some level of information
I
that
think working normally
aligns to
means
reality.
working means like working as intended, right? Normally.
oh fuck, I'm not saying oh it's working when they have it doing what they want it to do. I'm talking about what it's described to do.
Yeah,
like-
because the Nazi Party working as intended isn't great.
Yeah, but it's still
No.
working. Like it's still.
No, you've muddled it. So what I'm talking about is the tomato meat, how everything works on that site is supposed to be a particular way. The Rise of Skywalker is one of many examples where it was clearly not fucking working that way.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is we think it's shit when it's working, and then well, I don't say most of the time. I don't fucking know because I don't fucking care about Rotten Tomato scores, or I do in that I hate them. It clearly doesn't work sometimes, and so it's like, what the hell is the point of this?
Did you see the score for this film scrawled in shit in the bathroom? I know you may not be looking forward to this movie, but that score is
Man,
pretty damn
yeah, I
impressive.
can't wait to go see the Suicide Squad and also call Tammy for a good time.
Webcams down.
No, the only utility I get out of that site.
Out this glory hole.
The only utility I get is the immediate comparison between the two numbers, critic and audience. If it's way out of proportion, like in
Yeah.
favor of critic, but like, or no, like super low critic, but like super high audience, then I suspect
"Oh, I
that
wanna
it's like
see
some
this."
political bullshit, right? That's like getting in the
Or it's
way.
some really artsy thing, because we had that
Right.
with I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I fucking
Mhm.
hate that movie. And critics really, really liked it, and audiences were pretty not thrilled about it.
She's gonna get to the movie any second now. I'm so excited.
in the sun, enjoy it. But it means that I think a lot of people who maybe don't care for the movie are probably just going to keep it to themselves.
So don't cough for the
So
movie.
this person told me that at the movie theater where they work, a
Or
lot of
hold on.
people have been walking out. And I'll
Really?
I don't believe
maybe
I
for
don't
the
care. I don't
violence,
care.
I
I don't
guess.
care.
Bullshit.
Is that a point?
I don't know that I believe it. The people walking out of the
I don't
Suicide
believe
Squad?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first
No,
reaction, is that I don't believe you.
The follow-up
It-
question
Well, that is
should
to say,
be,
I
hey,
don't-
so are you a big fan of like Zack Snyder's Justice League? Oh, you are, huh?
Well, then, but why would they have gone to watch it
I wonder if
specifically to
there's any
walk out?
ulterior motives you might have. Yeah. Oh no, I mean,
If-
like the person who worked at the theater. It's like, do
Oh,
you have
well-
any biases?
Well,
mean-
like, a lot could mean like 5, and that's just like a coincidence.
That's true.
It's
Or
like,
what is
yeah,
yeah.
I guess
What
if
if it was a
nobody
family that
normally
brought their
walks
kids
out.
thinking it was just going to be a
Yeah, like-
superhero movie?
Well, yeah,
That's
that was
what
my
happened.
guess. Maybe it was
Maybe,
like the
yeah.
violence in the opening beach scene where like everyone
Yeah,
gets
maybe
killed.
Davison's
Like,
face gets blown off, and then like, right,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, as
going,
well.
we're going. Okay.
But I mean, it's
There's
an R-rated film.
all the
I don't
fucking
know.
Yeah,
Captain
but
Boomerang
our-
fans
our-
walked out.
It was a mass
All-
exodus
all
in
of-
theaters around the world. Everyone
They
stood
went
up in
just-
unison. We're
Straight
leaving.
to the toilet, straight to the glory hole.
Well, yeah, I like the idea that someone in the theater was like, "Oh shit, I forgot
Maybe
I have."
sucking a big juicy cock will keep my mind off of the Suicide Squad.
Oh my.
Tastes like popcorn. That's weird.
Tastes like Liberty.
Well, yeah,
Get why it's
I don't know
green, but
about
it's
I don't know about
delicious.
this.
Oh, this is the extended cut.
Oh, this is
I was
the
thinking
this
about
is
the
the
movie.
uncut version. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I got that DM before I saw the movie. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, the trailers
Then
label
why are you
pretty
reporting
good,
it?
right?
Because she's probably gonna say, "Then I saw the movie and I can understand" or something. Please don't, Grace. Please have some grace.
I haven't loved them, but I thought they had nice moments. I was intrigued by the high RT score like the rest of you.
Oh, stop.
And I was kind of coming around on the
not
movie.
like
I
that.
was
Don't
really
drag
liking
me
the
into your
posters.
sins.
I was like, you know what? This might
I
be
like
a
the
fun ride after.
posters, so I will enjoy the film.
Yeah.
so lame,
Posters
lame, lame.
sell it
Professional-
all the time.
Professional
Like
critic.
someone
She's still got
fucking
the exit sign up.
flabbergasted by the idea that they couldn't, that
Great
they
pause
might not
face.
enjoy a film that had good posters, a good trailer, and a high Rotten Tomatoes score. I don't understand how you can
All the
review
people who
films
should
from
not
the
be
year
a film
2008
critic.
onwards and still be of the perspective that that is surprising to you, that is shocking, that you can't comprehend the world in which that would happen.
We're
I
almost
live.
3 minutes in, and is she past the first talking point that she has on the screen? Like, I
Not
literally don't
yet.
even know.
She might be on the second. She might be on the
I think
second.
she's
Oh.
on the second. I think
Oh, yeah,
she's
yeah,
on
yeah,
for
yeah.
mainstream audiences, question mark.
She's got a glory hole face right there, though.
Oh my god.
Good pause. like,
Well, that's the thing.
whoa.
You can't see a glory hole face. It's like Schrodinger's expression.
Yeah, it's what I
I
imagine.
think we all know kind of what expression they're making. Their mouth is open.
That part,
Well, the
yeah.
other part, I mean,
I hope that you've actually seen it before.
We're not even into any
Right?
story beats yet. It's like 3 minutes in, and
Well,
it's just all this preliminary
she
stuff.
need-
Like, oh, I read what people said about it, and it was like
Posters.
interesting, and I thought about going, and I was like, I don't know, and then I decided, oh, what the hell, I'll just
The
go.
film critic.
It's
I'm
like,
a fucking
get on
film
with it,
critic. You
dude.
better go
Yeah.
fucking see it.
oh yeah, that's right. This is a big movie coming out, and I am a film critic for my fucking job, so I guess I'll go watch the movie.
Did she not get a
Well, we
free
wouldn't want to
pass? Is that what
inconvenience
this
you.
is?
Why would you need to? You could see the Rotten Tomatoes score. Easy.
That's true. Yeah.
It was probably good, maybe. I saw the poster.
Why do I even need to see the movie? I've seen the score. That's enough for me.
And the poster. Yeah, that's right.
And the poster. That's right. Yeah.
What's happening?
And the poster.
Okay. That was bizarre.
Posters, I was like, you know what? This might be a fun ride after all. But then while watching the actual movie,
You know what? She reminds
Jesus
me
Christ.
of. She reminds me of someone. Like if there was a fourth Ghostbuster, or a fifth Ghostbuster.
Yeah, what do you mean? What?
Yeah.
However, how many? And 26. There were 4 of them, right?
There was a
Mhm.
third
there-
of the Three
there were-
Musketeers.
Well, she gives me Ghostbuster vibes. Like, as a
Oh, you're talking
person. Like,
about-
she could be.
Dude.
Melissa
movie.
McCarthy's character.
Movie.
Yeah, I was gonna
kinda.
say, don't call
Yeah,
that
so-
Ghostbusters on its own. Jesus, I was so confused.
It's now Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
No, it is.
Amusing.
It's the
That's
subtitle.
amusing. No, I know. I know
It's
it
the
is.
subtitle,
And,
yeah.
and it was a part of Ghost Core, the universe.
The extended universe.
GCU.
Yeah, so funny.
I think something's going wrong with this call. I'm noticing weird things about people's timing with
What
talking.
kind of weird things? Yeah.
Like you started your
sounds all right to
sentence
me.
and
I
then
think
you
it's
cut
strange.
off, and then everyone talked, and then Rags finished his sentence, and no one noticed that.
Oh.
Yeah, I did though,
Hmm.
because I cared about
Interesting.
what you said, Rags.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Alright.
hopefully it goes away. I don't know what's going on. There's some weird sync issues happening right now.
Like a plumber?
Yes.
but then while watching the actual movie,
Jesus
I was
Christ.
like,
I
yeah,
hate her
could see how
voice.
people could walk out on this.
There it is. I could
Yeah,
see how
she
people
said
would
the
walk out.
same.
Yeah. So, all right, let's
She
hear
said
it.
nothing, though.
Why
Yeah,
would
why?
people? Well, yeah, she's going to explain it.
Yeah.
Surely.
I could definitely see it. I still think that the film will do incredibly well on
explanation.
HBO
Oh, well, I guess she
Max.
won't.
What?
No.
I mean,
What?
she'll get
I
to it.
don't
She'll get to it.
understand this commentary. Why would you say this?
Oh well.
She'll get there, maybe.
I don't. People won't like this in theaters, but they will like it on a streaming service. What?
She keeps talking about things that are outside of the actual film, like that have nothing to do with the plot
Yeah.
or characters or like anything about it. Everything she said, you could say without watching the movie, and it's like you should probably be talking about the film itself in a movie review, or at least 3 minutes in, you should be.
All right,
But
go
didn't
ahead.
she just
But
say I
before
could
the
see
Bart
what I
Simpson
could see
did.
why people would walk out, and then she didn't say
And then
why.
she didn't. She just
Yeah.
started talking
Maybe-
about why it would do well on HBO Max.
Maybe she will still get to that at some point. I don't
Okay,
know.
let's see.
Okay.
I
We
don't.
got time.
It's very hard for me to walk out on a movie. I believe I've maybe walked out on 1 or 2 movies, but other people
Tell me
will
what they
walk
are.
out on movies.
Yeah.
So I think you
And
have
why
to.
you did it.
Yeah,
curious.
this is all
I'd
fluff.
be curious to know what movies
Yeah.
she walked out of. I almost walked out of Where the Wild Things Are, but that's the closest I've ever gotten.
I would have walked out on Birds of Prey if I wasn't doing it for YouTube. It was so fucking shit.
I almost walked out on John Wick 2.
I almost walked out of the Snowman.
Yeah, because that movie's really shit. Yeah.
It pissed me off to no end. You'll find
I
you'll
have never
understand. Metal
considered
will
walking
eventually complete his video on John Wick 2. Maybe that'll like help you understand why. I don't know.
Understand the type of person that's being described here. It's not going to be a hardcore fan. A hardcore fan's going to want to see this through to the end no matter what. They want to know exactly what, you know.
Or
you
they'll be the
just
most
see
likely
how
to
it
walk out because they have the most investment.
Or
It's
just
just-
like someone who likes watching movies to completion.
What's
There's a lot of
like-
people who are just like they see a bad movie, they're like, "Ah, this sucks." But it's like, you know what?
I mean,
paid
I'm
money, I
here.
might as well
I paid
watch it.
$78 for my ticket. I drove. I bought my $17 bottle of
I
popcorn or
watched all
whatever
the
the
ads.
fucking.
Sunk
Bottle of
cost.
Yeah.
I'm sunk cost this all the way.
Why are we talking about
Yeah,
this?
I mean, I'm here.
Get
Why
on
weren't
with
we
it.
talking about the film?
Yeah, like why
Why
are
are
we
we talking about this? Spider-Man's coming out.
exactly? She's moved
Hey,
on
she's
to
got
just
15 minutes. Who
pe-
knows?
people have walked out of it, you know, and a lot of people do walk out on stuff. I've walked out on only like the
But,
one,
you
but
know,
a lot of
if you
people
like the
do walk
Suicide-
out on stuff, and
and
so
if
I
you
just want to
like
make
the
it
Suicide
clear
Squad-
that we're talking specifically about the concept of people walking. I don't care. Get on with the fucking review.
Yeah. Was it a thing? Were a lot of people walking out of the Suicide Squad?
According to
I
her,
didn't hear any of that.
one
She
source.
says that all she said was someone from the UK messaged
look at
her
me.
and said that a lot of people were walking out on it. End of anecdote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tidal waves of people everywhere leaving the
Yep.
theaters
Yeah,
in droves.
Screaming.
People are drowning.
I like the idea that it's the preamble. Like I was prompted. You see, I was prompted. Like someone told me about this. It's not that I'm bringing it up just for no fucking reason at all. It's just someone told me they were walking out on it, so now I must speak on that. It's like, do you do this with every film? The potentiality of people walking out on it? I doubt it.
Stop blaming me, chat.
And see the whole thing. But there are other people who are more willing to do that, more casual fans.
Thank
so
you.
I think that might
Thank
be
you.
that demographic.
You've said nothing valuable.
But anyway, as I said, I still think this film will do very well on HBO
Some
Max.
people will
Okay,
walk
why
out.
do
Some
you
people will
think
not.
that? I'm getting really frustrated.
Can you
with
give
the
us-
fact that
Maybe
she's
she'll
saying
say
that.
it. Maybe she'll explain it. She's got 15
swear to
more
God.
minutes. Maybe we'll get...
She does.
Give us a single why. Like, please, just one
I mean, like
why.
this is something that could like fill an entire video. Is the whole HBO Max thing and like how that affects box
Yeah.
office with like COVID and
Yeah.
all that, like that. But that has nothing to do with the Suicide Squad. That has more so to do with the platform. So, yeah.
It's designed to do incredibly well on HBO Max.
What? No,
Designed?
What?
Designed
Was
to
not.
do well?
It was made for
I
theater.
want to hear this thought that you have explored.
Please
was made
explain
for
yourself.
Maybe
It was-
she's,
it was
she's going to
designed-
explain it
No,
right now. She's
All
going
right,
to tell
yeah,
us
maybe
in great
she
depth
will.
right
No,
now.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
Here
matter
it
what
is.
she says because it wasn't. It was
comes.
made for theaters. It was meant to be
James
a
Gunn
theatrical
totally made
release.
this for theaters, yeah.
This-
Well,
I was
this
gonna
is
say,
an interesting thing.
I know you're going
Huge.
nuts, but let me explain why I say that. She's going to say that right now. I
You-
guarantee it.
Yeah, let's see.
All right.
By the way,
Let's
from
go.
what I've
Let's
heard
go.
from people, this film is actually like worth seeing in the theater.
Yeah.
So
Totally
I'm
was.
getting very
I
confused.
saw it and it was
Twice.
great.
Yeah,
Twice.
but were they from the UK who told you that in DMs? Maybe.
Yeah.
I saw it twice in the UK.
Maybe
Oh.
that's the guy. Maybe that's the guy. I don't know.
Maybe it's you. Maybe Az walked out both times.
As is
They-
not in
well,
the
I
UK.
think
Only to the glory hole.
He came to the UK to walk out in the UK.
Yeah.
It just so happens that his favorite glory hole is at the movie theater. So
Yeah,
exactly.
stars,
Yeah.
stars lined up for that career.
It only
choice.
made
Bought my
sense.
tickets, sit down. Oh, I need the
Like,
loot.
even if the
Time to get
movie's
up and
shit,
walk out.
at least I get to suck a nice dick.
Hey, you know what? This kind of ties in with the Jim Sterling video. This video has been nothing but just, this is what I think about stuff.
Can't
And it's
stick
got
his dick through a glory hole.
okay.
And then there was a pause.
Oh.
So what I was saying was like the explicitly subjective review. This is like the straw man I would make, where you just say stuff.
Ah.
Why? What did Jim Sterling do?
Oh, it was just it was 100% objective review where it was just saying things in a very monotone voice, but without actually explaining anything in detail.
Yeah, and I was saying that.
I wonder if
and then
the-
he's, then he
maybe
started
the
blaming
idea on the
people
left
for
is all the
something.
things she doesn't talk about.
Yeah.
You can talk about the size of the poster. Which poster did
Here's
she
what I
like?
won't cover today.
Why
Yeah,
does she judge your film based on the poster? Isn't that?
Did she
Never
like
mind.
the 11 by 17 smaller ones or the big movie? You know, I need to know these things before she tells me about the
Well,
actual
yeah.
movie.
What
How was
value
her
can we get
popcorn?
from her without knowing that? You know, it's really important that.
Was it salted? Was it buttered? Was it mixture?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet? Light hair?
Oh.
Is this all because she didn't get a free pass? Did she have to pay?
You
I
do have to
doubt
wonder
it.
about that, don't you? The second they stop re-inviting them, they're like, you know what? Your movie was shit. That's what it was. It was shit. That's why you didn't invite me, because I'd have been honest about it. Give me a gift bag.
Can't handle a true critic like me.
Grace, explain to us why this was made for HBO Max.
Please.
It's designed to do incredibly well on HBO Max. Partially, well, I think actually especially because you can
Actually,
screenshot
especially?
stills and scenes
There's
from
no
the
X in
movie
especially.
and share them on social media.
But you can do that for any film.
So-
So why would that be specifically to this film? And again, you fail to address the meaningful thing, which is that this film was made before the decision was made to put films on HBO Max for the whole year.
Not to mention
details.
It was made for HBO Max, so you can take
So you can take
screenshots for
pictures of them on
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah.
And I was about to say, would
Wow.
those images even like make the social media posts like more popular just because you had images from the movie rather than just the posts themselves? Or
Hey,
like
Grace,
even
there's
just
this
the
thing
poster?
called DVDs, Blu-rays, now 4Ks. People can put them into their devices at home, pause them if they so desire to take a screenshot.
you can't do that day one, can you? As owned,
You got him.
got him.
Got him.
This is a bizarre fucking bit of reasoning, by the way.
Yeah.
We are going to change. We're going to change our entire strategy for the release of this multi-million-dollar film because we think that if enough people take screenshots on their computers, it will generate enough revenue from sheer interest because of those screenshots. Woman, are you insane?
That'll do it. You know,
I
I'll
liked
probably
it
give
when
it
she
a
didn't
200
explain
bump in
herself.
views.
The thing is, she needs to craft. She needs to craft some kind of narrative that proves, this is why it's not working for people in theaters. It wasn't even made for them. And it's like, what?
Because those are two
Whereas-
entirely different just segments of humanity.
Well,
You know, the ones who go to theaters and the ones who...
I feel like the elephant in the room is DC has a shit reputation. Maybe that has
Yeah.
something to do with why people aren't going to watch it because it's like, oh, it's DC. They make the shit movies. Like
That's why a lot of people think Birds of Prey didn't do so well, right? Like that one
well,
didn't perform very well at
it's,
the box
at this
office either.
point, at this point you gotta wonder because it's like there was that one, and now there was Suicide Squad, and then if you look to next year, it would be interesting to see what happens with those films as well.
Yeah.
And plus pandemic stuff.
How did
and other factors as well, like confusion on whether it's a reboot or a sequel.
How did Wonder Woman 84 do again? I can't remember.
It didn't do that well,
Terrible.
from what I understand. Like box office numbers were shit, but then again there was like the HBO Max thing again, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
From what I
California
understand-
was locked down too. So
Yeah, exactly. Big place for like films. It seems like Mortal Kombat seems to be like the big success story overall for like the
And
movies that
Kong,
they
right?
released.
Godzilla
And
Kong.
Godzilla vs Kong, true. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Goodell, particularly, actually, especially. Like, what?
that was a trifecta.
I'm learning so much.
Like actually though, like literally actually.
Literally, actually.
For instance, I am fairly confident that John Cena's bulge and tighty whities will trend because it leaves absolutely nothing to the imagination. Some of you,
Yeah, it does. I
tweeted
can't
about-
see his cock.
This should.
I think
It leaves a lot to the imagination.
And again,
But
why
what do-
couldn't you tweet about that without the actual picture? You're telling me you couldn't like talk about that on social media without taking a physical screenshot from like HBO Max? Like, of course you could talk about that.
I also
outside
wouldn't
of the
be
movie.
surprised if that turned up in something of a, like, this scene getting shared, promotionally and stuff, since it's an early part of the film.
Yeah.
Possible. But,
Let's not start this review with themes or characters. Let's start with John Cena's cock.
Yeah.
What did we all
Well, I
think?
mean, I think that's a decent
And see,
place to start.
HBO
you ask me.
Max, they had their meeting, they had their board meetings to figure out, hey, look, this movie will do well on HBO Max because people could take pictures of John Cena's balls. Like, this.
Imagine John Cena being in that meeting and just feeling so good that this is being talked about.
My cock.
The
Sell a
most
movie.
Chad move ever.
Well, in the
Not
next
even his
room, you've
cock,
got Gal
the
Gadot
concept
screaming
of
that
his
she's
cock.
not going to get fallen on, her tits aren't going to get grabbed in the Justice League, and John Cena's there in his tidy whities.
I would
Yeah.
prefer to imagine Peacemaker, the character, sitting in on that meeting, where he's just there going,
If it's
"My
for
God,
I will
peace,
get my cock out for this. I will do
It's-
that if it would
For the
save
sake
lives.
of peace.
Yeah, for peace. Yeah, let me just write. It's clear that the Suicide Squad was
People
released
of
for streaming
liberty.
services because of John Cena's tighty whities.
Also, she applied the whole screenshot argument, but like that's not specific to the movie, even though she framed it that way. Like that would be literally any film released to HBO Max in addition to theaters as well.
Yeah.
So
Or did she just
Weird.
basically say, I want to see John Cena's cock?
I mean,
You can see it earlier on
Like, this is the thing.
screen, I guess.
It's fine to talk about what you're interested in, but I mean, you've given away a lot more than you probably realized. That's all.
John Cena's
Come on,
cock.
Grace. I prefer
Would it
you when
fit
you
in a
didn't,
glory
you didn't
hole?
explain your ideas.
Oh, you'd have to have a custom glory hole.
About this, and some of you said, "Oh, look at John Cena in these tight pants," and I was like, "You
That's
ain't
not the
seen
same.
nothing yet." Especially because the camera gets right in there, and I saw it in IMAX. It was a little bit like how with Watchmen, the
Jesus
movie.
Christ, woman!
What are we doing? What is
Do
this?
you really care about this?
God, there's a like this. The 3-year anniversary of EFAP is kind of developing a theme.
Look at what we got on those 3 different men.
What is happening right now?
She's gonna have cocks coming into her mouth, and then like, there's just gonna be dicks everywhere on the screen.
Why are there so many dramatically?
Grace, on your thing on the left-hand side, I don't say spends 10 minutes talking about
I
John
would like
Cena's
to know,
cock.
we are in the social media friendly section of this video, and on the screen right now, we've got a blurred out picture of Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Good
whatever.
God, you started the glory hole discussion before all this.
manhood.
Turns out it was quite
like-
relevant to the
Grace,
discussion of the video.
Grace, you gave away too much.
Manhandling.
Full of cocks.
Grace, you're so thirsty.
His crotch
Jesus.
was bald like a GI Joe. That's
Hey
misleading.
man, I appreciate this. I would like to know about the movie, though. I'm glad we're on the same page about John Cena's genitals.
Yes.
Definitely the most important thing to bring up first when you're actually talking
First
about
thing
the
she brings
qualities
up.
of the film.
Next Friday, take next Friday off. Dress yourself up pretty, go out to some sleazy bar and get fucking hammered, you know.
This picture is
What
amazing.
do you think of the Suicide Squad? Well, John Cena does have an impressive cock.
Yeah, okay,
Tell
yeah.
me more.
It's Dr. Manhattan's, just for good measure.
If anyone in the audience wants a reminder of some other good cocks, here are a few.
Can you recommend some cocks for me, please?
favorite cocks.
It's almost like a she wanted us to know she saw it in IMAX. Like I saw the cock in IMAX.
I saw his cock in IMAX.
What else is IMAX for?
It's important that we do that. That's all.
I was about to say, she's also advocating for like HBO Max being a better medium. It's like, would you not then be advocating for watching it in IMAX if that's what you're interested in?
I don't see this cock on the big screen.
We'd be
Yeah,
called-
exactly.
I want to see his
We were
cock
doing
on
this about
streaming.
Some lady's tits or something.
It's so
Oh, yeah, I
nice
mean,
to
it's
see when the
definitely-
mask slips, by the way. It's so fucking wonderful to see when it slips.
Well,
That's not all I hope slips.
What's funny to me is like this. If this were about the other side, like holy shit, this would be shat on. It's like you can see this girl's tits in IMAX too. It's great. I can see why people.
You can see the outline of her vulva.
It's like man.
If
John-
you look hard, you can just see her clitoris.
John Cena's getting Me Too'd. This is not fair. We got to stop it. It's an injustice.
Oh, he's being molested. I'm molested
mean-
by Grace.
I do think it is kind of weird to just talk about an actor's cock. You know?
Yeah.
You know, it's what you said earlier.
Brendan Fraser
It's-
got blacklisted.
It's not just talking about the cock.
First.
It's
I
talking.
really
Yeah,
feel like
first.
tweeting
Yeah.
at John Cena. Hey John, Grace Randolph really likes your cock.
Do more, please.
Do more tiny whitey scenes for her. She wants to see them in IMAX.
Do more having a cock.
Do more of
Hashtag
that
be better.
cock thing that you did in Suicide Squad.
Came for the story, stayed for the cocks.
Yep.
As we all do.
Yeah, I watch these movies for the plot.
Can we see King Shark's cock?
Yes.
Oh,
Both
God.
of them.
I'm
feel
not
like
convinced there's
sometimes-
two.
I feel like sometimes John Cena wants to go in a movie and he wants to be appreciated for his acting talents and not his impressive cock.
Well, too bad.
He's been objectified
Yeah, we'll lay for
all
that.
his life. This is a man who's been objectified all his life through his physique.
Yeah.
Now it's his cock.
It's like have you ever seen that comic where it's this sad guy going when you realize that she's just another woman using you for your massive wiener. That's what John Cena goes through all the time.
in there. I saw it in IMAX. It was a little bit like how with Watchmen, the movie, everyone just focused. It became the blue junk movie. But
what are you talking about?
That's you. That's you. No, Grace,
Yeah.
you're projecting.
Grace, you need to calm
That's
down.
you.
Nobody.
That's in the
You like him
graphic novel.
exotic.
Like what?
It's fine.
Who the fuck talks
I
about
bet
Watchmen
you really,
as
I
the
bet you
blue
really
junk
liked
movie?
Avatar.
The fuck?
There's a scene in this very film where a guy has his cock out.
Yeah,
but,
it's blown. Well,
Bloody
yeah.
Grace is too fixated on John Cena's tiny whities.
Like, Grace, you gotta calm down.
Why? Yeah. Did it become the Latino cock man's movie?
I'm so
Suicide Squad?
lonely.
No.
Latino cockman to the rescue.
I'd watch it.
Oh,
That was a silly cock.
Oh, it wasn't like a sex cock; it was a silly cock. I see.
Yeah.
He was a man getting
I think
killed.
it was handled better in the television show.
Handled better. Oh my god, there's another thing on the screen.
What is going on?
Grace, stop! Please.
The
Getting him
COC.
past.
Oh, putting dicks on the screen.
Superhero media dicks.
You never have too many.
I'd fucking piss myself if there was a hard cut between this scene and the next one.
A
where
hard cut.
She's fucked off to get the rampant rabbit out of a fucking bedside drawer.
Grace, I swear to God, if you put one more
Ranking the
dick on this
top
screen.
10 superhero movie cocks.
Room for more.
You're gonna get delved this mad. It's like just add more and more pictures.
We were asking explicitly for more explanations, and she's finally given us a scale of cocks. Like that's the first thing she's explained to us in detail.
IMAX cocks.
Yeah, you know what to do. You know what to do. I will fucking swear to God, I will tweet it out.
What, the scale of
No,
cocks?
I want to give this a rotten cock, but I think I'm not going to be able to give it any cocks at all.
Now that cock is right.
This gets a fresh cock.
I want a shiny red cock review.
96 on Rotten Cock Martyr or something.
Look at your eye. The fucking pupils are dilated. They're like fucking saucers. It's like she's in the game now.
It's like the percentage
She's in the
determines how
cocky
erect
game.
the dick is. It's all flaccid at 0.
96.
Grace, this is a weird video.
Yeah, you can get over a 10 on this scale.
To explain why I feel this way, here's 4 pictures of cocks.
I'll explain why this film was more successful on HBO Max.
I give this 3 John Cena
Like if
cocks out of
masturbated
5.
home.
She's in the boardroom. She's like, "Hear me out, okay?" She pulls down the blanket from the board, and it's just all this cocks. I can explain. I swear.
How do you think that's going to help us sell more burgers?
Or maybe she just sent this off to her editor, and her editor's just like, "Fuck this bitch."
She's talking about it.
It's everywhere.
Imagine sending this off to an editor, and this is what you get back. The quality of this
Grace,
dog
Grace,
shit
should I keep the cock part, or should I? I can get rid of it.
Should I just change it? I'll put the Twitter logo, the HBO Max logo.
Poor editor.
Do you like?
We're past the. Oh man.
I think it was handled better in the television show. That was not the focal point. Of,
The cock
you know,
was
they
handled
still had the
better,
full
or
front
what?
movie there.
She said it was handled better.
She just said it wasn't the focal point. None of these are the focal points.
No,
of the fucking
no,
movie.
here's
Yeah,
the thing.
you're
When you
making
see a
them
naked
focal
person on
points, man.
screen.
That's
It's the focal
There's-
point of the film.
There's one scene with John Cena in his tidy whities where it is kind of the focal point and the butt of the joke.
Well, you could say that about
can
all of
see
these, that they would be the focal point
Yeah.
when they're on the screen.
Whenever I see a wiener on screen, that becomes the focal point.
They're unusual to see on screen, that's all.
You don't normally just see them.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's
Normally
a
they're
dick over
behind like layers of clothing or something.
True.
Yeah. So
It was, I
they're
think,
like-
done much better, and therefore was received much better.
The cock was received. Grace, stop
I don't know
it.
if she's joking or not.
She's
see her starting
winding
to
us up
smirk there?
now.
Look at
She's
her smirk
winding
right
us
there.
up. She's like, you know what you're saying, you dirty whore.
Imagine what's on her screen right now. Like, oof. You don't, because you need to make sure she gets these points right.
Do you think she's
My
reading
name's
from a
Grace
script?
Randolph, and I'm a dirty girl.
We'll see. I'm sure that people will.
I'm
snap
Grace
that
Randolph or future Mrs. Cena.
Shared all over social media.
I've seen
the
a
movie
cock
is
or
full
two.
of record-scratching moments. That's how I would describe
Sarah,
it,
why
including.
is there a suggested video after the cock section?
Yeah, we're
Also,
done with the cock
poster
section.
that was
Yeah.
the poster that was
she wrapped
foundational
that
is
up.
just gone, replaced with another one. So it's like, oh, okay.
And
well,
now
I mean,
there's
I
she
guess
got it
we-
social media friendly, but it was actually John Cena
You
plus
know,
friends.
Yeah, that
too
wasn't really
friendly.
about
My-
social media. That
My
section.
favorite
Too
part about
friendly,
this
yeah.
frame right now is that this poster is small enough that if you just moved it a little bit to the right, it wouldn't overlap with the red text.
Yeah.
And you've still got the Twitter logo there as well, even though you've moved
Yeah.
on from that point.
Yep.
Lay.
Also,
David's
something else I didn't
favorite
notice.
character.
Something else I didn't notice that's upsetting me. Chapter times with a capital T. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that chapter times is not a proper noun.
Wait,
So
where?
I don't know what. And also
That's
dot
not
dot
right.
dot. That's very
Chapter
ominous.
times?
Dot dot
Wait, where's
dot.
chapter
Uh-oh.
times?
Chapter times?
Oh,
is that in
the
the
bottom
bottom
Yeah,
right.
bottom right.
Bottom
See,
right.
chapter times
Oh,
with a
okay,
capital T.
Oh,
What are we doing?
That is
yeah.
bothering
It's
me.
It's like a newspaper
Yeah.
chapter times.
January
The
edition.
chapter times.
It's all about chapters and what's going on in the world of chapters, where chapters are alive. They're like they're
Well, yeah,
they're
it's
not
like a
books.
book
They're just
newspaper.
well, it's not quite books. They're small books. They're little tiny books, like 10 pages, no more than that.
Novellas.
No, that's still too big.
No, they don't have to be women.
What? I feel like this little chapter story has got off the rails, and I'm very upset.
Welcome to
They talk
EFAP,
about cocks
Pringy.
again.
Hey, all right, stop it.
So anyway, we're going to talk about the Suicide Squad now. Apparently, record-scratching
Maybe one
moments.
day.
Finally.
Maybe
Yeah.
one day.
Man, I'm really excited for this
Full
video. to
frontal
start.
nudity.
Oh.
Male,
No, she's
quickly,
back to cocks
male
again.
and
She's
female.
still on that topic. She hasn't
She went
strayed
back
away
to
from
golf.
it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, now back to the cock.
God damn it,
there are
Grace.
briefly.
That's why the Twitter logo's still there. She can't get her mind off the cock.
Grace has been locked down for way too long.
We made it out of the
Jeez.
cock section and we
Oh, God.
fell right back into another cock section.
Of all the things to talk about in your movie review, there are two very brief sequences where we see a flaccid penis and a topless woman or two, and very brief, and it only happens twice. Why are you talking about? I'm telling you to grow up about nudity. That's how bad this is.
She's calling them
It's an
record-scratching
R-rated
moments.
movie.
Yeah, what are the odds of
Yeah.
seeing boobies in an R-rated movie? Oh my goodness.
What?
They're breasts. Have your job is on the internet. Like that stuff is not difficult to come across. Well, it shouldn't be hard to like find this sort of thing.
It's quite easy to come across.
We did it.
Well, no, just topless women, because of course it does. At one point in the movie, they have to go.
What do you mean? Yeah.
What do you mean? Of course it does.
What do you mean, of course it does. You just objectified John Cena and also like,
Man, this is
Yeah.
Man,
I was about to say,
contradicted
man,
yourself
gender
in a
equality,
second.
baby.
It's a full frontal and it's a record scratch, so it's a surprise. But obviously, it's in the film. What?
Yeah.
What do we?
it's obviously in the film.
No, I'm
It's
saying
not
that-
really
wait.
surprising things that are up that you knew were going to be coming in the film.
Yeah, unless
Well,
she
no, what I'm
meant...
saying is, it's like she's saying that these are surprising moments, but also obviously it would be in the film.
I think maybe she's doing that as a just additional note. So, like, crazily enough, there was a penis. There are tits, obviously, but there was a penis.
Maybe.
I think that's
Yeah.
what she's going for.
Yeah, I guess
roll
she's
it
saying
back.
maybe female nudity is more common or something like that. Like that's
Well,
more expected
topless
in
female
movies.
nudity certainly, because you can get away with breasts to a much greater degree than you can get away with penises and vaginas
Yep.
and
Yeah,
buttholes.
Yeah,
but you don't
there's
see
no
buttholes that
vagina in
much.
it. There's no vagina. There's just a couple of tits
Yeah,
here or
it's-
there.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
arguable
very
that
briefly in the
Tara's
background.
armpit
Mm-hmm.
are very vaginal.
Yeah, you don't get to really. Yeah.
Vaginal, as I would say.
I have a theory about film where if a film has flaccid dick in it, it's a good movie. And
Sideways.
but it can't be an erect dick because then you're just doing porn. But if it's a flaccid cock, it's a powerful and artistic statement. About
Yeah, I mean, symbolically, a
anatomy.
flaccid penis represents potential.
A flaccid penis used to mean strength.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, we'd all walk out with flaccid penises because it was a sign of strength.
Which was the style at the time.
Grace Randolph's giving me a flaccid fucking penis. I'll
Look,
tell you that.
let's just. She's
I
gonna.
remember my great
Let's hope
granddad's
she
penis.
gets off this topic. All right. That's gonna be
Oh
great.
my god.
That's why we call him
At one
great
point in the movie, they
granddad.
have to go to a female, a gentleman's club, let's say.
A female gentleman's
Very
club.
Female gentleman's club.
crude discussions. Like, here's an example.
There's crude discussions.
Oh my
Wait,
god!
this
In
is
an
in this
R-rated
R-rated movie called
Look, wait,
The Suicide Squad.
I'm very curious what her example will be.
At one point, a character says they would actually he would love a rat up his butt. So that's just a sampling of the dialogue.
No, you ruined the joke, darling. Ratcatcher said, "How would you like 6 rats going up your asshole?" And
Is
then
that a
he turned around and said, "I think you might find the answer of that question."
Surprising.
That's surprising to you.
This is like the most
I'm
bizarrely
sorry you got no
horny
sense
video.
of humor, Grace.
Like,
I'm sorry.
This is bizarre.
Well, okay, so we've got to clear. She loves the dick, but not rats in the butt.
Yeah.
Rats in the butt. That's too much.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the same
clearly
way.
homophobic.
I love the dick, but I also do
Suggestive
not
rats in
like
the butt.
the. Oh yeah, it's just the notion of it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. The threat
Over the
of
top
rats up the
gore.
butt.
I actually had to look away several times because at a point you started
Pussy.
to
In
realize when it
the,
was
the
coming, and
R-rated
I was like,
movie, Jesus.
I mean,
fucking
it's-
Christ.
I mean, I can
Well,
sympathize.
you know,
I
it was
suppose.
like it was very deliberately very gory.
Yeah.
Well, so
it's not like
this is one of those ones where
It didn't just show what it needed to show to like communicate the, like to be realistic as what would happen in the violence of the scene. It was like, whoa, look at all of this blood and gore and.
Also, it always works with gore, though.
Metal.
Like,
in that opening beach scene, you know what they're doing. Like everyone gets killed in like an overt way. It's like basically being like, "Yep, full on R. This is going to be a violent movie." So yeah.
Yeah, if anyone says I just couldn't handle the gore, I'd be like, yeah, that's the thing. People sometimes can't
Yeah,
handle the gore.
I'm not that keen on gore myself, but in this film, it was all right. It was funny oftentimes.
I mean, I get the same
Austin
entertainment
too.
out of it as I do with like Quentin Tarantino. I find it engaging for the most part.
Yeah.
Seeing Peter
Yeah.
Davison have his face blown off
He
was
did.
one of the greatest things
Yep.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Same with King Shark
That was a
ripping that
triumph.
guy in half lengthwise. That was like
an
awesome.
absolute triumph.
Absolute triumph.
like,
Someone's gotta
I don't
press
want to see that. So I would look away a couple of times.
But you saw the
Okay.
trailer
Tons of
where they
innocent
showed some
people
of
killed.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
well,
don't show most
I mean,
of it in the trailer.
Maybe
Whoa,
the stuff in
they-
the trailer wasn't what
Dude,
she.
The King
They showed
Shark
King
one.
Shark eating
yeah.
a person. Yeah.
Well, they didn't.
Yeah.
Not
And
just
they
that,
showed
but
a
when he,
shot of him ripping the dude in half
Well, it
too. That's
depends,
in the
like,
trailer
well-
too. So I'm sorry, you knew what you were getting into.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, those were not the goriest scenes. Those only show the violence that you need to show to communicate what's actually happening. Whereas some of them are like, "Hey, look directly at this."
Well,
like
but
the fucking,
Fringy's point is still valid
point
that
I'm- the
you've
point I'm
reached a
making
level,
is
so that level should be
You
now
knew what you
expected.
were
yeah.
getting into.
I think
yeah.
the
But
things
I
that
feel like it goes above that level at points, which is
Maybe it
what
does,
I'm
but if you
saying.
see a shot of a shark ripping a person in half sideways, it's like, I'm sorry, what did you expect you were going to see in this
Well,
film?
I guess it's weird how she's communicating what her potential point is. I think that's where the thing is, because I'm fine with the idea that, in and of itself, the idea that it was really gory, but some of the gore I had to look away from. If that is just something you're saying to describe the levels in a broad sense, that's fine.
Yeah,
But
but
if
the
this
problem
is a
is that she's-
complaint,
It is a
then
complaint. I'm
that
pretty
is
sure.
yeah, then that's what's strange.
That's what I think is happening
I
here.
don't
These
think-
are the things that are being said as like, see, this is why I don't like it, and this is, which I guess is fine, but like you're not just gonna stop there. I know it. Like it's not just gonna stop it. Well, I didn't like it, but it's neutral. It's gonna be a point of criticism for sure.
What were you gonna say,
Is it?
Jay?
I'm just like, I'm not even sure where she's going with this yet.
Well, let's roll it back and see what she says.
'Cause
Yeah.
at a point, you started to realize when it was coming, and I was like, I don't want to see that. So I would look away a couple of times.
Just like a horror film.
Tons of innocent people.
So
Oh,
this
so I
like
guess
some
she
people
does
doing it
drop
in a horror
Well,
film. You know, they know it's coming and they kind of peek
What did you-
behind
yeah.
their hands.
Also, now
Well,
I'm not sure
I'm-
if it's a complaint or just a description of her watching the film.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
where I'm at. I'm
I
confused.
think it was
as
just
to-
a description of her because she's just done with it now, or she seems to have dropped it at least. She just like she looked away a couple times. It's like,
But
Also,
it's,
remember the
it's
con-
her, it's
the
her
con-
delivery, her inflection here.
Yeah.
and the context was record scratch moments, as in things that may very well make people leave. Because that was where how she rolled into this topic. As far as I remember.
It kind of depends on the person.
Thought.
I mean,
didn't you know a review and a plot summary are the same thing?
I mean, they are the parts of the film that will probably go like will probably, what's the word I'm looking for? Some people will feel of anything that's going to make someone walk out. It's probably these things.
Yeah, I
Or
guess the
the-
most objectionable stuff in here
Compelled.
would be
Is it
violence.
compelled? The word you're looking for?
I'm not sure.
Compelled.
I think the moment of the word is past.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
weird 'cause
compelled to leave from this movie theater.
Someone said let her finish. She's already on the
video-
next topic. She's talking about innocent people dying in this movie, which is going to be a fascinating fucking topic.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's a fucking oh my god, no, okay, go on.
I'm just not. It's just good to know that our protagonists and quote unquote heroes aren't the one doing it this time. So that's
unlike that other film.
Way a couple of times. Tons of innocent people killed. I'm surprised that more people aren't making a comment about that, especially because
what comment should
almost
they make?
all of them,
Yeah.
I'd say 99%, are impoverished people of color.
Why is the life of an impoverished person of
Those
So
are
there
the
were
people
white
in
in
the
the
setting of the
thing.
movie.
That's what. That's,
Yeah, who-
That's yeah.
That's
who would
everyone
on that island
white
should
people,
fall into
like,
that
should be
definition.
making
Only,
white
yeah.
people look like monkeys.
Rich white
Fucking
people
hell.
should die.
I can't believe the.
I don't believe it. How are you so blatant about saying that? Do you not understand what you've just implied, you crazy bitch?
It would have been okay if they
Yeah,
were
like-
white people. Like, oh shit.
Like I'm on board with the idea that a lot of innocent people dying could turn you off a movie, but like we have gone to the next level. This is a record scratch moment.
Yeah,
it's like placing almost value on different lives, where
But
it's like
also,
based on their race.
the
It's
whole
like,
idea-
yeah.
But did she watch the film? Because one of the things in the film was that the people were like condemned, and then the heroes tried to save the city. Like, why would it be a point of criticism against the film?
Whole
I don't
point is
think-
that innocent people are at risk, and they
Yeah,
saved a lot of
exactly.
them.
This is like saying too many black
yeah,
people
but
die
also-
in Resident Evil 5, where it takes place in Africa. And I'm like,
The
of course.
Suicide Squad is made up of 95% villains, by the way.
Well, they
who are
pretty much-
doing
Yeah, but
this
what
to
color
get
were they?
time off their
What
jail
color?
sentence.
But
Yeah, of
I
all
think you
sorts of
guys are
colours.
already detailing it too much. She's specifically just saying, I don't want to watch people of color who are innocent die. That's it.
No,
Oh,
impoverished. They're
Instead of
impoverished
just-
people.
I don't
I'm
want to
sorry,
see
it's
innocent
people of
people.
colour.
Instead
Which-
of just innocent people
The
in
most
general.
bizarre fucking.
Just
So,
weird.
if she watches a
Yeah.
movie where the whole world explodes, is she
Go
like,
watch
oh my
Lord
god,
of
the
the
people of
Rings,
color, no?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
World
why the
explodes, women most
distinction?
affected.
What the hell was this? What a weird
I
fucking
can
thing to
understand
say.
why this is getting hit quite hard, because this is fucking
Well,
some dumb shit.
Does she think that it's intentional that like the movie's saying something about that by having as many innocent people die who are like impoverished and of color? Because like I don't think
This
there's
isn't a
meant to be an
white-
angle there.
this-
Like
Yeah, where it takes place. So, like, the nature of this film, the plot is kind of reliant on where it is.
Yep.
Like the kind of place it is. A dictatorship that's an island in the middle of the ocean. And it's not gonna like this wouldn't work. The story wouldn't work if it was New York, right? Or
Which is a
Kansas
different
City.
story at that point.
Wait, so
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't operate.
what
the
if
same
what if
way.
we establish with like a fucking deleted scene? They were all rich actually. They were all really rich. It's fine. We can kill them all now.
Now I hate them.
Yep.
Bloody hell! You flip it around,
And
you
they're all
know
racist as well.
it means she wouldn't have brought it up if they were all white. It's like, oh god, that's so cringe.
Why are you're such a fucking racist?
Mm-hmm.
Who have no agency in their lives within the film.
What do you mean?
They're not because they're not
They
the
have
feature
no
characters.
agency.
They run. What else can you do when a giant
run
starfish
away.
is attacking your town?
Yeah, I
do
mean,
we
a
need
lot
to
of the ones,
Do we-
who ran away, they like escaped, and they are no longer part of the movie that we need to see anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot
do we
of the
need to
ones who ran
stop?
away increased their chances of survival. They didn't die. They weren't part of the movie anymore.
yeah,
What
like
do you
they
want us
kind of
to say?
distract
Agency.
Starro, like bring Starro away from the like him attacking all the people, and then from there on out, they mostly fight him in like one place. So yeah, they just stop being relevant at that point.
Well, what's James Gunn gonna do? He's gonna make a fucking phone to call to Grace Randolph and go, "Hey, You got me.
I fixed it.
He's like, I'll kill more white people next time.
Yeah, I mean, I thought nobody would see my blatant racism and you know, dictates on class. But you saw right through me, Grace. Oh god,
That's
if
why-
only use those white people.
You're so clever.
That's why the only two members of the Suicide Squad who die are white men.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, two, but you know what I mean.
Two.
If anything, this movie is about taking down the hive
main
mind
squad.
conglomerate. Like that's the whole point of the movie is to take down that thing and then free those people. And it's kind of like she missed a lot of points.
I was about to say, like, the U.S., if anything, is more so vilified than like any of the people on the island. I mean, they are to an effect,
Why
like the
would
ones
the
who burn
innocent people
birds or
on the
whatever.
Oh, but
island
they
be
only do that
vilified?
through Waller, who is, a person of color and a woman.
Oh no.
Yep.
Checkmate.
You might be right.
Let's see if she
People
brings
didn't
that
care
up.
for Amanda Waller.
Let's see if she brings
People
it up.
didn't
I
really
don't know.
like the villain. Yeah, who knows? There's a whole section for Amanda Waller here
Yep.
that she didn't care for. I bet. Should we
I
take?
don't
Should,
know.
we, should we keep a tally? Do you think that the reason that she didn't care for Amanda Waller was because she was a woman of color portrayed as a villain?
Well,
Yes, 100.
I'm aware
Because
of.
I wouldn't have even thought to say that yet, but now that she's brought this up,
Well, as Gary, what is? Because I know that there's a lot of
Hmm.
people making arguments from the comics where they don't like Amanda Waller. Is she a comic person or is she not?
She's a comic person, yes.
Yep.
She
long
might
time.
make that argument then, yeah. We'll have
And
to see.
she's an absolute badass in the comics in regards that she takes no fucking shit. The
Yep.
portrayal of her in the film is pretty decent. It's a pretty
Yes, it
fucking
is.
Yeah,
decent
She takes no
portrayal.
fucking shit in that movie.
Yeah, she didn't
Well,
take it. She's
Honestly, like, so I've seen a couple of videos that are very anti this movie, and one of the biggest problems a lot of them take is that she's been assassinated from the comics because she was outmatched by her workers, like because they knocked her out.
What? So
She got
hang on, what-
blindsided.
So in
Anyone
the
can be
comics, she
taken by
has like
surprise,
a.
that's dumb.
In the comics, what she has like a fucking titanium plate in the back of her head. What? Like,
I think the argument would be that she would never have fallen for something like that. They also say
Well,
like she
yeah,
would.
that's
being
the
hit
big
in the head.
difference.
by
The-
her
the-
coworkers in the back of the. Yeah, that's.
Well, she had like
I
tech
can't fault her at all for that.
coworkers.
But it was
I mean, I,
it was
being-
set up way
being
before
surprised
that.
is
multiple
Yeah,
times.
I don't know. It
It
seems
was
to me
set
like
up about
you wouldn't want
Amanda
it to
wanting to kill the Bloodsport's
daughter,
child.
Yeah.
And that was festering within the group for a long time until when she was literally going ape shit at the end, go fucking kill them all. They were like, fuck it. And the golf clubs were also set up. So I
Yep.
think it was a pretty decent
Right,
setup for
yeah.
what happened.
Well,
was
I
never
kinda
thought
saw it
that,
coming.
She was hit
I
in the
was
back of the
yeah.
head with a blunt object by people that she didn't like. That she had no reason
Expect,
to assume were
yeah.
gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
What exactly did she fall for? Like what? What
Well,
was?
I mean, this is the problem.
whole-
I've ran out of my simulation of those people. I don't have those arguments myself. Because I think she was pretty good. Like I liked her.
yeah, I think the
did,
only
yeah.
argument that can be made is that in the comics she wouldn't hire a staff like that, like making bets on deaths. You know, it was kind of tongue in cheek. That would be the only argument. I still think it worked in the movie personally.
Well,
Weren't
and
there
I
any
usually
people
hear
that she
praise
hired, like
for her portrayal
It-
as well.
In the past, in the comics, they would just her subordinates would do what she said because you do not fuck with Amanda Waller, like ever.
Yeah, she'd usually just have like
Yeah.
guards with her.
Yep.
And she would literally
Well-
just turn up to Superman, Batman, or whatever if she was chewing them out, and she would chew them out. And then, obviously, if he was dealing with the Suicide Squad, then it was just like her really as the central command.
Isn't this supposed to be the beginning of Suicide Squad stuff, right?
No,
Like it's
we've
supposed
got.
to be... No, it's not. How
the
far
20
into the thingy is?
I don't think we ever get it confirmed, but of course we've got the 2016 movie. So
Right. I mean, like of the timeline that exists in their universe, how long has the program been going? Like 4 years, right?
Oh,
I
we
assume
don't know.
Still...
yeah, that would be a guess.
Don't know. Yeah.
crazy that they didn't cancel the program after the first attempt.
First
nearly
disaster.
destroyed the entire fucking planet.
They
We
released
don't,
their
we,
own.
we don't know. I mean, this is a very sort of tongue-in-cheek. Is this a reboot? Is this a sequel? Yeah, they give nods that the characters know each other because of the previous films, but at the same time, the tone is completely and utterly different. It's kind of up in
It's a
arms.
requel.
It's a requel, yeah.
Well,
What
by
is
that,
going
yeah,
on here?
they could tell us we've actually decanonized the 2016 vision, that never happened now. Or they could say, no, this was a sequel. This was a direct sequel to that one. They could. Because there's nothing that necessarily contradicts the 2016 vision in this film, right?
But Viola Davis absolutely rocks as Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Do you argue that like
Boomerang-
Rick Flag's characterization contradicts the previous one?
Why?
Doesn't Boomerang die in both?
He's a little less hard ass, but there again, when they pick up, but as soon as they pick up the Thinker, he does get hard ass towards the Thinker. So
yeah, I got the impression that he would have
like they try to go on.
He spent so much time doing these Suicide Squad missions that it's because that was the first one we saw him in the 2016 vision. I could believe that he's trying to drum up camaraderie instead of like, chewing them all out.
Yeah, he's
Suicide Squad came out in 2016.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, we're all so old. So anyway, what has she got for us next?
In their lives within the film, and I think they correlate with people in real life who have agency, and that's a problem.
No, it doesn't.
And also, they certainly.
What in the fuck?
They're on an
The
island.
people who are being chased down by a squad of maniacs who have been let out of prison to get time off the jail sentence, they can relate to that.
Is she talking about them, or is she talking about being chased by a giant alien starfish? Like, I don't know which one is less relatable.
I think we should
she
wait.
lost me after John Cena's cock, in all fairness.
I think we should wait until she's done with her moronic diatribe.
Okay,
about
yeah,
the
that's
innocent
probably-
people
We can't skip the
before we
video,
tear her to
Borgers.
shreds.
We can't do that.
They certainly have no agency as characters in the film. They're all secondary or
They're not
extras.
characters. They're
What is she
like
talking about?
extras, basically.
Yeah, no, they're secondary and they're extras. You got it right. They're exactly that great, you dumb fucking bitch.
What is that? I'm so confused. She's like, why aren't the secondary random characters have as much agency as my main characters? Like, oh.
You could almost argue that all of the people with starfish on them is the same character, the hive mind of the starfish.
Whoa.
You dumb bitch. Anyway.
You dumb bint. Yeah, fucking
Hey, look.
bint me up, Scotty.
They don't even have the benefit of having lines, and for the most part.
Why would they have
Holy
lines?
fuck, that's what extras don't have. You... Jesus Christ.
Why would they need
What is
lines?
she
How could you even
thinking?
include that?
They have lines, don't they? Say something in unison, like Unity
Oh, my
style.
cock.
Oh, she doesn't count the stuff that they would say as a hive mind, probably.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
We are the
Well, all
So
the
when-
people running away from Star were too busy like screaming and crying and
Screaming?
like ah.
Yeah, you like this is
Imagine
their
that.
dialogue. A-A-A-A-G-H A-A-A-A-G.
Yeah.
It's probably in
Imagine
the,
the
script.
movie.
too, yeah.
Imagine
This
the
is
movie
one
that
of
she
this-
wants.
I cannot believe she's fucking said this.
It ends up just being a vignette of like 30 different individuals in this small village as they get face sucked at the end, and then it jumps
We
to the
got-
next person.
Dude, we got to
So the
try and
whole
get
movie-
we got to try and get her and Hassan together, because my god, they would have the most retarded fucking child in the world. by
Can you
the way.
imagine the conversations they would have?
Can you cook me some nuggies?
Yeah, good.
I don't believe that it's a woman's job to cook nuggies.
Sounds gory.
Does.
I sit
And
in
there's-
chair.
I sit in chair. What am I?
No repercussions for their murders. They're like, oh, it's crazy. These are bad. And you're like, you just murdered all those people.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it-
Wait, Starro or
I think
the-
she's
the
now talking
Suicide
about the
Squad?
camp area part.
Yes, I think she's talking about the
Okay.
camp. Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
They were dead already, right?
I mean,
No, the camp.
No,
Sorry.
they didn't have.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking something else.
Where
Yeah.
John Cena and Bloodsport.
so she's
Yeah.
like, they
Yeah.
don't get any.
That was
Kill
hilarious.
people the best.
Oh my god, my kid was dying at that scene.
Oh, it
man.
was
That
funny. It was
great.
funny. The only thing I wanted to say about it was just that I didn't really believe the general person who ruled them would have given up the sort of like we'll help you plan so quickly after watching all of your people get slaughtered. Humans don't tend to deal well with stuff like that. Like when we're like, you
Yeah, I
killed
think
everyone
that's
that
an
I
issue.
care about, love, and fought with me against this regime. Yeah, I'll help you. It's like, I don't know.
I don't think
Don't
Grace
believe
copes well with
me.
humor either. I don't think she quite
No.
understands what humor is.
What's the thing? I love the fucking humor in this thing. It is funny as hell. Like when they all have to deal with.
Yep.
Like, oh shit! Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought we were helping. but-
Sorry. Yep.
But like, it's so weird to frame it this way. It's like innocent people died. They didn't even get lines. You're like, what are you?
How many lines should they get? Should they go and then
Where were
die,
you with
or-
Saving Private Ryan? Huh? On the beach.
Yeah, where were their lines?
Oh, no, I can't believe that this is how it all ends. A giant starfish in space. and
Yeah,
then they
there you go.
die.
The film's better
Except
now.
that in
Do you have
Spanish.
the
Where
same
was their
observation about,
backstory
like-
though? I wanted to explore their life.
Yes,
and
where's their
where they
agency?
came from.
Out of
Yeah.
curiosity, does she have like a favorable opinion on Man of Steel?
Well, those were white people.
Yeah, it would be okay to kill all the white people.
Yeah, they're probably statistically mostly
totally.
white, which is
They were
alright.
making over
Weird.
125,000 a year.
Right.
Yeah, they weren't impoverished and they were mostly white.
As the laser scans past them, she looks at them. She's like, "Is that a suit? That's a suit. Go away. Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah, he's dead. He's fine.
Human torture. So, wow, some of that stuff I will not unsee. Animal cruelty. That was the one that surprised me. I did.
Wait,
Um,
what was the human?
not animal
torture?
cruelty. Harley
Human
Quinn,
torture.
yeah.
Is she talking about the taser on Harley? Because that's
I
really.
think she might be talking.
I think she's talking about
the
Starro experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Oh.
ripped them up and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, that was horrific, but that's to motivate.
Birds getting burnt alive is the animal cruelty.
You don't get to praise Rick Flag as you will later on without commenting on that being like an irrelevant part of the story because
Yeah.
it's the thing that propels him forward.
Yeah, seeing
just
seeing
how
that and
horrible
knowing
it
that it
is.
was done to children as well. Like, okay, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, the film clearly like frowns upon that. It's not like encouraged in any way. Like they
course,
condemn
yeah.
the thinker, and he's like the villain without question of that movie.
Thinker's a
so, yeah.
monster.
Oh, yeah.
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 And then sorry, animal cruelty was referring to what again? Just
The
remind me.
birds. It'd be the birds
Oh,
getting
the
burnt
birds
in
getting
the.
burned, yeah.
That was-
And maybe-
absolutely fucking
on-
stupid and unnecessary, but
yeah.
Why-
And
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
be
know
like
why he
centered
did
around
it. I don't know
killing
why
that
he
bird
did
and
it, but
shooting
okay.
scene
Yeah,
with,
that's
like,
a bad guy
balls.
randomly
burn
shoots his
all
own
the
men
birds.
moment. Yeah. I'm even more evil than the last guy. That's like stakes
Yeah.
going up, right?
Oh,
And
fuck
I'm
the
gonna show
bird.
this by burning the birds.
Yeah, the bird.
I'm
Sorry,
not
I forgot
evil.
about that. Yeah, that part was like bizarre to watch.
And it's
I
off
liked it.
screen too.
You really
Well,
hated
that's
those
better, I
birds.
He turns away from it before they light it up.
Yeah, because I don't have fuck all to say about that. It's such a scene where it's like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, what?
Well, if anything, that gives character development for the guy who's taken over. Where
Yeah,
he'll
because
give
he says that
commands,
the
but
El
not actually-
Presidente
yeah.
was too nice, too weak, he was too nice.
You can
He
have
doesn't
Yeah,
birds.
but he gets somebody else to do the dirty work
I'm
and
gonna
then
kill
looks
his
away
birds
as
to show that I'm a
done.
bad.
You can be a bad person and have birds, though. it's okay. You can have birds.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's
just
in
like the
movie
guy
that I
when he
can't-
said who had them, who said,
Killer
yeah,
had a
and he'll
dog.
experiment on women and children. That's why Harley Quinn killed him.
Well, what's more evil? Killing a bunch of birds
There's
or
a red
keeping
flag
them,
for me.
keeping them for their entire life in a cage? What's worse, huh? I argue. I
killing
don't know.
them.
Hey, those birds seemed happy.
I mean, as far as the birds
Why
are
not just
concerned,
let
they're
them
like,
go?
man, I'm safe. I can eat all I want.
I do wonder with birds though, specifically, like if it's preferable to be able to just fly around and
They
explore
look like
the
pretty
world.
big roomy cage.
I guess it's just it is pretty roomy, but you got to wonder. It's like, what is a bird's perception of a
Cage
small
is still a
space?
cage.
And the thing is, they
Not
might.
roomy compared to the sky.
Yeah, but
Exactly,
what
yeah.
if they're birds that require like looking after because there's special kinds of birds or whatever? Like they need
Yeah, I
particular
guess you got that.
food
There's-
or whatever. Like we don't know
Well,
exactly what's
pelicans-
going on.
Well, I guess
Feels
let's
like
put
a
it this way. I feel like a bald eagle isn't going to be super thrilled living in an enclosure that small.
No, not a bald eagle. No, if you're gonna have a big like falcon or something, that's why they're very expensive and they just
I
make terrible pets in most
Now I'm
scenarios.
just thinking about something. There's a video that I would like us to watch after this. It's just a bald eagle walking. Pretty fantastic.
Did you guys know that they burned actual birds on set that day?
That's
my
that I know.
God.
That's dedication to the craft.
Yeah, I'm very proud.
Really is.
They recorded the
Funny.
screams and everything. Yeah, it was really just beautiful.
Some guy farts like, okay, we
Have
have to
little
reset
lav microphones.
the whole cut. I farted. We got to do it again.
Get some more birds.
It's like a box of
Edit
birds
it
they
out and
pour
cover
in.
it up with bird
Get the
screams.
backups.
I did not need to know what birds screaming sounded like, but I do now.
Okay.
Oh
Political
come on! It's
comment-
not like.
Dude,
It's just like
you review
It has
film.
political commentary. That's a record scratch moment in a
wait,
film.
Like, it doesn't even
Wait.
sound that different from a normal
I
bird.
mean,
Political
It
commentary
was a
could be
record
the.
scratch moment when
I was
she
going to say it could be the
says thing.
umbrella. It could be if she's
Maybe.
gonna because in fairness, I think we were all taken back when it was like the government wants Starro to kill everyone. It's like
Oh, sure, yeah,
what?
that was
Yeah, that's stupid.
but that wasn't a record scratch moment because it was commentary.
No,
it
of
was
course.
a record scratch moment because it was strange
Stupid,
and weird and dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, she should have bizarre political commentary.
Yes, not just
commentary, which I thought was sloppily handled.
Oh.
And some lead characters doing shockingly reprehensible.
Oh
That-
no,
yeah.
not the
Oh.
lead characters doing
Of the
evil
Suicide
things.
Squad.
Oh no!
Literally, they've come out of
the
prison.
villains.
No.
They're serving.
They're bad guys.
What's happening? The
Yeah,
characters
so
were
what we
doing
needed is-
evil things. Who do you think she's referring
we
to?
missed, what we needed in this film
think
is
that's
just
been
so
even
that people
talked
would
about.
understand is Harley going every few minutes. We're bad guys. It's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
Don't forget we kill people.
We're the bad guys. I can steal this thing from the shop. That was the 2016 version. Yeah, she did.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this film, well, I want to know who she's referring to specifically.
Things. So I think people are going to talk about this movie, which of course will benefit it on social
Oh,
media.
you think
Oh.
people are
Okay,
going to
she's
talk
not gonna
about this
elaborate.
movie? Wow, really?
Social media.
People are
Social
going to talk
media.
about a
social
movie?
media.
Where's my
Right.
example? I've earned an example, haven't
Yeah.
What do
We
you think
deserve an
she's referring
example.
to?
I think Peacemaker probably.
But he's the villain.
Well, and he is the villain amongst villains. Yeah, like,
Maybe she's talking about the
Who
Thinker, but at that point, like,
but he's just the bad guy.
Yeah, he's a villain as well.
He's the actual antagonist.
Is it okay? Is it going to be like
I don't think we're getting
Bloodsport
an
and
example,
Peacemaker's,
Jay.
like,
I don't think
no, we're not getting one. But like, do you think she's referring to in her? I assume in her own brain, she is thinking of something that she is referring to. And my
Maybe
best guess,
shark killing people,
my
like eating
best
people
guess
whole.
is that it's Bloodsport and Peacemaker's contest in who can kill people in the coolest ways.
someone said she's not going to spoil anything, so it's a non-spoiler review. So you don't have to spoil the event by describing it vaguely.
Yeah, you can.
But she's already
around it.
described a lot of things that happen in this movie, so...
Yes.
I think saying that Peacemaker is a villain is a spoiler. I guess.
Why would... That's specific, Jay. That's not vague.
But I think. Whoa, never mind.
she
maybe I
didn't say
listened
that,
to
though.
the
Yeah, she
comments,
didn't even
but-
say that. Well, let's pretend for a second she has a problem with Peacemaker. All she'd have to say is, like, there is a character who turns on the team in this film, and the things that they do
And I
are
don't like them.
absurd. Yeah, or crazy
Anyway,
evil.
things I don't care for. Peacemaker. It's like yeah.
Well, I don't think we've gotten that far yet. So
No.
Well, yeah,
I think the worst thing
We
that
haven't gotten to
anyone
that side of the
does-
waist yet.
Although he had a glorious cock, Peacemaker was not my favorite character.
She probably will mention that. Honorable
Excluding-
mention for his penis.
I wish I could sit on his face like the toilet head that he is.
It's the only thing that I can see from like a. She's either referring to a villain, which like that's a really dumb thing to say. The villains did bad things. What? Or she's referring to like I think Bloodsport when he did like the killing contest with Peacemaker. I think that's
But
the
that's not
worst
a-
thing that anyone.
Technically speaking, that wasn't doing evil if they were rescuing
Because
someone who's
they
been
thought they were
captured.
bad guys.
Well, yeah, but like still, it's like it's the edgiest, I guess. That
For one thing, you could argue that maybe they should have shown more remorse, but then, in fairness to Bloodsport, the character is he kills people for money. He doesn't give a shit about life, like
Yeah.
in terms of in a general sense.
Yeah, and I think that's the most reprehensible like that any of the main characters get. But like, it's not much. It's not. It's a shock, and it's not worth saying shockingly evil characters. I
Yeah.
think in a film about criminals who have been recruited from a prison to go and kill people. Like,
Well,
Not to mention that
shocked by
Waller
that.
actually ordered them to like kill them with extreme prejudice, so it's not like they like didn't
Yeah,
do
and
that
they-
without being directed to
And
do
if they
so.
don't follow her orders, they get killed.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
really confused by what she's referring to here.
Well, if you
Unless
look, we're at record scratch moments. We're about to get to matter of taste, so this should be interesting.
Oh boy.
Oh
And
boy.
quite frankly, if you find some of these things offensive, as I did, I don't think you're going to want to talk. You're not going to want to join the conversation. You're not going to argue about it. There's nothing to argue about. You're like, you know what? Just not
There's
for me.
nothing to argue
So I
about?
do feel that the
Okay.
majority of the conversation will be positive. I'm just curious to see what the breakdown is. I'm very curious to see what the audience scores are theatrically, like the cinema score.
Why?
I
You
suspect
don't
the
care
RTR
or you care about
score-
fresh film.
Stop saying
Freshness.
that.
How fresh is it, lady? How fresh is it?
How fresh is the tomato?
I'm not sure, maybe in the 80s. And then I'm very curious to see what the box office looks like, not only opening weekend, but with
You
their
have
second.
no means of knowing what it would be. What's the point of guessing?
Oh,
Why should it matter?
Clown math.
Stop reviewing this way. It's so painful to listen to.
Third weekend drops look like. This really boils down to a matter of taste. In a moment, I'm going to talk about how well the film is made. It's very well made.
As does everything.
And what your threshold is for questionable behavior. And how serious you take the topics at hand. For instance, some people might feel that the movie deserves credit just for bringing these things up. And it just,
still got the Twitter
Bringing up
fucking
what?
logo up,
Bringing
the full
up-
frontal nudity and other stuff up. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, but she's saying those things being brought up is what people are saying the film should be complimented for, just being brought
Good
up.
that this film.
Brought
It's good
up
that this
for
film brought
animal
up full
cruelty?
frontal nudity.
Nudity.
Well, it is, but yeah.
Okay. But why is okay? So
Can you talk
Twitter
about the film? You're running out of time now.
You're running out of time.
Yeah.
it hints at the wider discussions
By the
that
way,
these serious topics.
Do you think that the like the stuff about they killed a lot of innocent, impoverished people of color? Do you think that's where all the dislikes on this video came from, or do we
go to the
still have the
comments?
controversy to come?
Well,
Yeah,
wait,
we
yeah.
look at the comments
Should we do the
that people
comments
are sort
once we've
of
done the video?
saying.
'Cause
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
could be spoilers for the crazy shit she says.
Yeah.
topics imply. But others like myself might feel that it's irresponsible to play these things for laughs. I don't think there's any
What? Oh. Shut up.
Shut up.
God.
You can't have an innocent person die for funnies. That's fucked up. You
No.
can't have full frontal nudity that's funny?
No more boobs. No more murdering.
You can't have a crude
No more
discussion.
funny cock. Only John
be
Cena.
miserable.
Only John Cena's cock.
You can't
Watch
do.
miserable movies.
You're saying you can't do gore in a funny way. It's like, huh.
So I'm now thinking of that joke in Archer where he tied up, I think it was a bunch of Irish guys and like pretending it was Jeopardy, and if you gave him the wrong answer, he'd blow out your kneecap, and it's like, that's really funny. You can make that funny as just a thing, something that's really bad.
Az will definitely know what I'm referencing, but I'm sure the rest of you will. Near the beginning of Tropic Thunder, when he explains the whole plan to them, he's like, right, let's go. It steps on a mine and explodes.
It's on a landmine. Gets absolutely blunt Kingdom Come, and then Ben Stiller starts playing with his head because he thinks it's a prosthetic.
Yeah, and you have fucking Jack Black going, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Shaun of the Dead.
Yep.
Or just any number of things where, like, South Park, how many jokes in South Park are just people dying?
I can't believe
He
I'm,
died nearly every
I
episode.
can't believe I'm bringing this up, but she's got human torture when Homer's forced to eat the donuts in hell.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
That's a kind of torture. Yeah.
Conveyor belt donuts, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. James Coco went mad in 15 minutes.
And Homer's just this balloon. And then you can't do political commentary for laughs. It's like, woman, are you
what? Are you actually? What are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of like political satires? It's like that's the whole point of that type of
I think
genre.
it is just charitable to assume that she's not including that one.
No, what do you mean? She said maybe not for laughs, and we've covered basically all of them except animal cruelty and shockingly evil characters. Because like, I'm pretty sure you can make this funny no matter what.
Well, remember,
All of these things can be funny. My guess is that she's not thinking of
Well,
political commentary when she says maybe not for laughs.
No, she's thinking of
Whoa.
John Cena's cock.
I got one for the.
Don't present
in
that
The
for laughs.
Simpsons, there was that. The Simpsons. Homer kidnapped that pig, and he just kept making its tail curly straight. Then it bit him. It's like that's animal cruelty.
Yeah.
And that's a funny joke.
And then shockingly evil characters, but not for laughs. Like, goodbye, Austin Powers. Like,
Goodbye, many things at that point. Yeah.
anything
By
funny about
Rick
a
and
lot of the stuff
Yeah.
here. And then also to touch on them so lightly
By
that one
Archer.
could argue that
Wait, what was she going to say?
Say it.
You're
Say it.
retarded.
Say it.
One could argue what?
one could argue that it borders on irresponsible. Like if you're
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Shut up.
Fuck off, Grace.
Irresponsible. I need examples. I can't work with you just saying it as a broad thing. Like, help me out here,
Yeah.
Grace.
If you're going to go there, you need to go there, in my opinion.
What is her
Also,
demographic?
I think they went there.
That she's
Go.
pitching
You
to.
need to qualify this shit.
Yeah,
I'm saying, you're making some pretty
because
serious
now we've gone into
accusations here.
something different. Because once you say it's irresponsible, you're kind of saying that there's like real world harm that comes from this.
Yeah.
That can't just be your opinion. There needs to actually be real world harm that comes from this film.
You can't
or
say that
any
lightly.
content. Well,
Just ever.
yeah,
That's a
of
serious
course,
thing to
it's-
say.
It's
Something you
pretty
really need to elaborate on as well.
And she's not going to, and it's horrible. How do you watch this? Like, you never get the. It's all a tease. Like John Cena's
I think
cock.
it's irresponsible to do that. Let's move on.
Okay.
if someone put a team together of Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted
Oh
Bundy,
my god, you're
It'd be
actually.
I
fucking
would
amazing.
already watch this movie.
Hypotheticals.
It would be hilarious.
Oh my
I would
god.
already watch this
Fucking
movie. I
hilarious.
don't even have to know anything
South
else.
South Park did a joke of the Three Stooges with Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy. Like it's a joke that's happened before. I don't even.
We've been
Man.
over this as a
Joke about
society.
people on To Catch a Predator just constantly committing suicide when they realized it was Chris Hansen that they were walking in on.
Kickstarter
Wait, is she
web.
saying-
Why don't you take a
Is she
seat?
presenting a hypothetical where in our team of villains they had to worry about one of them eating each other?
Well, let's hear this.
Because that
this
kind of
great
sounds like the
take.
Suicide
Also,
Squad.
what the
Yeah,
hell
that
are we
is just
doing?
fucking
What?
Suicide
Yeah.
What? Can we talk about the film? What's going on? Why are you going to
No,
bring
we're
up all
talking
these
about Jeffrey
examples?
Dahmer, Fringy.
Oh,
It's very important.
Well, so I'm writing this down for Goodell. Imagine how irresponsible it would be to have murderers in your team of people who are extreme criminals. Like, yeah. Like, I'm so fucking
So
lost.
is that her point? That it's like it's bad to have a story about murderer protagonist? Because surely, have you not like? Surely that seems like such a sheltered thing to say, but it also seems like the best faith possible interpretation of the argument.
And it all like depends on how you depict them. I think this movie has like a pretty clear sense of morality. It's like it's not saying that these are good guys necessarily. They
No.
do things that like help save people, but still, like all of them are morally reprehensible to an extent. So yeah.
Is
Well,
No
they're
Country
doing it
for
to
Old
get
Men
time off the
irresponsible?
jail
Suicide
sentence.
Squad.
It's not altruistic, you know.
well, just
No.
feels like
Just-
we're going to lead to the Reservoir Dogs. Is it irresponsible to have a film that's about a bunch of bank robbers? Like, is it irresponsible?
And feeling for them
Terrence
anyway.
Gasoline and ear scene.
Most
Grand
Grand Theft Auto.
I'll be
is it
honest.
I mean, again, this is like what was that guy's name? The Jack Thompson. It's the Jack Thompson thing of like Grand Theft Auto. You have a story that's just about reprehensible people doing crimes and stuff. Are we going to say that you can't do these at all? Like these types of stories? Or do you have to do them a certain type of way?
Yeah, like Bloodsport needed
Maybe
to
she's
die
just
in the
upset
end.
that Jeffrey Dahmer's glasses look better on him.
I think she wants
I
to see
think-
this film.
I think it's quite interesting, in all honesty, the idea that you can have characters like this and still have them be endearing and have like an audience really
Yeah.
Well,
enjoy
that's
spending time with them. It's like, it's
Yeah.
it's an interesting
Yep.
concept.
And I think to be a villain, you kind of have to assume that they're damaged in some way because a lot of them are. They got some fucked up shit going on.
Yeah.
So
I think as
like,
well-
you're gonna have a weird, dark story no matter what because you're dealing with people who kill people naturally. So it's gonna be black comedy.
I
Fucking
think
whatever.
You literally have somebody
you
on the
think,
team who melts
idea?
people with polka dots because he sees his mum in everybody
Yeah.
and just
You think-
wants to murder
yeah.
them.
You said it's important to have the characters be damaged, though, but I'm not sure that any of the characters in this were really damaged because, like, it didn't say on their foreheads that there were.
Oh,
so
Uh,
Yeah, that's true.
You had us there for a moment, Jay. I think everybody was about to disagree with you.
all of us like had an example, and then all of a sudden, oh no. Okay.
True, very true.
Dodged the bullet there.
Well, there's this great moments with Ratcatcher. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, gotcha.
the Ed Gein, that's who Norman Bates is based on, and much
Thank
worse
you.
in real life, and John Wayne Gacy,
Huh?
you just couldn't root for them. No matter how well.
I
the
don't know about that.
I
Girls
Yeah,
disagree.
Aaron,
So-
you got a
Yeah.
team.
This is the thing. This
If
is the
they
power
have
of
an explosive in
hypotheticals.
their head,
That's
you know,
a stretch.
Yeah, so
we've put an explosive in all these criminals' heads, folks, and we're sending them out to save the world to get time off prison. They'd be like, can we watch
haven't-
this live? You know?
Haven't all of those people, to an extent, been adapted into like movie serial killer characters?
Well-
like people have said they take
Yeah.
inspiration from
I
Eddie.
Well, I
and
mean,
stuff
I assume
like
that's your
that.
point.
Like,
American Psycho, right?
I assume
She's
that's your point,
mentioned-
though, is like you can portray them as bad people, but not as people with like some level of redemption about them. That would be wrong. Which
that's why you
makes me
take
very
facets of the
uncomfortable.
character.
Surely,
Well, these
as
people-
you can't show these bad people as being potentially redeemable. Ugh.
Exactly.
I
They've been
guess
to
I'm
prison.
confused.
They're
I guess I'm
tainted for
confused,
life,
though.
don't you know?
Like, why would you watch the Suicide Squad if you didn't want to watch a story that's from the POV of like bad people?
I can't
she's
believe
just-
how
this
racist
is
she
the
is.
In the title.
stupidest fucking argument I've heard from. She's absolutely fucking retarded. Retarded.
I don't even know what the argument
She
is.
thinks she's watching a
as-
documentary, for fuck's sake. It's a comedy.
As
Like it-
she
Yes,
tarded.
sir. Sorry,
She-tarded.
she-tarded.
Could you imagine if
She-tarded.
they had one
I'm
of them
gonna
type?
go out on a limb and say Zertarded.
If they had one of them on their team in the actual movie, and it was literally the person from history who set that time so it works or whatever, and like they were just constantly staring at everybody, and then there was like one scene where they just killed shit tons of people for the team. I could see that being hilarious, but then you could make whatever you want happen to them. But then if you flip it and make the tone something like Psycho, or something, it's like, yeah, you can explore just how monstrous this person is as a result of their hard hit. What I'm getting at is, can you please not put these arbitrary restrictions on storytelling? Please, 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 please. Like it's super lame, because you're basically saying like you can't make this movie. It upsets me too much, and it's gonna make people think that these people could be good when they're very much not. Like, oh,
And I was about to say, what you just described, that's essentially Weasel. Like, basically, the only thing we know about Weasel is he's killed 27 children, but at the same time, like, people are kind of endeared by him because of the whole isms he has with the screeching and all that, and the drowning.
I
It's funny.
don't know the context for him killing those kids, so I'm gonna.
well, not to
withhold
mention
judgment.
though, if you had these
No, but it's
four,
not really. But he says he's harmless. Well, he's not harmless. He's eaten 27 children.
but the thing is, right? If these four, because this is the thing about it's a tough thing to think about. But if these four were on that island, as you guys said, and they've got a job to save the world, and it turns out the four of them are like, yeah, I like killing people and stuff, but I don't want fucking world to end. And so they try and make a plan, and they struggle to get through it. It's like, yeah, how fucking awkward is that going to make you feel, right? Because that's just a reality. You want to see them
Jeffrey
as
Dahmer's King Shark. He just eats people.
like all I'm saying is like it makes me uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, it does, doesn't it? Thinking about like you need to root for them to win because they can save the world when they've done such horrible things or whatever. Could those two things coexist? That they care about the existence of Earth, but not particular people on it. I don't know. Could be an interesting movie.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Sounds like a concept worth exploring, if you ask me.
Yep.
Like if someone
Movie where
said
Hitler defeats an alien invasion.
you shouldn't root for Bloodsport because he's killed people for money or something, I should be like, man, it's a lot more complicated than that. Like a hell of a lot more complicated. Human beings are super interesting sometimes.
Movie was made,
Yeah.
and I thought way too often the movie slipped into that territory where that's really kind of what I felt I was watching.
Well, you're
Now,
a fucking
as I said,
snowflake,
the
and you
film
need to
is
grow some fucking balls.
I mean, I don't know why she's watching the
was
movie in
she
the first
making
place.
The argument that,
Yeah.
Was
that's
she
a
saying
shame
that
that
the
John Cena's
movie
balls couldn't rub off on you.
was she saying that the movie was like watching those serial killer docs, or was
Well, she's saying
what
that
was she
the
saying?
film wasn't like punishing them. It was like glorifying the bad guys, basically.
glorifying? Okay, yeah.
Even though they
she's
start off in
fucking
prison,
stupid.
the characters are not put
And a lot of them fucking
Yeah,
get
with
killed.
bombs in their head.
And
Yeah, and there's morality between them. Like we talked about how Peacemaker is like he tries killing, or he does kill Flag at the end and tries killing Ratcatcher. There's tiers worth of like the morality with the characters. So yeah.
I think I figured it out. She looked away from the screen every single time somebody got their retribution because it was violence related. So she missed half the movie.
Well, what about does she think this about 2016 Suicide Squad as well? I don't know.
Can we
Yes,
find
I
that
will watch that video.
Maybe other things bothered her about that.
Incredibly well made. It's extremely well made. From a craft perspective, it's flawless. From the
Wow.
I would say
Wow.
That's one hell of a claim.
That's not something that you
God.
can say after seeing something once, I don't think.
Reviewer Whiplash, though, after everything she just said, and she's like, by the way, executed perfectly. Like, what? What? Okay.
Just like on every, what did she just say? Filmmaking? It's flawless. Like that's
I don't
a
know that that's
huge
possible.
claim.
I don't think it's possible
No,
to make something that's flawless.
None of us would describe it as flawless. So it's like,
No, I don't
wow.
know. Not at all. In
No.
terms of like the storytelling,
It's
there's a lot of
highly
issues with the plot.
stylized.
I liked it.
I'm wondering like what she includes in that like category as well. Like, does she mean, does she mean like, oh, the camera was in focus the whole time?
Yeah, maybe
Direction
she's
to
like
the
more
s-
so talking about the direction / production
yeah.
values, that type of thing. Like,
Probably the performances as well.
I didn't see a
Cinematography.
single microphone boom.
Oh, there you go. She's actually saying them. Let's listen.
From a craft perspective, it's flawless. From the directing to the cinematography to the VFX.
Yeah,
so
you're not
good.
going to say anything about it.
James Gunn has a ton of clever, thrilling visuals here, and some of them are just downright gorgeous. Oh, the rain.
You're not saying
The
anything.
emojis, the
emojis,
emojis to
no.
really stress it. The point.
You're not saying anything. You're just saying, oh, look, the cinematography was great.
She
There
praised
was some good shots.
the mystical weather event that saved them
that we
from.
can't discover.
From being caught.
By the way, I might show you guys the comment later, but someone said they are baffled that we didn't understand what rain is when talking about that scene.
Oh yeah, because I looked at this because I've never seen. That's true. I've never seen rain before.
I've not.
But if I had seen rain, then I would know that whenever it rains, it's like the world sets off a fucking flashbang, and you can't see anything that exists. Everything is just covered in this.
All
weird
of the
white.
soldiers
It's like I'm
immediately have to take shelter.
They have to
I feel
hide
like
from
I'm
the fucking.
Squidward lost in
Yeah.
a time machine.
I have been in a storm that's been very close to that in broad daylight in Florida. That has happened before.
Literally
Once.
making the entire place
It was
pale.
super foggy. It was
Oh,
super
whoa,
foggy
yeah.
too.
Yeah. No fog's allowed because I agree if we allow fog.
There's fog in the thingy though.
No, there's no fog in that
Isn't
film.
It's
No.
just really
No.
bright.
In the
It's just
trailer,
really
It
bright.
I
starts
think.
getting rainy,
Oh,
and then
well,
the
okay.
world turns pure white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like fog, but it's not. It's just the rain and the light, basically. That's what they depict it as, basically.
Yeah. It's a
Rain
cool
like that
effect,
is
though.
real.
It's a cool effect, yes.
That makes no sense.
People are saying it's real.
Even if
No, what
that
do you
was
mean?
real, the odds.
It's highly, highly unlikely, but it's a movie.
Oh, that makes it okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's as if this is a film.
So
It's
Oh,
so
right.
There is fog in that
So
scene. There is
weird.
no fog. It's generated in an instant.
Maybe the
it just
pavement's
turns
so
on.
hot.
It's like
that
someone
it
flicked a
steams
switch. It allows them to get into the building.
Like,
And it
I'm
comes
not a
out of
fog
nowhere. And it's
expert,
like
but I'm
they're
pretty
planned- it's
sure
like they planned for it.
pretty sure fog doesn't work that way, where it just appears in a split second.
Fogology.
It can get bright when rain evaporates in
Fogology.
tropical weather, but this was extremely bright. This is right.
Yeah, it's white. Like this is a screenshot from like the movie. This is just what it. This is the world.
You can't see a thing outside of what's right in front of you. Like it's bizarre. I don't know that rain does this ever. Like at least in my, and I've seen a lot of rain, you know.
Even
rain in the
Wales and
UK?
everything. Hi,
I
the
do live in the
valleys.
Britain, yeah.
This would be
Gorgeous.
more of a tropical reaction to rain.
Well,
Where it's just super
in that
humid
case,
and
it would be. It's like that must be a gap in my knowledge that I've just never heard or seen anything like that in any coverage of any media or
Yeah,
news or anything.
like
As
in
if the
Florida.
film
When
took
I've been
artistic
I used to live
license
in
to do
Florida.
something.
Well,
I
like
used
It is
I
so
used to live in, like,
phenomenally
middle Florida.
convenient.
I was about to
It's
say,
so,
like,
like,
I would
like,
actually have a
look
lot
at
less
sunshine.
issue with it if it didn't save all their lives.
Like yeah,
Well,
it's like
yeah.
oh, it's like oh, if only like imagine they were in a scenario where it's like oh, all of the enemies they'll die if they get wet, and suddenly it just starts raining. He's like oh, good, okay, like that would still be shit.
Yeah, like it would be better if
It's
it
the
was
equivalent
raining when they
thing.
drove up, basically. Like that,
It's
at
like,
least
fuck
that way
it.
they would have
Well,
known to use it.
Well,
Evan,
yeah,
let's just
we
rewrite
need-
it so they
we
actually have to
need low
use their
visibility.
intelligence and combat skills to get in, right? That's the way that we would want it, instead of, oh, look, rain. It's like, what? Oh.
Yeah. Well, for
like
that,
they-
you just use like gas. You'd have like gas grenades or something like that to like have add a smoke screen or something along those lines if you wanted to basically skew vision, which is what the scene's doing. Like
I
that
think
would have
Into the
made more
sewer or
sense.
something.
Some people want us to, it's like, yeah, the shot's cool. I like the shot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it
It
looks
looks
cool.
neat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we get it.
Fine.
That's cool.
I like the shot.
You know what would be really convenient right now if there was low visibility in this area, and suddenly out of nowhere comes the most low visibility possible weather, like.
And it's arguably lab shaded.
That's being discussed whether or not it's even possible.
We had no fucking clue what was happening when we were watching it. We were like, what is this? Why is everything...
Yeah, we didn't know if this was a James Gunn style thing, or if
Well-
this was supposed to be some dream sequence,
Yeah.
or...
Oh, it's just nice artistic license.
Yeah.
It's a cool visual. They wanted the team together. They wanted to do some glory shots.
See, I think all of that's still possible without
it
making
is
it so that it couldn't...
poster shot.
It saved all their lives, right? Like,
Money
if we
shot.
did this after they defeated everyone, so that all it's for is just to have this cool visual in the rain, I'd be like, yeah, it's fine, whatever.
Look, Milton's there.
He is there.
Some of the jokes, as we know from the trailers, are not great, but you've actually seen pretty much all the jokes in the film.
What?
No.
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 Are you
No.
kidding?
Not the Peter Capaldi one.
Not a...
No,
Jesus
most
Christ.
all the
Wow.
good jokes are out of the trailers.
I was gonna say,
Wow.
like,
Real.
what are you talking about? There's so many...
Did you say that?
There's a ton of jokes that aren't anywhere near the trailers.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
There were like 5 minutes of trailers, and the film is over 2 hours long. It's like, you think there was 1 hour and 55 minutes was just played totally straight?
Dude, like, one of my favorite parts when he screams after saying, I'm an assassin! Why would I share my liabilities? Like, it's-
And then he goes,
I fucking
yeah, like
love that
the
shit.
the
"Did
scene after
nobody
like the
check to
briefing
see if
is
the
in
weasel
trailers,
could
but-
swim.
Yeah, all of the weasel jokes! All of the weasel
Yeah.
jokes! Like, what do you mean?
When he just screams into the air.
Yeah.
And all the weird sounds.
When he belly flops into the water.
The weasel is
Nobody
dead.
likes to show off like that entire scene between
Yeah,
Peacemaker
unless-
and Bloodsport. That's not the trailers.
Unless
That's
what they're
hilarious.
showing off
Yeah.
is dope as fuck.
And yeah, unless it's dope as fuck.
His face is kind of priced. It's so... I love this movie. I really do like this movie.
It's good.
Do the-
yeah, I
when-
liked it more on the second showing as well. So.
When Milton's
Yep.
just crying his eyes out, he's like, are you Milton? See?
And then, of course, when Milton gets shot. Oh, Milton! Milton! It's like,
Oh.
yep, that's Milton.
Yeah, she calls Bloodsport Milton at the end. I'm not I'm not Milton.
Yeah, well,
Oh, yeah, we just had a conversation about it.
I love as well
I'm not
that
Milton.
it's like when he realizes it's Milton, Bloodsport, he's like, wasn't he back at the car? Why-
Yeah, he's like, why isn't he back at the
like he doesn't care that he's dead. He's-
help us? He came to help us.
He's like more so
Yeah.
confused than like
yeah,
sad. He's
he,
just
he
like,
cares
"What?
more
He's dead?"
logistically about why he's here rather than him being dead. He's like,
He's dead.
It's just lovely that Milton came. He just came to help.
Yeah, he did.
Look
Yep.
at him, he's right there on the far right in that little still frame, right below the
Yeah,
heart
Milton's
face.
here. Yeah,
which again is very
That
deliberate
was
by
great.
James
I
Gunn.
thought that
probably.
Milton bit was fucking hilarious. I was dying
was
laughing
great,
at that Milton.
yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I disagree, Grace.
There was only
Yeah.
2 minutes of jokes, yeah.
Well, let's agree to disagree on this one.
Yes.
The soundtrack is also very well used. We start with a Johnny
It is.
Cash song.
It
I
is.
had such high hopes at that point.
Oh,
I was
is
like,
that all you
man,
have to say?
Soundtrack.
I knew she was
Is
going to
all
say
you have
that.
to say?
The soundtrack is good
Her
because
voice
Johnny
is
Cash was in
grating
it.
and
And
annoying.
that's it. Thanks, Johnny Cash. That was
It's
yeah,
annoying to listen to this woman.
a little bit.
She has an annoying,
about-
grating voice, and she has her job talking. It's.
Yeah, you want to talk about the music? Like, talk about John Murphy's original score, man. That was like really good stuff, and it
Yeah,
sounds
some good
unique compared to a lot of other superhero
No,
movies. Like,
no,
the
I
music's
haven't,
good
no.
outside of the soundtrack.
She said Johnny Cash. She recognized Johnny Cash. That's good enough.
I kind of feel bad for the
Yeah,
people
that's
who
true.
do the original compositions for James Gunn films because Guardians had a really cool main theme.
Oh yeah.
And Suicide Squad
Oh,
had a
yeah.
lot of cool tracks as well, like when Bloodsport's assembling his gun. It's like there was a
So,
really
see,
cool backing track.
Someone said, to be fair, that's completely acceptable. What we're highlighting here is that she just has nothing interesting to say. She's like,
Yeah.
soundtrack was good. Why? Johnny Cash. And it only got
It was
worse from there.
songs
Also,
I
it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's barely any qualifiers or anything to like back up. It's just bullet points without like any substance. It's like, give us a
Yeah.
little something more to chew on, man.
This is going to be good. The soundtrack is very well used, much like Guardians of the Galaxy. This is very
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
because of course
It's
you'd
like
say that.
through James Gunn's,
Hot
I think,
take.
true sensibilities without Marvel holding him back. And some of you will think,
Wait,
You
excuse me,
said
what?
it's just like Guardians, but he's not being held back. But it's just like Guardians, though.
This is
I'd
like,
argue-
you have to elaborate on this. You're gonna have to convince me. You can't just say a thing and my brain's just like, oh, Of course, that
all I
thing
can
I heard is
assume,
true.
because people have talked about this, I'm assuming she's just referring to the fact that he got to do whatever he wanted, where he wouldn't necessarily have been able to do whatever he wanted in the MCU stuff, which may be true, but I mean, most people conclude the Guardians is better than the Suicide Squad. So now what?
Yeah.
I mean, they're both team-up movies, but I think they're very different movies.
Yeah, no,
very different movies.
I agree.
Kind of hard to compare them, yeah.
It is hard, but that's the thing. It's like, if you're going to bring this up, can you please tell us a little bit more about how you came to conclude this and what it means? But that was probably foolish on my part.
But it's Grace Randolph. So.
No.
I mean, that's fantastic.
They got a Jackson Pollock joke in Guardians that they'll never do in Disney anymore.
No, they never do that again. Honestly, re-seeing that, you're like, man, I like that joke for how it is a bit edgy.
I put it in my video. It was that was a good joke. That was probably the best joke in anything MCU. So
they never go
well
near
delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
Which
And
one
some
was
of
that?
you will think that
First, so I think they say like his place is a mess or something, right? His ship.
Gamora says your ship is filthy, and then she walks up the stairs and he checks out her ass and he's off. You have no idea. If you put a black light on this place, it'd look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah. And then Rocket's like, you got issues, Quill.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's and it's not even just the line; it's how they deliver it. It's all of it is great.
Yep.
that's fantastic. So again, as I said, it's an issue of taste. The script, well, you can see I have some issues with it, but it does feature some very clever
I thought you
twists.
said it was flawlessly made.
No, she said
like the
that was
cinematography
direction.
Apparently the craft of filmmaking excludes the script.
The screenplay
let's
isn't a
not-
flawless,
except for the flaws.
Except for Marvel lately.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, now to less important things like the script.
Yep,
Like,
the words.
It plays with time in an interesting way, and it handles a very large
Plays with
cast
time
very
in an
nicely.
interesting
And I think
way?
it gives almost every character their due. The first
Damn.
arc is
You
Damn.
are
Damn.
Yeah.
that there, yeah.
Gives
them their due.
thrilling
What
in
accent
moments
is
and
this, other than annoying?
Martian.
Is she
Well,
Harley Quinn?
I titted.
how it sets everything up.
It
how
sounded
it's like,
kind of Boston to me. Like I could be wrong. Like there was a little bit of
Yeah.
that instead of her A
Is
inflections. Maybe?
Boston, do they say Dow instead of Jew? Or do?
I don't know. I've never actually been. To Boston.
Mm.
All I know about Boston is
Ask someone who lives there.
Boston, that's basically it. Basically anything I've seen in Ted. That's like my extensive understanding of the Boston accent.
Yeah, the Departed for me.
Tells you everything you
my
need to know
knowledge.
about Boston.
About
culture.
Boston, yeah, and Ted.
Now here's who I did not care for.
Okay.
John
Good.
Cena's
Man.
Peacemaker.
Oh, I
Man.
thought she was gonna say penis.
Oh, you know what?
You know what she means by peacemaker, right?
Perfect
Yeah,
timing,
like
by the way.
earlier section implies otherwise.
I promised a commenter that I would
Yes.
mention this. You know when I said it was an eagle that came out of his gun? It was a dove.
Dove. Peace.
Oh yeah,
Peace.
fair enough.
Yeah, which is great.
Fair
I
enough.
just I mixed them up. Yeah. Well, rather
Yeah,
I
they
thought
both
it.
sort of make sense. So
Yeah. Obviously because they were saying the dove is on his icon on the front, and I was like, oh, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Whoa, what a disaster.
Oh no.
What?
Use your next words carefully.
Oh no! Don't get to a reference, please. Just stay in the realm of. I just don't like it. Stay there.
Not only as a character, but I think as a career
Not
choice
only
for
as
John
a
Cena.
character.
Yeah,
What was that?
why are we getting so Boston-y now? Like, not only as a character.
The accent all of a sudden is.
my cash.
next to John Cena on the subway.
What a disaster!
Forget about it. I'm walking here.
She liked
Harley
his bulge at
Quinn.
least. God, she's objectified the fuck out of him.
Yep.
That's okay. He's a white man.
Let it talk.
This
She's making a
character is
video.
absolutely
Hey,
not only disgusting,
you
but
let it
disturbing.
talk.
He's disgusting and disturbing. That's the
Because
problem.
you know what films are? They're not documentaries, darling.
Well, even if they were, that wouldn't be an argument. Like, oh, I don't like this person being gross. Like, oh, he's literally a bad guy. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, like me.
Did she like?
Exactly on his side.
I need to see a review of Empire Strikes Back where she's like, this Vader guy. Oh God, so horrible.
Horrible person, and I don't
Can't
like
be doing with
him.
him.
I don't like Vader. He's mean.
irredeemable. Like I can't.
She'd be torn because
You
he's
know what?
voiced by a black.
You know what? I'll push back.
I mean,
I don't
Grace,
even-
I mean, those would be horrible characteristics if they actually were given to the other villain of the story. Dun, dun, dun.
I don't think he's irredeemable. Hot take. I think
No.
that
No.
the context in which he kills people I find fascinating and want to know more about his history in terms of where he's chosen to end lives.
Yeah, who's more this guy? How did he get to be this way?
Well,
How
you're
does he
gonna
solve
find
other
out on
problems?
Hopefully,
HBO
yeah.
Max.
But
This is the interesting thing about that TV show. That's the interesting thing about the TV show moving forward is basically they've set like a principle that he holds as like his core belief. So the question is like, that's going to get tested in future. So you're like, where is he going to draw the line? Is he going to kill people for peace no matter what? And it's like there's a lot you
Seems
could
to
do with the
be
character
what
moving
he's-
forward.
That seems to be it. Hopefully, since
we'll
James
see.
Gunn kind of came up with this character as he exists, we'll get he'll really feel the extra desire to adhere to it.
Can't believe he's
But I've
getting his own show. He is.
I
who
can believe it. It's,
The HBO Max is back.
it's all about that package, dude. It gets you right into
God, I
it.
had the graphic from earlier.
I would think will be the last character to get
Character.
us.
No, go away.
The
Stop
last
talking.
character. Wow, that's really strong sometimes, isn't it?
Spin-off
Yeah.
show off of this movie. By the time the movie was over, I absolutely hated him. I just
That's not a problem.
You're supposed to.
Good.
Yeah.
I would argue you can get
Well
a
done,
myriad of
script.
results, but I think the most common one would be that people hate him, yeah, because of...
Yeah, he's not the good guy. He is not portrayed as being correct.
Yeah. I didn't
So
hate
she
him at
just-
the end, but like I feel like
I
you
didn't hate him
in a
either.
way are meant to hate him. So
I felt
yeah,
I felt
'cause
a
of
bit
what he
bad for him
does.
because his principles led him to places that he didn't even like.
Yeah.
Which was super interesting to watch.
just hated him, and I'm really curious to see how John Cena's fans react to
I'm sure they loved it, to be fair. His fans,
He
like...
gave a really good performance. Yeah. As an actor as
Why
well
the-
as like the physical performance.
Why the fuck wouldn't his fans like
Furious
this?
performance.
Why wouldn't his fans
I
like
think
this?
apologizing that China was worse for his career. Than this.
Absolutely, that would have fucking pissed
Easily.
everyone off. Yeah, this though, like,
Just a-
can you imagine being a fan of his wrestling and then being like, I don't want to watch him be a like absolute amazing shot with a assassin ex-person from prison going on missions to dominate and then essentially win out. By the way, in a sense, like that he survives. Like, I don't want to see John Cena doing that. I don't want to see him shoot a hole through an armored truck that he was imprisoned in and then get it. Like, I don't understand the connection. Why?
Mahler,
would
if
people hate
only we had wrestling fans nearby that we could ask to confirm that.
this? Nope, Metal's gone to sleep. None here.
Yeah. Oh well.
No.
That's all right.
Oh well. Couldn't
Say
have-
again. I was typing a text.
Well, I was about to say. Well, I mean, I feel
Who?
like we already know his position, but I'm guessing as that his portrayal of Peacemaker wasn't as annoying to you as his comments about Taiwan.
Oh no, his comments about Taiwan were, yeah, he was a fucking cock.
Yeah, and that pissed people off way more. It's such a bizarre comment from him, but it's all right.
Yeah. Well,
to
it's
him
Grace.
playing this character. If I was his agent, I'd be like, I would not touch this. I would
Are
not
you
do this.
kidding
Well, I
me?
guess he's
Oh.
lucky then that you're not
Yeah.
his agent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a great career choice.
Yes.
How
fortunate for
she,
him
She
that you are
just
far
said
away.
he's got a fucking TV show deal in the era of TV shows being the thing to do. And then she's like, "Man, I wouldn't have told her to do that." Oh, why?
It's basically like saying, yeah, if I was an architect, I'd just design it to fall down.
And that's, she would have won out. Dude, we're about to get to King Shark. Oh my god, I'm not ready.
Oh, I'm not ready either. Yeah.
It's probably that he eats
So-
people. That's what's evil about him.
Yeah.
You have to. It has to be seen to be believed, because you won't believe that John Cena is willing to do the horrible things that they have Peacemaker.
So this is called
What, John
acting,
Cena? Is it-
where
It's acting.
What a
yeah.
weird.
This is so.
They
This is
are
getting really
pretending?
fucking weird.
they are not
Yeah.
the actual thing you see. They are simply pretending to be. This is an awesome.
Yeah.
It is though. It feels like it's like Grace. I think it feels like Grace has lost the plot. She doesn't realize that this is a film.
I don't understand.
I don't know if she gets out much.
Jeez.
I do. Then, with both Harley Quinn and King Shark, I much prefer the animated versions, who are fantastic, by the way. I love that
Fucking
show.
terrible.
Okay.
Here,
Yeah.
they're both
Oh, that's-
portrayed
yeah,
as
it's
really stupid, which I really do not care for.
That's not.
That's not a
point. You can't just say
criticism.
that they're stupid, especially
I don't
if
like
this
King
is the-
Shark because he's portrayed as stupid.
Well, that's not a point. It's just like, okay,
It's
I liked
different.
him.
I like
different take
that
on
he's
the
portrayed
character.
as It's neat that we have a character
Maybe I
who
like that he's
operates on a
portrayed as
lower
stupid.
level of critical thinking. Like there we go.
Yeah, he's just like friends. You're friends. I'll help you. Like that's.
He's like childlike. He has very basic ways of like approaching the world, essentially, and it's interesting
Yeah.
to see how he
Also-
reacts, even though he's like a shark that eats people.
You've also got to
so-
be really careful because you're like, I don't like it when people are portrayed
don't
to not
like
be at the
them.
peak of
Yeah.
intelligence. You're like, oh, careful.
Sure.
You don't.
That's
You
right. Careful.
Yeah, Einstein here with his video.
I don't like this Grace Randolph character. She's too fucking stupid.
All right, Grace, that was really funny. You can drop the act now.
Please.
And I was disappointed, so disappointed to see that Harley Quinn once again is defined by how the opposite sex sees her, with some weird Prince
No!
I'm confused.
Okay, so I don't
She kills
understand
him.
it. The point of in this film is that she's not defined by that.
She's breaking out of it.
That was like
Go away.
Yeah.
the little that there
If
is of
anything, she
her
took a
is about
very
that.
clear step in the opposite direction.
Yup.
I was supposed
I
to
mean,
look
she literally says that to the guy when he's in agony,
Yeah.
dying on the floor, is the whole boyfriend
Yep.
thing and the red flag. So yeah,
Yeah, there's kind of scene that went through all that.
another red flag.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know the thing.
Somebody said apparently her ranking of top characters, she puts Peacemaker at number 4. So
I don't understand
Wait, 1,
how
2,
that's
3, 4,
possible.
5.
wait,
but
but
she-
Bloodsport, Polka Dot Man, Rick Flag, and Ratcatcher. That's 4 characters.
so
you
that
said
means that he takes the place
And-
of one of them, and then
How does that make any sense?
and then all the ones below him are worse
She's
than
already
him.
crossed the threshold of madness.
I'm very like if that's true, I'm very confused. But I don't know if that's in this video or she's because they said at the end that was she did it for damage control, which I can believe. So it might be after this video. It might not be in this video.
girl routine that they decided to do. Harley Quinn is not supposed to be a twisted version of Marilyn Monroe, and this is the second time that
What?
it's been.
She can be whatever the person who creates
Wait,
for this
Yeah,
adaptation
I mean, they
walk
have-
off with what she's supposed to be.
They've literally
Oh,
done
so
it.
is she supposed to be?
They're pulling her around all over the place in the fucking films, so I don't see how. What is she? So is she saying she takes problem with all 3 iterations, or just this one, or this one and Birds of Prey? Because that visual's from Birds of Prey, right?
Yeah.
Ain't here.
Done. It's not the right path to go down, and
Why
you know,
not?
it just shows a basic misunderstanding of the character.
Be more specific.
What
I
is
beg
the
you.
character right now?
She's saying that her being platinum blonde in a red dress with this guy at the whatever on top is the exact same thing as her in this other photo being all dolled up like Marilyn Monroe. It's wrong, but that's what she's saying.
I'm gonna say the context is completely different, and surely it matters more so how she's characterized, not whether she's in these scenarios.
Also, Harley has taken so much abuse from men at this point.
Which she
kills the
which she
person
makes
that-
very
Kinda
clear.
into it.
Which she doesn't.
It's what motivates
She
her
doesn't
to
take
shoot.
any abuse.
Yeah.
She, in fact,
I was
might even
just gonna say she doesn't take any abuse from any men inside of this movie, at least from this guy that she's got the picture of. So that's if that's what you're referring to. I don't know
Also-
what else. The torture scene, maybe.
Interesting screenshot to choose where Joker is like, if you want to date me, jump in there. Like is it a choice to do that because she's a fucking idiot? I guess I don't know. Like, remember he's not exactly a catch in that movie. I could. he's an idea.
Yeah.
She is ready to try something different and fall in love with Poison Ivy in the DCEU, and I will be very upset if that is the next step for the character. I mean, if anything good were to come of this movie, it's that she's ready. She's. I think she's.
what?
She's
Ready
proven
to become
herself
a
that she can
lesbian?
lunchbox responsibly.
I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm ready for.
She's
what do you-
disappointed that Harley Quinn isn't
lesbian, I guess?
a symbol of some kind for.
Why do you
women,
want
I
this
don't know.
crazy character as your symbol of anything?
Yeah, pick someone else for
This is
fuck's
like,
sake.
oh, the Babadook is a gay icon. And I'm like, what the fuck are you people smoking?
Am I wrong? Is that no? Is that's what she's saying, right?
How does they
Yeah,
think
She would prefer her to be a lesbian in this story because it was better that way.
I want the Thing to be a gay
Well, I guess
icon.
lesbian, whatever. Who gives a shit?
I think that Poison Ivy would be so wonderful for her to meet right now. They've teed her up. She's ready to go.
Teed her up.
And I'm
Teed her up.
What?
What are you
to have her sexuality
I don't know.
swap?
I don't.
Is that how that works?
Well, I mean, if she's bi, then it doesn't matter.
So,
But again, like, I
was
don't
she
watch
always
movies
bi?
to-
Or...
I don't know.
How do you become an icon for this that you have been abused so much, then you finally decide to go to the other sex?
Well, yeah,
Is
what a
that supposed
fucking
to
icon.
be-
I was tortured by men for so long.
Yeah.
Like, I want women. You're like,
Yeah,
okay.
good job.
Yeah.
But
I
that's
feel
what
like this
DC
kinda goes
wants.
against the whole thing that they're trying
Yeah.
to do, you know.
I don't know. I don't watch
Also,
movies
Poison
that
Ivy hasn't
counterintuitive.
even been introduced
Also-
yet into the DCEU, so it's
Yeah.
weird
And
to like
how
be bringing
about-
Poison Ivy into all this.
How about you don't define your fucking character by her relationships all the time? How about maybe she's
Yeah.
just a person and you characterize her?
Yeah, what if you give me some actual characterization for this character?
It reminds me of fucking
The only
Rey.
thing-
Like, Rey is a character
Yeah.
because she's a Skywalker. No, because she's nobody. No, because she might be related to Kenobi. No, because nobody. Definitely nobody. Luke, Palpatine. Like, can you please give her a character? I don't care about all this blood shit.
The only thing that I can truly connect with on a character is what I have to know what makes their dick hard every single
Is
time.
who their genitals
Yep.
connect with. Yeah.
I have to know.
True.
won't do
That's it.
that. I'm so happy that the animated series has taken that step. Harley Quinn has some nice moments here. She does, but she disappears for very long periods of the film, even though she
No, it's that she shows up. Oh, you got it completely backwards. The problem isn't
one
that
of
she's
its leads.
absent. The problem is that she's sometimes present.
Yes. And that wouldn't be a problem if James Gunn had managed to fucking write it, but he didn't. I'm sorry. As in, like,
failed with
if he
Harley
had,
Quinn.
written it well. I'm sorry. Like, I thought he could do it, but apparently he couldn't.
Harley
Apparently,
Quinn,
no one
to be
can. She's just like writing poison.
Yep.
fair, is an
kryptonite
extremely
for writing.
difficult character to get right. They still haven't been able to do it in the comic, and so many writers have tried
Because
it.
she's two-dimensional.
In
I
the
thought you liked her in
comic?
the comic.
Why did she say
I thought
the
you liked her in
comic?
the
Is there
comic.
only
The comic. There's only one comic in
It's
existence.
one big
She's-
comic.
She's from the animated series, and they put her in the comic. And I don't know what Grace Randolph's perspective of Harley Quinn is, but most comic fans is from the animated series. And she's a two-dimensional character. There's not much else you can do with her. She was the Joker's girlfriend, and she's really fucked up. I don't know where you go from
Yeah,
there.
It's honestly
they kind of
fast-
brought the abusive relationship thing in a little bit later on in that series, and that's kind of what they developed her in from the comics, from what I understand. But yeah, like
Yep.
she was mostly just the henchwoman for the earlier part of that series, that is to say. So
Isn't it fascinating at this point that she really apparently is poison for writers? That you're like, someone's got to be able to do it, right? Like, she's just the biggest
Yeah,
writing
if-
challenge.
For what? And it shouldn't be, because she's basically blank slate at this point. You could kind of do whatever you want with her. He's at that point.
Throw her into
She
a
just
50
has sort of a
Shades of
past,
Grey
but that's
spectrum.
it.
Point. They just can't get it right. But the animated series has gotten it right. They have. I can't wait. The comic, I think, comes out this month. They have
Oh,
a
the other
spin-off
comic. The comic, but not that comic. The other comic.
cover
The
of
other
that
comic.
Wait, what does that say? The Eat, Bang, Kill tour?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Eat out.
'cause
Eat.
she's
They eat. Like
are they
is munching on that pussy.
That spotlight
they
is actually a
scissoring
wall.
in a doorway?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Vertically.
iconic.
Man, they
Yeah.
really
think
want.
that's
She just wants her and Ivy to
integrating.
fuck like that.
Yeah.
She's rock climbing her vagina. What the
Okay.
comic as well.
Hell yeah.
And I really wish they would bring in that writing team to handle her live action.
No, go away.
appearances going forward, because this
Just
is
get rid of
getting
it, for fuck's sake.
ridiculous. We're 3 movies
Yeah,
in.
make her die.
It's not. So it's unfair to me that she's been given 3 huge chances. It's like, can we just throw someone else in now? Like, she's not working, okay?
Viola Davis is Amanda Waller. Now that surprised me, because at the beginning of the film, she
No,
was
what? What
absolutely
did it surprise
fantastic.
you? She was in the last film as that character.
I'm not sure what. I'm not sure what she was referring to as the surprise. I'm lost on that one as well. Like, what?
Why are you so shit?
would have guessed.
Never would have guessed.
I was like, wow, what a power player. But in the 3rd act, talk about misogynistic.
No.
Oh, you said the M word, and I know it's gonna be bullshit now.
Oh.
I don't know why they chose to do this. She was so humiliated, and she took it. that I
No,
was-
He had
the whole
leverage.
epilogue
Yeah,
was
okay.
Waller has us on shit. All these doing these crazy shit because of what we did to her.
And a
Well,
very
she took
important thing
it. She
to
didn't even
note,
see it coming. That was the.
an
What should
important
she
thing to
have
note as
done?
well,
Tell me
it's
what
a
she should
woman
have
who knocks
done.
her out.
Arguably unhinged.
And you know what I'm gonna say? Here it is. We don't actually know what she's gonna do to that team. The last thing we see is she looks at them.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Well,
after...
she doesn't kill them because at the end, the other two go off to do their little post-credit thing.
Yeah,
Well,
and they reference like Waller's got us doing this because of
Well, so what I didn't
yeah.
mean, we don't know what she did to him, you know? You know what I mean? You know, and wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you know what I mean? You know, she could literally have been like, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z to people you love. Or she could have done anything. Point being, she was dealing with the leverage of... She's got the same logic as Peacekeeper. She thinks that if that stuff gets revealed, it's all over. Like, I don't know why this isn't being appreciated. Technically, she won. She just loses all of the her leverage over them as Suicide Squad members. I don't know. There's a lot here to break down, and I just feel like people
can turn this into a win with not that much difficulty.
Yeah, especially with
Look what the Suicide Squad was able to do, and and look how good we look, and things of that nature.
And also,
so give me more money and more funding.
Of the people who turned up to see Peacemaker, were either one of them the one that hit her?
I assume
No,
she
I think
thinks
it's
they were
someone
all in
else,
cahoots,
right?
but I can't remember.
No, of course,
She
but
was knocked out by another black woman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like maybe she did have something happen to that woman. I don't know.
Shocked. Amanda Waller would never take what happens to her.
I don't know that we can
Maybe
conclude
this one
that,
does. Maybe
like-
this one does. Maybe this one is.
Yeah.
Who
knows what they'll confirm in like the sequel?
I was about to say, like, we don't
Oh, shit, my
off on
team is
that.
willing to turn against me when I'm not looking. I better play my card. Better see how this develops and see what's going to happen. Like, who knows? That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe you could argue that she'll get her revenge after. But it was just seems so out of character.
Or maybe
to me.
she won't and she learns a lesson. Who knows what they're going to do?
The problem is any Suicide Squad could pull the same to blackmail the country. So that's why Peacemaker's on the team, and obviously that didn't work. Like, he was supposed to prevent any of that from happening, but he got defeated. Like, I don't know that... How can you... What do you... Like, she has to use the Suicide Squad, so yes, they are going to get in positions where they can use stuff against her. And that's something that she'll want to account for, but she can't account... She had accounted for it until her team knocked her out. Which, I don't know, like, how much of a mastermind is she supposed to be portrayed as, where she could never be subverted? I don't know. It feels a little bit weird.
She's definitely a character you need to be fearful of,
Like,
and respect.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this reminds me of Tywin. He was killed on the toilet by his son, and if someone went, he should be smart enough to have that never happen, I'd be like, no. It's like, no.
I want to go for a shit sometime.
Yeah, there's so much to it that's just like, no. We're veering too far into fucking Mary Sue territory. I don't want him to be unbeatable.
Amanda had lost the plot. She was absolutely out of control, and Amanda Waller is normally in control because she was having her team turn and actually try and help the town. They were turning from villains to heroes, and so she was losing the plot and going to kill them all. And because the rest of the team knew, because it was set up earlier, that she was going to kill Bloodsport's daughter for this, and she was just going to wipe them all out. She's going to flip the switch on all of them. They had more of a moral compass there than Amanda does, which is exactly the point. Amanda's moral compass is not there; it's non-existent right now. And so I think it's a clever thing to do, especially from the last movie where she sanitized the room. This time, she was the one that got a little bit of her own back.
Out of curiosity, like, I don't know if this happens often or not, but like, how do you guys solve problems like this if, let's say, half and half people believe she was assassinated from the comics or she was represented well? How do you deal with that?
She's a minor character. She's not a major character. So there's, I think they did a decent interpretation of her in the Justice League
Yeah,
cartoon.
I think, I do too. I think there is an argument, well, especially with DC. There's so many different versions. There's not a ton of different versions of Amanda Waller, but there's different Batmans, there's different Supermans. This is just an Elseworlds. That's all you got to tell a DC fan. That's all it is. I don't even know if this is officially DCEU. They haven't said it. They've kept it vague. I mean, like, yeah, would Justice League Amanda Waller put up with this, or even, I don't know. I don't know, but we don't know that if there is another movie, we'll find out that staff has, been horribly tortured or sent off to Alaska or somewhere, or, that there's so many different interpretations of every character anyway. And this is something I had to deal with at the comic shop every day. Cause there's, I've grown up with Frank Miller Batman, and I've grown up with Denny O'Neil Batman, and they're completely different Batman. So it's just a matter of your perspective. I owned one.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
What's the
for 10
worst
years.
smelling customer that ever came in?
Worst smelling.
Worst smelling.
Yeah, I
Oh.
need a description, a full description, what you felt
Of the
that day,
smell?
whether you could
Oh.
eat even later, if they
Oh, I
stuck
couldn't.
around.
They used to.
Is this your
They used
fetish?
They used
I
to
just need to know.
They used to do experimental drugs next door to on Fridays, next door to my store. So I would get all the homeless people from San Francisco on Friday. They get their $25 and they get shot up
Hell
with
yeah,
something.
like plasma donations and shit.
Yep. And then they come in my store and they smell like they rolled around in shit and pissed on themselves and somebody died on top of them.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. That's so good. I love that.
San Francisco.
Someone said computer geek taking out Waller is like Ray pushing Luke.
No,
Not
he
one
hit
there's a
her in the
golf
back of
club
the head
involved.
with a golf club.
I find it interesting because like when they say Ray pushing Luke, I'm assuming they're referring to when she beats him on Octo, right? Octo, whatever the fuck. When they have their fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was frustrating to watch because he's so much more advanced than she is in like every way in terms of understanding the Force and fucking like sword fighting or whatever. But so that was a fight. This was, she got knocked out by a golf club when she wasn't able to fucking know that was gonna happen. I don't know why. Why would you say that's the same? I don't understand.
What a ridiculous comparison to make.
Also, like the comparison between Luke and Waller in terms of like being hit on the head, I think Waller is a lot worse than Luke in TLJ from what we see.
Yeah, if you're gonna go that far, I don't think Waller would have that kind of staff, like who was betting on.
Yeah, and
people.
you could
I-
argue that
yeah.
through this version, she's just struggling to get the people she wants in the right places for the Suicide Squad, and especially because this is still, I imagine, relatively untested. They've only recently gotten a reputation or whatever.
So what probably would have made it better if she's gonna have that staff, as they say, well, there's budget cuts and she fucked up the last mission or something
Yeah.
like that, and
I think
then
budget
she's
cuts
stuck
would've been
with
a
it.
Who they gave
Yeah.
me to work with? Ugh.
Yeah, if we had like one
That's what I
explicit
assumed.
line for that, that would fucking solve all of these problems, right? But you can infer that was what happened. She wasn't. She clearly doesn't
Yeah, we
like
don't
these
know.
people.
Yep, that's
mean,
kind of
she's
what
a
I
villain.
thought.
And they don't take their job seriously because of the betting.
Yeah.
But it
I
was
only
just
bet
seemed
on
so
things
out of
I'm very
character to me.
serious about.
I mean, she's a villain
True.
for sure. She's still a villain, as she should be.
That's misogynist.
But I just was shocked. And I wonder if it would.
I was just
What
shocked.
the fuck is that?
Yeah, so that
I
word
was
is
shocked.
losing its value with
Shocking
you, woman.
evil villain. She's talking about this woman.
Well,
That
Wait,
long
which
pause.
Which
Well, you
one's
know
the one where
what?
she walks by people and shoots them in a line? Is that the
That's
first one, or
that's the first one.
That was
yeah.
Oh, okay.
2017.
Well, never mind. Because that was ruthless.
That's Amanda Waller.
I
mean,
was shocked.
Right, but it's
Yeah.
the other movie. It's not
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. Then and DC does not have anything established yet. That's their problem. So I think people are still using the headcanon from comics, and they're still trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. If you want to blame anybody, blame Warner Brothers. They're stupid.
How dare you?
Would have been done to a male character. I just was
Okay, we need to roll it back because
Roll that one
what
back.
was that?
No. a villain, as she should be. But I just was shocked. And I wonder if it would have been done to a male character. I just
You never,
What?
you never see a male character get humiliated in any way, shape, or form. That just doesn't happen.
No, definitely not.
Every Steven Seagal movie.
I'm lost with this
I
woman.
know it's like if
They
you
killed
completely
Flag.
reverse it. Yeah, well, that's what I was just about to say. You took the opposite of Amanda Waller, Rick Flag, who said, "I didn't sign up for this. I didn't serve my country for this. They're killing women. They're killing children." And he put his life, and he died for it because of her puppet, because of Amanda Waller's puppet. So yes, they did it, and they did it pretty much in the next scene, Grace. So shut up.
What a shitty movie critic.
I don't understand. How could you have watched
garbage.
mainstream movies and conclude, man? They always, they always just rip into the women characters. The male characters are always celebrated and on these high horses and stuff.
You don't even go to cinema. Have you watched any commercial in the last 10 years where the
Yeah.
woman is not allowed to be in any way less than ideal, and the man is always the one who has to be chastised, who always is wrong, who's always humiliated?
Bit weird, my dude.
This is the perspective of somebody who hasn't left, like, what is she in Manhattan there? She hasn't left Manhattan in years. And if she does, it's to a press event or a nice hotel or a con.
Wow, Manhattan.
Manhattan. Well, it's got to be She-Hatton now.
One
according to
Manhattan.
Joe.
Yeah, well, Manhattan.
Who runs the world?
Oh, this is so bad.
I was really upset about that. And oh yeah, Starro. So disgusting. So horrifying. Like, wow. Like, I'm familiar with Starro from the comics, but...
The one you're
is
showing
like
here looks like
eon.
shit.
Well, I mean, it's horrifying. Looks pretty simple. It's just like
60s.
Starfish with an eye in the middle.
Well, he looks. I could see how you can go from that to the movie one. I can see it.
Well, yeah, it's
beyond
Starfish with an
that.
eye.
I mean, Starro is problematic from all points.
Oh, God.
Wait, problematic.
How
brings
the
around
fuck is
some
Starro
local
problematic now? God,
commentary.
nobody's safe.
I think there's a lot of it is just not, I think, played out the way it should be.
What
They
do you
have
mean?
turned up the grotesqueness.
I thought that was the coolest part.
I'm confused.
How cool is a giant fucking starfish? So starfishes aren't like they're not
Starfish eye.
they're beautiful from a distance.
I'm lost. What's she
But
saying?
they're just like they got like suckers and tendrils
She's
and
saying
like a
she's
weird mouth in the
retarded.
middle.
They look like
starfishes
buttholes
can
with
turn
legs.
their stomachs inside out. It's like they're just not.
I think my brain
What?
stalled after she said Starro was
can.
problematic. I just. What are you?
It's probably a Pavlovian response from these type of people.
Yeah, whenever she doesn't like anything, it's problematic.
Problematic.
How is the giant
The
starfish
representation
problematic?
in this film was really problematic.
Looks like
The alien
And you'll
entity
be
which was
waiting to
captured from space was really problematic.
It's very
Yeah.
misogynistic against all the women.
All the starfish.
And just zero qualifiers for any of this. She just says it and then moves on. It's like, give us
listen,
something,
I'm gonna roll it
please.
back a little bit because I am so lost.
A lot of it is just not, I think, played out the way it should be. They have turned up the
What does that
grotesqueness.
How should it be played out? Like, how should it be played
So
out?
she's saying it's too
Yeah, tell me
grotesque.
this.
She said
So
too
brutal.
grotesque.
Character up to an 11.
Isn't
Not
the
only way-
grotesque stuff mostly like the experiments that are done by like the thinker? Like Starro just like attaches the stars to the people and then that's it.
Which,
like,
by the way,
he's the one who was like cutting people in half
Yeah,
and
and-
experimenting on children.
And until you take the stars off them, they look like I wouldn't call it grotesque. It's more like, oh shit. So what are they now?
Body horror. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you tear them off and you tore them to pieces, like okay, that's
it looks, but in the comics, if you get a star on your face, they can pry it off and you'll be okay. Let's just say that's not the case here.
okay.
Yeah, at least
Yeah,
we don't really know that much about it, but it seems
Why is that
that
an
in this-
issue?
yeah,
You can't.
I feel it.
Okay.
I feel if
Somebody
anything that almost ups the stakes a little bit more.
Yeah,
Makes
that once
it
a
so that,
star is
like,
on
you gotta
you're
watch out.
fucked. Yeah.
You're dead.
yeah, like
it's
you
like
have
the
to
face
get it
artist.
off within. Yeah, who knows if they're gonna do rules about you got an hour or else it's permanent or once it's on you're dead or like we don't know exactly.
Sure.
Seems to be once it's been on a while for certain. It's just your body's just gone and you die. Like we don't know.
Again, some of the things I will not be able to unsee. And
Good.
I
It
think
looks
they
like
might
you
ruin-
fucking need it because you
They might have ruined
Jesus
Starro, I was
Christ.
about to say.
Starro.
Yeah.
Ruined Starro.
By having it be scarier.
They ruined
This is so-
a alien villain which is barely ever used due to its ridiculousness and actually turned it into something legitimately grotesque, which is great for an R-rated movie.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but I think everyone's a huge fan of that last line Starro gives out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed the
I wouldn't have done it.
laser.
I wouldn't have done any of this if you left me the fuck alone.
Pretty much.
I was
This
happy.
video is
Just,
so vacuous.
I was happy in space, just looking at the stars. Oh man.
And yeah,
So
like
vacuous.
it is really hard for me to take it seriously when you like they ruined the starfish monster. Like I'm like,
you ruined the butthole creature. Oh,
I'm
no.
trying to empathize, but like it's causing difficulties.